already cooked up in the lab. Yukon defending. They failed to defend the inner top lane, but they will defend the mid and bottom for now.
That's the disadvantage of this composition. It's strong, it's oppressive, but only in the neutral objectives. When it comes to the sieging potential, they don't really have a lot to offer. And in a way, this kind of reminds you of how it played out when Onyx was going up against yesterday, right? No siege potential, technically. They have to rely on getting a massive fight, but get us the kill.
Good find judgment! Finds winning! That's going to be 5v4 big and now receives a lot of ranks. Win a crown is placed, but he will fall regardless. That's Super Luke. Going to be the drain as a run now. Possible with final line, but still, that's a 2-for-1 in favor of the Red Robots.
Finally, good pickoff, and that might be the game plan from now on, Arashi. Limiting the disengage mechanic from Weedy.
I mean, for any composition, if you're able to get the Mathilda, that's just massive value, dude. Aran is the only person who can kind of tank the damage. Even if Fabian gets pulled in, he might just be pressed almost instantly.
Oh my god. Excuse me? Okay, whoa. That's a whirly right there, man. A crit. And actually now TLID, only 1,500 gold lead though.
We got a game fact just now by new application Kopay. The last time this hero has been used, it's not even season 13, 12, no. It's season 9 with Rippo.
Wow.
Hold up, folks. Super Luke now pops the glorious power.
Damn,
But that's the first. That's
damn,
the
burst, yeah.
By
Bus ko poking yan.
War doing work right there. Again, Eman definitely has the damage to kind of trade back, but dude, it's a whole different mechanic. When Eman is doing a bit of DPS actually, rushing the VHS, we've seen Beatrix's kind of transition to in the late game. He's trying to match the basic attack potential, but with the Bruno, man, the crits are just different compared to the shred potential of the Beatrix. And with the Wind of Nature, this means that even Super Ken and they couldn't be far against this.
Conceal from King now. Oh, that's a suppression towards Aran and Marin. She clears the Lord, the key. Oh,
damn.
My goodness. He has a flicker, but does he have enough space? The answer is yes. Vinegar Alpha still moving backwards, and TLID finds the Lord and the kill.
TLID doesn't like that moniker. That L momentum erased the momentum coming in from Key, and now they're sieging the turret.
They're addicted to the rush. Fabian jumping in when it's ground popped. Super Luke looking for the defense. Aran. Oh my goodness, Aran goes down. But that is still TLID finding the base turret.
And that's before the Lord is even in the picture, man. The play from Fabian to just go in, bait out all the resources, and then go with the Winter Crown, exits cleanly with a guiding win. The communication, the synergy of this team is absolutely insane, dude. You keep seeing it, and it keeps impressing you every single time.
And they're not pumping on the brakes either. They just push onto the pedal. Every time a fight is possible, they're gonna take it. Every time Key goes for something, they're gonna retaliate. This is the identity of the cavalry, the newfound rookies for Team Liquid.
Right, we're seeing that Bigatron kind of clear this out. It's going to be allowed though. Everyone Shiki left alone his orange buff in order to just go and rotate with the Lord. But they actually weren't able to get anything. Bigatron,
looking for the control.
With
the Spear of Alpha, Reno will go down as Aran extracts multiple members. Aran Shiki is preheating, and that's the flicker. Wind of Nature. Aran looking for the triple, and that is just Super Luke alone. The base wide open. Ladies and gentlemen, TLID finds game one.
Gila Yehaskiel! Gila Aaron! Gila Team Liquid! What was that? An absolute domination! A clean game coming in from Team Liquid ID! Something that a lot of people don't really see it coming! Bigatron Alpha got played around in the late game!
Woo! What the heck was that, dude? Team Liquid identified the exact intentions of Bigatron. The reaction time on Yehaskiel, the most improved player, just completely destroyed any kind of strategy Bigatron Alpha had. They overextended and they got absolutely punished, dude. What is this team?
Oh, and when the youngsters have the momentum, they're gonna pounce on the robots. This is a huge one for TLID. A win to build on to win the series, possibly. What a performance right from the get-go. My goodness. even when you think about it, Pikachu and Alpha, in a way, they have some kind of advantage. They've already played in this stage before. They've proven that they're one of the best teams over and over again. But TLID, this is new rookies. They don't have any experience at all in this stage. But it's not a problem at all.
Yeah, the more you see them play, it really feels like there are some ways that these experienced teams can kind of take advantage of them through the rotations, through the early game. But dude, you cannot deny the team fighting prowess of Team Liquid ID is absolutely disgusting, man. Again and again, even against the best teams in the league, they're able to find a way to just completely overturn some of these.
Tapi kalah secara 2-0 tu tak pernah. Betul, ya. 2-0 tu belum. Tapi ada yang lagi penting adalah
Oh, lagi 5 minit ni.
Rising Star.
Combo sedikit dengan tu.
Ke-6 regular season siapa yang terlepas, inilah dia pemenang dia, Syaf daripada Todak Legend yang membawa pulang 1,000 diamond dan juga 26 bertuah seperti yang anda lihat dalam skrin kaca TV anda ataupun kaca telefon bimbit anda. Nama yang keluar kat bahagian bawah tu ada nama-nama tu lah yang menang 1,000 diamond.
Ya betul. Syaf dapat 10,000 diamond.
Ya.
Untuk bawa pulang. Jadi yang mana buat Syaf adalah yang paling bertuah sekali dan juga pastinya kepada pasukan Todak Legend. Walaupun Syaf tidak bermain pada hari ini, tetapi bila mana berhadapan dengan pasukan Kelantan, kita tengok game yang kedua tadi sangat-sangat sengit. Ya, sehingga kan rival pun beliau terpaksa bermain secara flanking. Barulah beliau punya free kick glacier dengan penggunaan Thunder Slash. Dan daripada pasukan Todak Legend, mereka perlu menangkan early game mereka dengan snowball yang dimiliki. Tetapi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, inilah dia game pertama kita pusingan playoff MLM musim yang kedua. Berikan tepukan untuk pasukan Todak Legend berhadapan dengan pasukan Kelantan.
Jadi tuan-tuan dan puan yang berada di playoff sekarang ini, berikan sokongan anda kepada kedua-dua pasukan yang bermain pada ketika ini, kerana seperti yang kita dah katakan, kedua-dua pasukan sememangnya ingin mendapatkan kemenangan. Pertama sekali perpusingan yang pertama, tapi dah awal-awal dah bagi signal dah kepada pasukan Todak Legend. Aim hampir-hampir saja dikorbankan setelah melihat Zekif terlalu fokus kepada Malichan.
Ini salah satu kekurangan daripada pasukan Todak Legend. Mereka tak ada hero yang boleh zoning ke bahagian hadapan kerana dua daripada hero mereka ni adalah hero yang boleh melakukan kiting saja. Daripada Franco, sama juga daripada Edith. Kalau Edith nak tampil ke depan pun agak sedikit sukar. Tetapi tetap juga jungle itu dimiliki oleh Arisa. Namun kita tengok daripada segi player emblem. Daripada Suyo ini, memandangkan beliau adalah hero yang baru, boleh juga kita tengok apakah build yang dibawa oleh rival, di mana beliau membawa masuk Impure Rage bersama lagi dengan Season Hunter dan juga Trill untuk memastikan credibility beliau sebagai jungler tu dapat dimanfaatkan dengan damage leaking.
Sudah Iron Hook kena kepada Malichan. Malichan dikenakan oleh sayang sekali tidak terkena kejaran daripada rival seperti tadi. Kalau tidak, mungkin Malichan akan menerima first blood.
Eternal Evil tu memang agak sedikit menjengkelkan bila mana beliau melakukan charge attack. Evil Queller, charge attack menjadi satu anak panah untuk dilepaskan buat rival. Itu kelebihan Suyo. Ada mobility, ada sedikit sustainability dengan menggunakan skill
lagi Malichan. Memang Zekif ni nampak Malichan je terus dia tarik tanpa segan silu. Sebab kalau kita lihatlah, memang rotasi dia pada Hakimi dan juga Zekif pun nampak sentiasa konsisten bersama. Dan kita lihat Iron Hook yang digunakan oleh Zekif pun mostly kalau kata ada rival berdekatan dengan dia. So kalau rival tak ada, memang kalau boleh dia tak nak masuk. Tapi sekarang ini rival yang tertangkap oleh 2 poin. Malichan manggil rival untuk pergi kepada dia, tapi dia ada follow up dan terus saja rival akan mengundurkan diri.
Sepertinya rival, inilah kelemahan sedikit buat Suyo. Bila mana beliau berada dalam mortal state, damage yang diterima memang agak tinggi. Dia perlu berada dalam immortal state untuk mendapatkan 20% damage reduction daripada pasif tersebut. Tapi buat pasukan Kelantan, mereka tahu di mana Todak Legend perlu bermain secara snowball kalau nak memanfaatkan draft daripada pasukan Todak Legend. Namun Kelantan, bijaknya mereka bermain saja secara pasif. Biar kita duduk di kawasan kita supaya Todak Legend tidak boleh dapatkan snowball yang mereka mahukan. Tapi kita kena tunggu level 4 juga.
Betul.
Bagaimanakah rotasi daripada aim dengan menggunakan diversion.
Terus saja ni Ocen ditarik. Tak boleh nak bawa apa. Memang 3 pemain daripada pasukan Todak Legend. Bolehkah mereka mendapatkan first blood setelah
lihat sedikit daripada kuasa yang semakin lama game ini berlangsung, Mali-chan, Neo-chan. Kedua-dua hero ni akan menjadi semakin susah untuk ditewaskan. Tambah je lagi tak macam mana lah yang boleh rendah macam tu lah.
Betul, memang rasanya dia kena full combo.
Lagi tak macam mana lah yang boleh untuk ditewaskan. Tambahan lagi dengan Wanzi. Oi, Wanzi. Sikit je lagi tak macam mana.
Sebenarnya dia pergi atas, tapi nampak ada sedikit percubaan untuk melakukan serangan handap daripada 3 pemain pasukan Todak Legion. Tapi Kelantan rasanya mereka pun dah tahu akan pergerakan daripada AIM sebenarnya, sebab tengok dekat map pun mana pasukan Todak Legion lain kosong ni, macam ada sesuatu yang berlaku.
Ya, sebab tu Kelantan main selamat je.
Ya.
Kita tahu semak-semak depan sungai ni akan diduduki oleh pemain Todak Legion.
Ya, benar.
Tambah lagi mereka ada Franco, so kena 2 kali ganda lebih berwaspada. Dan juga pasukan Kelantan, mereka tak ada hero yang boleh gunakan skill untuk buka map dengan begitu.
Hakimi.
Yang tetel sedikit berbahaya pada waktu ini. Boleh dilakukan tarik Aihuk oleh Zekif. Oi, Neo-chan
Terus
sorang
masuk
ke depan.
sorang-sorang. Final slash kepada Zekif, tapi tak ada follow up. Alamak. Spion Alpha tidak kena. Arisa. Sudah, Hakimi terus saja segan silu. Dia pergi ke depan tanpa risaukan apa yang ada di pasukan Kelantan. Melakukan zoning, tapi Hakimi, nyawa dah bawa separuh. Ada 4 pemain bahagian belakang. Tapi tengoklah Aim free hit di bahagian belakang. Tapi Rival
Sakit tu. Dah merah tu.
pasukan Todak Legion menjarakkan lagi kemenangan mereka. Sudah, Malaysia terpaksa burukan Avatar Guardian untuk menyelamatkan diri. Satu kemenangan yang sangat besar untuk pasukan Todak Legion mendapatkan satu snipe dan juga bersama dengan
Pozan.
Berjaya Neo-chan. Dan sudah Pozan juga akan menerima nasib yang sama. Rival pada ketika ini tengah 3-0-0. 4 berbalas dengan 0.
Aku cukup baik dengan setiap gerakan yang dilakukan. Kita tengok tadi dekat bahagian mid lane, seorang duduk dekat belah kiri, seorang duduk belah kanan. Mereka pastikan semua sisi daripada bahagian mid. Tapi dalam Malichan dan juga tak ada damage pull up yang boleh dilakukan. Jadi berbalik kepada bahagian tengah, memang Todak Legion, mereka tak kisah ada outer turret di bahagian tengah tersebut. Apa yang mereka mahukan adalah mata pembunuhan yang boleh dicari. Tapi Hakimi dalam masalah.
Betul, terus saja ditangkap dan terus saja Neo-chan mendapatkan kill tersebut. Okay, Kelantan dah mula mendapatkan kelantan mereka setelah menjatuhkan satu pemain daripada pasukan Todak Legion. Sekarang ni yang 5 pelongan itu Aihuk tekanan pada Pozan, tapi nampaknya Zekif tak ada follow up. Zekif akan menerima akibatnya. Neo-chan terus saja melulu, tetapi Neo-chan berkesorangan terpaksa menggunakan flicker untuk menyelamatkan diri daripada kepung oleh 3 pemain pasukan Todak Legion.
Agak sayang tarikan Zekif tadi cantik pada satu pemain, cumanya terlalu jauh pula baki pemain Todak Legion yang lain. Dan kita akan ada mirroring dilakukan oleh kedua-dua belah pihak, di mana Sihin akan merobohkan auto turret bahagian bawah, begitu juga dengan Wanzi merobohkan auto turret bahagian atas. Neo-chan punya final slash pun dah diguna pakai, tapi gunakan diversion bersama-sama dengan adanya Sihin supaya Sihin boleh lakukan serangan kepada objektif turret ataupun menyertai teamfight dengan lebih pantas, bergantung kepada bagaimanakah Todak Legion hendak lakukan serangan. Pada waktu ini dan yang kedua,
Hakimi memang tak rasa gentar langsung walaupun ada 5 pemain pasukan Kelantan. Hakimi tahu apa tugas dia, apa yang perlu dia lakukan untuk memancing
Avatar Guardian
Malaysia terlalu ke dalam. Tapi Rival masih mendapatkan total, tapi Arisa mendapatkan Hakimi dan terus saja boleh sudah berbakar. Tidak akan berbahaya. Divergent dibuka untuk melarikan diri. Tidak dan juga Sihin di bawah untuk melakukan flanking, tapi agak sukar kerana risau tidak nak
Aim dan juga Sihin bergerak bersama-sama seperti itu. Andai katalah seperti yang awak katakan, pemain daripada Todak Legion tak menyedari di manakah keberadaan pemain Kelantan yang lain, mereka boleh dikenakan hukuman kembali. Betul. Dengan melakukan perkara tersebut. Jadi Kelantan sekarang ini, saya rasa mereka dah boleh nampak pattern daripada Todak Legion. Mungkin Kelantan boleh manfaatkan apa yang informasi mereka dapat. Tarikan hilang terus Neo-chan. Nak bergerak mana tak ada purify. Nak purify pun tak boleh juga sebab itu adalah pelarian. Bukannya stun yang biasa-biasa. Suppress memang langsung tak boleh bergerak. Meledak dengan adanya bom-bom yang dilemparkan oleh Sihin dengan Banner Rage.
Tapi dari bahagian tengah Wanzi terpaksa menggunakan ultimate-nya untuk melakukan clearance wave sepantasnya mungkin untuk tidak membenarkan Todak Legion berada berhampiran dengan turret pasukan Kelantan. Sebab kalau kita lihat sekarang ini, untuk pasukan Todak Legion, mereka ada terlalu banyak kelebihan, terutama sekali dengan dua turtle yang dimiliki mereka, 2 turret dimiliki oleh mereka. Mereka Kelantan hanya ada 1, dan juga perbezaan dari segi kill itu yang menyebabkan pasukan Todak Legion mempunyai kelebihan dari segi gol sebanyak 2,400 pada ketika ini. Tidak begitu besar, Tetapi segala gol itu disalurkan kepada orang yang betul. Kena faham. Kepada siapa? Kepada rival. So rival akan menjadi ancaman yang besar kepada pasukan Kelantan.
Oh, final stand.
Dan juga kepada M dikorbankan begitu saja. 1-2 combo daripada Neo Chan dan juga Malichan. Mudah saja untuk M dijatuhkan di bahagian tengah.
Mereka memang dah dapat informasi bahawa akan ada seseorang juga dalam semak tersebut. Ataupun ianya adalah hit and miss. Satu, saya rasa kita panggil apa kalau Inggerisnya gambling, tapi saya tak nak sebut ayat tu.
Apa ni?
Tekaan.
Yes, tekaan.
Tekaan lah. Okay. So ianya kena itu. So macam kena tak kena. Cuma sekarang Hakimi ni berhadapan.
Terus saja menghentak kepada Arisa, tapi nampaknya Wazi mendapatkan Hakimi. Arisa berjaya mendapatkan lot. Dan Zeki berjaya mendapatkan Malichan. Sudah Kelantan dan mendapatkan lot. Mudah mendapatkan Arisa. Berjaya pada Pozan. Tapi Pozan ada sedikit pasif. Adakah Shin akan berjaya mendapatkan? Ya, benar dia boleh mendapatkan double kill. Tapi Wazi sayang sekali. Sebelum itu di belakang Neo Chan berjaya mendapatkan Zeki. Tetapi pula mendapatkan pembalasan. Mendapatkan seorang lagi pasukan Kelantan. Sangat-sangat sengit daripada kedua-dua pasukan untuk Kelantan berdepan dengan pasukan Total Legend terpaksa meninggalkan Wanzi berkeseorangan saja. Tapi guess what? Masih lagi lot berjaya dimiliki oleh pasukan Kelantan.
Tapi rugi. Walaupun Kelantan dapatkan lot, tapi kita tengok siapa yang untung lebih banyak dalam fight tersebut. Lebih kepada pasukan Total Legend dan lebih spesifik Sihin. Lihat kutipan gol beliau 7,800. Telah pun melengkapkan 3 item utama, Blade of Despair, Manifiro dan juga Rose Gold Meteor. Manakala daripada rival pula, bila telah ada 3 item utama juga daripada Hunter Strike, War Axe dan juga Queen Swing. Okey, dekat sini rival, beliau sudah ada sustainability yang boleh dimiliki buat dirinya sendiri. Cuma turret di bahagian tengah ini akan dirobohkan oleh pasukan Kelantan kerana mereka ada enhanced minion yang didapatkan daripada lot yang telah pun mereka securekan. Diversion.
Sudah. Arisa. Begitu saja, tapi ayo dia boleh Malichan. Terus saja Neo Chan masuk ke Afrika. Malichan berjaya diselamatkan. Wanzi berjaya mendapatkan seorang lagi pasukan Total Legend. Dan untuk mengejar pada yang ketiga, Neo Chan mendapatkan sudah, tapi Hakimi berjaya mendapatkan pembalasan dengan mendapatkan double kill dari pasukan Kelantan. Tapi masih lagi berbalik untuk pasukan Kelantan sebenarnya kerana mereka 3 berbalas dengan 3 berketika ini. Tetapi yang tinggal itu adalah damage delay pada pasukan Total Legend, iaitu rival dan juga Hakimi. Bawah. Nampak macam pasukan Total Legend ada sedikit masalah kerana tidak cuba melakukan clear west setelah menjatuhkan lot sebentar tadi.
Tapi tak ada masalah. Mungkin Total Legend telah menjagakan perkara tersebut. Mereka tak sampai lagi minit 12 di mana Holy Defense tu masih lagi ada buat pasukan Total Legend. Dan juga kita tengok untuk damage dia dikeluarkan Sihin yang tertinggi sekali dengan 47,986. Ini hal kerana Sihin mempunyai Blade of Despair dan juga Manifiro. Itu yang paling banyak contribute buat Sihin untuk keluarkan sejumlah damage yang cukup mengagumkan. Dan juga Pozan dengan 38,000. Kita tengok tadi team fight di bahagian purple buff tersebut. Pozan yang tewaskan. Maka dengan itu, tapi ianya trade off yang baik juga lah, di mana Total Legend dapatkan jungler daripada pasukan Kelantan. Kesaan ekonomi 4,000 dengan ini. Dan kerana itu adalah damage separuh yang telah dikurangkan. Ini adalah luminous slot. Nak tak nak kena juga dapat.
Belakang.
Ada
di bahagian
apa juga siapa dulu ni?
Sudah. Memangnya pasukan Kelantan tahu akan spesifik, tapi tak tahu kat mana.
Tahu je, Mat.
Point, tapi dia terganggu. Wanzi terus saja entry dibuka. Tapi zoning dari Wanzi berhadapan. Tapi Arisa tak peduli. Arisa masuk. Arisa berjaya mendapatkan air. Dia mencari yang kedua. Neo Chan di bahagian hadapan. Lama. Neo Chan sangat berbahaya. Tapi rival dari position. Pozan dalam keadaan berbahaya. Dia mendapatkan dari Arisa. Dan Wanzi pula ditangkap oleh rival. Terpaksa menggunakan winner Neo Chan. Tapi terus saja dia dijatuhkan. Meninggalkan Neo Chan berkesorangan ketika ini. Sayang sekali terpaksa Kelantan. Pembukaan yang baik daripada Malichan, tapi sayangnya Total Legend berjaya melakukan counter engagement dan terus Total Legend berjaya mendapatkan lot yang kedua.
Saya boleh katakan kaitan yang baik daripada Total Legend. Mereka menggunakan Nibiru's Blow untuk memberikan damage daripada pasukan Kelantan sendiri. Mereka tahu mereka dah kalah team fight, tapi mereka tetap juga paksa Malichan.
Terus saja dilakukan dan terus saja dijatuhkan dengan 3.4 pemain. Satu perkara yang berpuas hati dengan Total Legend untuk mendapatkan Malichan sebentar tadi.
Wah, sangat-sangat menjekirkan. Aim punya diversion demi diversion melakukan serangan hendap. Sekarang ini tiadanya vision yang boleh digunakan pakai oleh pasukan Kelantan untuk melihat di bahagian bottom lane. Dan juga pemain Total Legion mereka akan serang bersama-sama dengan Lord ini. Sihin akan merupakan turret dengan cukup mudah. Diversion agak kurang pasti kenapa dia guna pakai ke bahagian depan.
Rival hampir saja digobak. Terus yang mata mereka digunakan oleh Malaysia. Hakimi terus dia dipecahkan betul dan Wanzi berjabatan aim. Tapi Shim dapatkan Neo-chan satu balas satu. Wanzi mendapatkan dua pula. Pencari yang ketiga tapi Wanzi terlalu jauh. Belum melakukan posisi ini. Allah terbakar dari berpuas hati.
Seperti yang di depan Albert. Lengkap. Dan juga Sihin sekarang ini beliau kena berhati-hati siapa yang dia
Arisa ditarik dan guna fikir tarik oleh lebih jauh dan aim dan bukan Arisa. Cuba Hakimi untuk bertahan tapi Hakimi sebagai balasan, sebagai cagaran untuk pasukan Total Legion menjatuhkan Arisa sebentar tadi. Jadi sekarang ini tidak lagi jangka untuk pasukan Kelantan tapi aim berada di bahagian harapan. Pasukan Kelantan sekarang ini berkeserangan tanpa risau langsung dia dikejar, diterkam oleh 4 pemain pasukan Kelantan.
Sekarang ini pada minit yang ke-15 off yang dilakukan. Kita dah tengok Zaki punya tarikan air hook sangat memalukan sekali. Mesti dapat satu juga pemain yang diinginkan. Tak kisahlah mana-mana pemain yang ada di bahagian hadapan sekalipun. Tetapi burst damage daripada pasukan tu tak mencukupi. Itu yang paling penting. Damage daripada aim dan juga daripada Sihin telah pun dirasai. Kelantan mereka sekarang ni perlu bermain secara defensif. Defensif mereka memang sangat kuat saya boleh katakan. Sebab apa? Pertama mereka adanya Nathan. Kemudian mereka ada Aurora. Dua hero yang boleh clearkan mini wave dengan lebih cepat. Dan juga pastinya daripada frontline mereka pun tak perlu risau dengan adanya Mali-chan dan juga Arisa bersama dengan Neo-chan. 3 hero ini boleh saja buy time untuk hero-hero backline mereka ini keluarkan damage dan juga berikan bantuan kepada daripada sudut teamfight maupun pertahanan.
Okey, sekarang ini kita lihat pasukan Total Legion tahu kalau mereka cuba untuk menghabiskan game ini, pertama mereka perlu melakukan umpanan kepada pasukan Kelantan untuk para Lord ini ataupun dia sendiri akan cuba mendapatkan Lord ini dan backup dan juga melakukan serangan bersama dengan Kelantan. Tapi bagaimana Tifat dibolehkan terus Arisa yang berjaya mendapatkan Lord tapi rival mendapatkan Majan Wanzi mendapatkan syarat pada rival. Sudah. Wanzi dah boleh mendapatkan belakang. Chin dan juga Im cuba untuk belakang backdoor tapi Wanzi terus jadi pecahkan immortality. Shin akan berbahaya tapi Shin masih lagi berjaya mendapat kedua kill kepada pasukan Kelantan dan ini bermakna pasukan Total Legion cuba untuk menghabiskan game ni dengan 4 berlawan dengan 1. Hanya meninggalkan Adisa saja. Adakah mereka mampu dengan Lord ini? Rasanya benar sekali apa dikatakan oleh Cross. Sukar kerana masih lagi ada Lord yang sangat-sangat sukar untuk dikembangkan oleh pasukan Total Legion.
Ini tak ada lagi daripada pasukan Total Legion. Tengah on the way tetapi waktu itu Mali-chan telah pun bangkit kembali. Arisa, cantik. Menolak jauh ke dalam kristal. Cumanya Total Legion mereka akan memenangkan game yang pertama berhadapan dengan pasukan Kelantan.
Ya, pasukan Total Legion. Yang kita sangkakan macam diorang nak back up semula tapi tidak, mereka kekal untuk berada ke sebab tahu death timer daripada pasukan Kelantan masih lagi lama dan mereka boleh pasukan Total Legion nampak lagi besar payung-payung boleh dikeluarkan tapi untuk pasukan Kelantan mereka lebih agresif untuk menadah segala serangan pasukan daripada Total Legion. Jadi tuan-tuan perempuan, kedua pasukan telah pun bersedia. Game yang kedua, Total Legion menentang Kelantan. Yang berjaya mendapatkan total dan terus saja cuba untuk macam tapi untuk bagian Hakimi terus agresif terhadap 2 pemain pasukan Kelantan menghalang daripada pasukan Kelantan Mara lagi untuk mendapatkan goal plating di bahagian tengah.
Ya, satu demi satu pemain daripada pasukan Todak dikenakan pick off pada ketika ini. Apakah cara yang boleh dilakukan buat pasukan Todak andai kata mereka berada dalam situasi aksi di fasa late game, tetapi saya boleh katakan Moskov lebih berbahaya kerana penetration dimiliki oleh Moskov dan dibandingkan dengan Cloud mempunyai mobility lebih tinggi. Saya rasa memang Moskov lah jawapannya. Maka dengan itu adakah Kelantan saat ini mereka akan kekalkan konsistensi Suyo ini buat pertama kalinya? Ya, kita saksikan di dalam MLMY musim yang kedua pada kali ini.
Tapi nampaknya strategi pasukan Kelantan berhasil. Seperti mereka dah lama training. Kalau kata Suyo ni dilakukan dengan counter pick oleh pahlawan, tapi boleh saja dipilih agak bagian lain. Tapi sebelum itu di bagian tengah, bagaimana Hakimi terpaksa menggunakan flick untuk mereka pilih. Tapi Zeki dan juga rival telah bersedia untuk cuba mendapatkan Adisa. Dia mendapatkan dibentangkan dan nampaknya diberikan terminal adalah Zeki. Diberikan kill kepada Adisa. Tapi Mali-chan hampir saja direkobarkan. Hakimi terpaksa menggunakan diri sedikit. Neo-chan diberikan pick up dan berikan kill kepada M. Arisa dan juga Pozan berada berdekatan. Cuba terlihat adakah mangsa seterusnya atau tidak. Hakimi masih ada experience yang senggat untuk menyembuhkan diri dia. Shin telah pun tiba. Pozan perlu berundurkan diri kalau ditangkap tak boleh apa-apa. Arisa nampaknya akan dikorbankan oleh Hakimi. Bantuan daripada Wanzi. Adakah akan diberikan kepada Wanzi tapi tidak akan diberikan kepada Pozan pula. Tapi untuk pasukan Torak Legion mereka meneruskan untuk menampilkan turtle yang kedua ini, maafkan saya. Tapi diberikan ada yang Malichan menghalang pergerakan daripada rival. Terus saja dibuka Glorious Pathway tapi rival boleh melarikan diri. Neo-chan yang berjaya mendapatkan turtle. Dan terus saja cuba untuk mendapatkan mangsanya seterusnya. Nyawa sebatang mancis.
Wah, buat pasukan Kelantan kali ini Jackie akan ditewaskan. Satu serangan diperlukan tetapi pergerakannya Chan dihalang dengan adanya Hakimi menggunakan Desert Tornado dengan puaskan tetapi sekarang dia telah capai pada fasa Miku dan juga menang oleh dengan penggunaan mereka untuk memastikan Todak Legion tidak boleh. Kali ini bukan bawa retribution untuk Suyo.
Pahlawan kanan yang akan dilakukan lepas Menen dibina dari semasa ke semasa. Jadi ataupun mereka ketinggalan dari ketahanan. Kalau kita lihat sekarang ini, Neo-chan masih lagi mampu bertahan tapi tidak begitu lama. Diberikan kick kepada Hakimi. Terus saja 4 perlawanan 5 berterjadi. Glorious Pathway daripada Malichan untuk memperlahankan pasukan Legend. Tapi rival masih lagi berjaya mendapatkan tetap. Zeki mendapatkan masa yang ketiga. Dan mencari lagi 2 pemain pasukan Kelantan. Wanzi dan juga Pozan di bagian tengah. Hakimi dan juga Todak Legion dengan total yang berjaya dan juga 3 pemain pasukan Kelantan.
Oh, nampaknya Sihin telah put online. Walaupun beliau punya Blazing Duet hanya mampu berikan pasukan Todak Legion, mereka juga berjaya untuk menewaskan Malichan, Arisa dan juga Neo. Itu juga agak bahaya sebenarnya bila mana hero-hero backline ni tak dapat walau satu kematian. Mereka mendapatkan farming yang lebih baik dibandingkan dengan pemain-pemain yang lain. Todak Legion juga telah kehilangan auto turret mereka di bahagian atas. Manakala Sihin cuba untuk melakukan split push secara berseorangan di bahagian bawah. Tetapi niat daripada Sihin telah pun dibatalkan dengan hadirnya Arisa untuk mendapatkan orange buff. Namun daripada pasukan Todak Legion, kita akan lihat bagaimana secara menyusun mereka mungkin akan bermain secara diving turret, tetapi hanya dengan syarat Malichan kena ada Glorious Pathway. Kerana kita tengok juga daripada sudai baru je ada Turtle Belt sebagai item yang pertama. Manakala damage dealer beliau iaitu juga telah ada gol ini Todak Legion mempunyai kelebihan gol dibandingkan dengan pemain Kelantan. Auto turret di bahagian atas juga telah dirobohkan buat kedua-dua belah pasukan. Lord dimulakan buat pemain Kelantan. Ada Hakimi untuk zoning. Tapi menegak keberadaan Todak Legion. Avatar The Guardian.
Terus saja Zeki masuk tapi dapat ditangkap oleh pasukan Kelantan. Arisa mendapatkan lot tersebut. Arisa mendapatkan Zeki pula. Menjadi masih seterusnya. Ya, tapi untuk pasukan Todak Legion adanya sih di bahagian belakang menggerakkan untuk pasukan Kelantan. Mereka tak peduli. Mereka berpuas hati dengan
Chan. Beliau bukanlah membawa masuk emblem fighter. Dia bawa masuk emblem tank. Dengan adanya kekasih blast.
Tengoklah waktu
sebab dalam game kali ni dan juga daripada Todak Legion untuk dapatkan ekstra lah 50 physical defense dan juga 50 magical defense tersebut dengan tenacity itu. Tetapi daripada dua-dua belah pihak, pasukan daripada Kelantan mereka tetap juga kekal dengan momentum mereka. Wanzi pada saat ini sangat bebas untuk melakukan farming. Begitu juga dengan Sihin, masing-masing kosong kematian pada waktu ini. Cuma kelebihan buat Sihin, beliau ada 3 assist yang menjadi Ozat. Dan menyusuli di bahagian belakang. Cuma aim lebih tinggi lah beliau punya damage. Dan juga saya suka escape moment daripada aim, di mana beliau guna flicker, itu negara dia tempat kepada 3 pemain. Sedangkan pada waktu itu aim berada dalam masalah dengan tenang je carta dan mengungguli carta damage dealt untuk Kelantan boleh mendapatkan game yang kedua ini. Sebab daripada ketiadaan Wanzi sendiri pun Kelantan boleh menyamaratakan kedudukan mereka. Malah mendapat Wanzi dah ada Teacher, tapi pertembungan tak dapat dimulakan. Cumanya gerakan.
Malichan ambil kembang terpaksa bergerak untuk mengadakan diri. Tapi rival di belakang belakang. Tak tahu nak pilih siapa. Rival yang tertangkap. Rival yang dikorbankan. Hakimi menangkan dia. Dia juga ada mesin. Menjatuhkan Malichan. Cuma fokus kepada Wanzi pula. Arisa dan juga Poza. Dan terus saja hantaman daripada Aim. Menjatuhkan Arisa. Hakimi untuk bertahan selama yang mungkin. Serangan dari pasukan Kelantan nampaknya dibatalkan dengan begitu saja. Tuan Legend mendapatkan kemenangan yang sangat-sangat besar.
Sepertinya target priority daripada Kelantan sudah cukup baik mereka dapatkan rival. Tetapi bila mana mereka terlalu fokus, memang rival dapatkan Lord dan juga Glorious Pathway burning kepada Mali dengan juga Pozan. Tetapi Oda Legend wet sana ini perlu dia lihat. Tadi
saya tak nampak lagi keberkatan. Mendapatkan 2 game, 0 kematian dan juga 4 assist. Tapi problem sekarang ni, Malichan jauh lagi besar assist yang dimiliki oleh Malichan. So, mesti kalau kita fikirkan secara logik lah kan. Kalau kata Pozan dan juga Malichan sentiasa bersedia dalam teamfight, boleh saja Pozan mendapatkan assist yang lebih besar. Mereka ada 10 kill yang menjadi perolehan mereka. Tapi tidak pada saat ini. Terlihat macam kurang sikit kebesaran. Bagaimana Malichan macam terpaksa menggunakan Glorious Pathway untuk melarikan diri. Hampir-hampir saja dia dijatuhkan sebentar tadi. Kalau tidak mungkin akan menjadi akibat yang besar. Pasukan Kelantan akan dikalahkan oleh pasukan Todak Legend di pusingan yang kedua. Terpaksa basikal ultimate hanya untuk kepentingan pasukan di masa hadapan.
Tak kena pula style daripada Neo. Cuma lihat betapa kebalnya Neo. Bila mana berhadapan dengan Hakimi.
Terus saja Hakimi
Fighter ya. Dibawakan oleh Neo.
Oh, tapi dah kena songket. Terus saja Hakimi yang jatuh sak untuk melakukan pick up ketika ini. Sebab mereka tahu kalau diorang boleh buat pick up, memang cantik sangat-sangat. Itu yang cuba Datuk Pasukan Kelantan supaya mereka mendapatkan dominasi di bahagian lot yang seterusnya pada 1 minit.
Begitu kebal sekali, tapi ada damage juga pada waktu yang sama. Yang pertama beliau adanya Thunderbolt. Yang kedua Tina Shield dulu. Adanya Fury Hammer pihak Total Legion, Hunter Strike nanti ataupun minit yang ke-16. Pada waktu ini Sihin dan juga Wanzi kita dah tengok kena pula tumpah dekat belakang.
Sudah betul kena kepada Wanzi, tapi Wanzi nampaknya masih lagi menjelangkan diri. Tapi Hakimi di bahagian belakang yang menggunakan sangat fokus kepada Wanzi, tapi masih lagi berdiri. Hakimi nampaknya akan dihukumi, tetapi tidak. Wanzi yang akan jatuh terlebih dahulu dan mendapatkan Neo-chan. Pasukan Kelantan tidak berundur, mendapatkan Hakimi sebagai pembalasan. Arisa pula mendapatkan Zekif. Sekarang ini 2 pasukan Kelantan masih menghabiskan game ini semestinya.
Ini mereka juga tidak mahu kalah di berlalu semak. Tapi Pozan boleh buka map. Pakai Void Impact dan juga Void Crystal beliau.
Sudah.
Sudah.
Inilah yang tadi ingin pasukan Kelantan. Sebab rival dah datang untuk menjadikan kill kepada pasukan Kelantan. Dan rival pula mendapatkan lot. Ini bencana untuk pasukan Kelantan. Dengan 2 kejatuhan. Sekarang ini 3
dari milik mereka. Walaupun dari sudut kawalan map, 6 turret berjaya dan juga berkeupayaan untuk merebutkan 1 demi 1 turret dalam bahaya. Tapi beliau masih lagi boleh bebaskan diri dengan penggunaan battle mirror image dan juga dapatkan nyawanya kembali dengan adanya Spavam. Spavam lebih kepada lifesteal yang mampu diperolehi beliau. Kelantan sekarang ini mereka ada hero high ground yang cukup solid daripada Moskov dan juga Eve. So, sepatutnya tak ada masalah buat Kelantan melakukan pertahanan. Total Legion yang kena berwaspada supaya mereka tidak terperangkap di dalam manipulasi dunia sebenarnya Kelantan lot tersebut dan juga Total Legion.
Okey, tapi Aim kemas saja menggunakan flicker untuk melarikan diri daripada positioning. Daripada Wanzi, tapi rival di bahagian belakang.
Baru macam tu Pozan hilang.
Bukan Pozan, Wanzi pun hampir sama, tapi Hakimi mendapatkan pasukan Kelantan. Hakimi mendapatkan Pozan, mendapatkan double kill dengan mencetakkan Wanzi. Dia mendapatkan Neo-chan. Sudah Arisa sebagai masa yang keempat. Malichan tinggal kesorangan, terpaksa berundurkan diri dengan ekor di bahagian belakang.
Apakah kejadian yang mengubah arus perlawanan ini, memberikan kemenangan pada pasukan Total Legend 2 pembalas 0. Mata Kelantan ke lower bracket.
Wow. Yang kita sangkakan Kelanta dah mula membaca strategi pasukan tolak legend, tapi di
is what will Aaron Shiki play?
If they need the magic damage.
They do.
For sure.
They do. They need
Yeah.
magic damage.
That's why maybe the last option is Nathan.
Yeah, it could
That's
be
why
Nathan.
Nathan or Lunox, yeah.
They can try to predict because Lunox against. They need to see the matchup first for the jungler, what kind of jungler that Bigatron want to use.
Nolan.
Your team.
Okay. I think it's very, very dangerous to go Nathan because you have the Tig, you have the Nolan as well to lock you down. You have to run Purify. You have to play much more defensively. Lunox might help you with the Brilliance Order. You can move around a bit. So I think Lunox does make sense, but if you want that burst damage, they will pick up the Nathan. But I think it's going to be the Lunox.
I know it's hard for Nathan on early game, but on the mid to late game, I prefer Nathan because
Me too.
it's gonna be hard for Nolan and Tigreal to aim for Nathan on the back line.
That's true.
Especially when you have the ultimate, so you can run away, and they have Cho. They can pick up the opponents.
Yes.
Not just that, the Cho also serves as really good ways here to facilitate the Angela in the mid lane.
Nathan.
And there it is, Nathan.
Yeah. Makes more sense. We have seen Shadera milk this hero so much.
Nathan.
Yeah. It's just insane. This Nathan is just disgusting. Man, ban Nathan, please. I'm still heartbroken.
I like it. I think Goni is as well, honestly, when we're talking about heartbreak. But he's looking over to us right now. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, Gotti.
Okay, game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Both of the compositions have been set in stone, and this time, Super Ken has opted to go for an assassin, a Nolan in the jungle. Now, if you guys had to choose which one had the better composition for this game, we'll start with you, Colius. Who would you choose?
TLID.
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 TLID?
Yeah.
Okay, 2-0 for TLID. I'm actually wondering what the casters are thinking. Hopefully we get a little bit of an insight as to what Arashi thinks, especially about the drafts. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 between the Red Robots and TLID in the first upper brackets. We're going to throw it over to our casters.
Round 2 will commence for the Red Robots against the Cavalry. This time around, El Momento once again, Arashi, on a different hero that can create this momentum.
Momentum is the name of the game, man. And I'm getting flashbacks, nightmares to the old utility support meta, right? The Angela, along with a Phobius with an Alpha. So many ways for Team Liquid to just get prio, get aggressive laners to just get rolling. And on top of that, imagine you're trying to open up the map against a Cho, a Phobius, and an Alpha, dude. It's just so terrifying. But on the top side, this is the strong side for Bigatron. Eman has to try and assert his dominance once more. Fabian in the area is definitely feeling a bit of pressure. We'll have to see, though, if Witty can perform the same way Keyboy did and kind of throw a wrench into the plans of this Tigreal. Same way what?
Mid lane action, first blood falls for team.
And what happened? I think Supercan just invested the retribution on towards, Yeheskiel, and he didn't even have the time to use the flicker as well. So it was comboed with the
Sacred Hammer?
Sacred Hammer redraw.
The push.
Once again.
So good.
Now in the mid lane is so Witty. So that rotation early from Witty top lane actually cost them damage.
Looking at the Emblem by IndieHome, though, Bargain Hunter for both the gold laners.
I mean, it's just Super Lucan, Fabian's going at it.
But yeah, if you look at Team Liquid ID, a lot of emphasis on the wilderness blessings, the agilities. They wanted movement speed, man. They know they need to outmaneuver Bigatron Alpha. They want to make use fully of the high pressure fighter composition. But now against a Tigreal, not level 4 just yet. They're gonna try and rush it down.
TLID has more space here to take the turtle, and it seems like Fabian will claim the first feud of the game. 100% still for Fabian in that turtle take.
Not even turtle. The Lord is also taken all of them by Fabian so far in this series. But right now, Pikachu and Alpha, they're kind of in control of the game just a tad bit, Arashi.
Just a tad bit, but the jungle is a whole different story, man. Bigatron once more is having the difficulty of Super Ken getting zoned out. In his early game, the Cho, the Phobius, every one of them, if they get their hands on Super Ken, he's gonna be in a load of trouble. So they have to wait a bit longer. But for now, man, this Alpha is just farming up a storm again and again.
Oh. Seems like now that's going to be an engage, but simple flicker
there just to disengage. So 2 overreactions there coming in from both of the teams. The secret or the implosion just to cancel out the kick coming in from Weedy. And now Vivian might be in trouble.
Sacred Hammer, that's a 2-man knockup.
Oh, never mind.
Damage isn't there. Key actually with the DPS, TLI, he might find a connection. Hard guard invested to save King.
Oh man, Fabian said, call the ambulance, but not for me.
Just wants to go back to just fighting back against Bigatron, man. He doesn't care about the disadvantages. On the strong side for Bigatron, Eman is trying just to punish Aaron Shiki. Man, this kid's laning is just something to be amazed by. We saw him get solo killed by Eman earlier, but you know, Eman is one of the best, one of the most intelligent gold laners in NPLID. And Aaron Shiki is having an okay time dealing with that. So it's all about this mid lane pressure. And the Cho, as we can see, has so much more to offer than the Tigreal. Tigreal will require someone else to open up the map, and unless Super Luke participates in some of those fights, he can't really be as risky as Witty is doing on this Cho.
Top lane though, I don't think there's going to be any engage. But now, round 2 of the objective battle in the second game. What's going to be the fix here, Hirashi, for Bigatron Alpha?
I don't know if they can even go for this. They have to go for some kind of pick off first. Possibly onto Aran right here.
Let's see. Can TLID find still the perfect nude of the series? Bigatron Alpha looking for an engage. Aran pops the Inferno Pursuit. But that is still Fabian. That's an implosion! 4-man implosion! And that's the last. Bigatron Alpha actually finds a better trade with Amon. Free hitting Super Luke finds the double.
Definitely a W for Bigatron Alpha. They lost the objectives, but who cares? They got the kills, 3 of them at them.
3 kills on the early game pressure fighters of Team Liquid ID. Definitely a massive W. Oh, Aaron Shiki.
Oh, he's stuck. 7-4's popped. Entropy will not save Aaron's life. Good setup. 2v1.
Wow, that was a very Aaron Shiki-like mistake coming in from him.
Yeah, I mean, overextending there, knowing that his team is kind of behind due to the outcome of that turtle fight. But Team Liquid, you gotta be a bit more careful when they're grouping up like that. The implosion is such a great tool, especially in the hands of El Momento. Key, well known for performing well, finding the right moments when he's on these massive AoE engage tools. But Team Liquid is a team that knows how to adapt, so you can see it happen. But look at this
implosion. That's their entry. That's just Weedy though. That's another information for Bigatron or for TLID.
A reminiscence of Beloyski versus Keyboy the last match. Every time Keyboy was in the vicinity, it's always implosion, implosion, implosion. Doesn't care who's the target as long as I get one.
In this case, it's different though. If Key is forced to actually use the implosion onto one single member, that might mean that they can't really contest the fight at all.
Oh, Dragon on towards the roamer, and that will be enough damage for Key to pop the flicker. In the mid lane is going to be 2-3-1, but Aran holds his ground. So both teams here just still trying to find the connection. And Bigatron though, 1,000 gold lead.
Happy birthday! The setup here. Team Liquid ID already in position. They left the Angela on the bottom side. Haskell even backs away further, knowing that it's about that macro play that they're trying to use to try and get an advantage in this fight.
No, if the Dragon does so far from Weedy, so they have to wait for this to actually. There you go, Weedy, it's a play.
Yep, looking for the jet way of Dragon finds Super Ken, but now the turtle takes Super Ken, finds the first dude. That's gonna be the fight. Final slash as well popped. Oh, that's gonna be Weedy actually taken down. Super Luke next as well. It's a 3-4-2. TLID, Sphere of Alpha. What a connection.
Who won, Arashi? 3 kills and 2 plus the objective?
Well, who did the turtle actually go to?
It was Super Ken.
Oh, Super Ken.
Super Ken got it.
Alright, so there was a steal technically, but Aaron Shiki, what are these items, dude? Man, I thought in that fight earlier it was all the alpha, but look at this, Eman.
Alpha Shadow Force, now Key invested the conceal as well, but Aaron Shiki, too slick with it. In the bottom lane, it's going to be Super Ken looking for an angle. But Fabian is still too tanky now with one item in hand now in the bottom side or in top lane. Aaron Shiki with the Witty. They find the connection on towards Amon, and that's Aaron Shiki picking up the extra goal. Oh! He isolated. Wrong way, buddy. And that's Aaron collecting the double.
Hook, line, and sinker for both Key and Eman. They thought They could pick off Aaron Shiki, but the Uno, first card coming from TLID.
Ooh, might be more to go here. Widdy looking for Super Ken.
Good spot. But that is just him trying to zone out. Perhaps baiting the retribution, but Super Ken still holds his ground. TLID, the recovery.
Dude, I'm the analyst, but explain to me what the heck is Team Liquid ID's mid-game? Every single time, even when they snowball or they get behind in the early game, this mid-game somehow allows them to just catch back up and gain the advantage. Now using the macro pressure, now using Widdy.
Moreno. Bottom lane, they will not commit on towards the just yet though. Fabian spots Widdy. Widdy actually isolated and taken down, punished. Bigatron Alpha finds the better trade.
Do they have enough time here? It's a 4v5 for Bigatron Alpha. Not much of a goal lead. They have the El Momento. Can they actually pull the trigger?
Flicker implosion! That's gonna be TLID responding though as Super Luke finds the kill. Bigatron Alpha, they managed to find the better trade, but Moreno uses the IMU defensively with the Spear of Alpha in hand.
Whoa.
Oh, that's the Spear of Alpha, the OG one, and that was Yaskiel flickering to find the kill. Bigatron Alpha, they're low. Can they find their recovery? Oh, Purify is still there. Now Widdy looking for a
Oh, goodness!
Aaron Shiki shreds him down.
They got the kill. They got what they wanted. But the pressure towards the Lord Pin. TLID cut them off.
What is this pressure from Aaron Shiki when he didn't have the Holy Crystal just yet? We see Nitans pop up when they get the 3-item power spike, but only with the Starlium, he was able to do all that for his team. Team Liquid ID taking advantage of the macro pressure, taking advantage of the sustain built in from the Angela. They're able to outpoke Bigatron, force them to go for a fight with low HP bars, and Aaron Shiki just pops off. 2k gold lead advantage for Team Liquid ID.
See here in the mid lane. Yeah, I mean, Bigatron, they will just have to sacrifice their turret.
Oh, and the bad thing is, it's not enough time on the other side, plus a T-Grill. It's only a T-Grill with Amon that kind of falls off compared to Aaron Shiki's potential in the late game. Oh my goodness!
Aaron Shiki with the entropy, very aggressive.
What?
Oh, bottom side.
Wasn't enough to take the takedown. My goodness, Super Ken with the calculation. He finds a solo, and that is going to be TLID. -1. Spear of Alpha connecting, or is Pathway defensive, but Super Luke is on stone. And Super Luke holds on, but he will fall. TLID looking for an angle. Aaron Shiki finds the connection, and he will claim the double.
Once again, El Momento stopped by that sliver of CC coming in from Iran. The Clairvoyant, he read that one perfectly.
Dude, again, the team fighting understanding. Even Fabian there, knowing exactly when and where to use that Spear of Alpha to throw off the calculations of Bigatron. It's so good. Even when Super Ken came from the back and tried to flank Aaron, he was ready for it. I'm guessing it must be Widdy, right? We've seen it before in the golden moments. Look at the replay here, presented by the official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S14 FE. It was initially looking really good, but Fabian just sustained so much, and Aaron initially kind of held back because he can't dive along with his team.
Oh my God.
Actually just stays in the back and does the damage. We know how Widdy shot calls, man. Hey, if they do A, we do B. If they do B, we do C. He has all of these plan Bs, backup plans for his team. I think that's what's a good ID off guard.
In a way, Widdy has a better code than the robots themselves. They have better algorithm at this point.
He's a programmer.
Widdy the Wise. He's an AI, meanwhile.
Yep, now with the entry beam hot, Wave Dragon as well. Revitalize!
No way.
Purify. But they will not survive. That's Super Luke. Shred it down, and he will fall as well. Iman very low, but Aaron Shiki, he's just free hitting his madman. Now with the Moreno, but Fabian finds an angle to take down Iman. 3 members now down and out, and TLID, they're looking for the base turrets.
Hammer strikes.
Super Ken survives barely. The TLID, they can end as Moreno flickers out, but now he will have to go to the base. Super Ken! Oh my goodness! But Iran is just better.
It's Key and Super Luke on the other side. Can they actually do it? Here we go.
Here's pathway. Aaron Cheeky will have to entropy out of that way. So Bigatron Alpha, they can and will defend. Aaron now trying to buy time. Infinite Pursuit pops, but he will. And Shy falls. It could happen.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
After Dragon, Weedy the Wise finds it, but Aaron falls. Aaron Cheeky on the other side claims the double.
My goodness, they focus on the guy doing jumping jacks, but Aaron Cheeky coming out of nowhere. Oh man, who would have thought this kind of beat down? The game ain't over just yet, but so far, the cavalry is absolutely dominating the robots.
When we talk about the targeting of Aaron Cheeky, man, he saw a low HP Super Luke and he's like, I don't care about the horse. We're the real horses. I want the damage dealers in the back. He shreds them down, Super Ken.
Oh, good night. Good night, Super Ken. TLID claims the Lord.
The assassin gets assassinated. What is the world that we're living in right now? We are living in Aaron's world.
He is the main character. No two ways about it. Now pushing for the base tower. Really is pressuring. Bigatron Alpha can't defend without the Lord in the picture, but Eman
Have the Shaman Force. That will intimidate and TLID. They will take it slow. They know they have the Lord and they will utilize the Lord properly.
I have to find something here. The Elemento has been momenting, but right now, what do you do against this purified happening from here? Wishing Lantern.
Lantern.
Rashi, you have to take over.
Usually we see a win of nature, I think, because you want an extra bit of survivability, but he's going for that.
Finds the Tig. They collapse. Amon falls. Glorious Pathway, desperate one. But TLID, they're a force to be reckoned with. And with this Megatron Alpha, they will have to suffer another loss. Ladies and gentlemen, TLID is at match point.
I mean, if they keep on playing like this, what is the ceiling? What is going to be end product? The end product of these youngsters. They came to the league. They conquered all of them on the second team and first team of FBL. All of them. Most improved. Rookie of the season. MVP. But you have this.
Julian yang dibawa masuk untuk diberikan kepada Kimin supaya daripada segi snowball mereka tu masih lagi ada, ataupun daripada segi secure objective tu pun masih lagi ada dengan burst damage yang boleh dilakukan oleh Julian. Cuma problemnya sekarang ni pasukan Homeboy sedikit mereka ada Vezana. Kita tahu Vezana kalau kena single point target lock memang susah nak larikan diri.
Okay, agak promising. Homeboys punya 3 pick pertama mereka ada hero scaling iaitu carry sebagai insurance mereka. Mereka juga ada hero early dengan pocket damage daripada Vexana. Cuma mereka sekarang ni perlukan 2 hero frontline yang solid dan juga kebal. Kalau tengok kepada draft sekarang ni, Grok boleh diambil buat kali yang kedua. At least dapatkan objective control dengan menggunakan real world manipulation. Ataupun mereka boleh gunakan if ini sebagai kiting. Maka dengan itu, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, berikan tepukan gemuruh untuk game dengan pasukan
agak penting bagi kedua-dua pasukan, terutamanya untuk pasukan Homeboy sedikit mendapatkan momentum yang baik sepanjang playoff ini, ataupun untuk pasukan yang dangerous pula. Mereka perlu menghabiskan game ini secepat yang mungkin juga. Kerana seperti yang kita diberitahu, untuk pasukan yang dangerous, mereka tidak mahu terlalu banyak strategi mereka dikeluarkan. Kerana kita tahu pasukan yang dangerous akan bermain di bahagian challenger match untuk berhadapan dengan pasukan Team Hawk. So tak mahu banyak strategi mereka yang dilepaskan, tapi rasanya pada game yang pertama ni dah tunjuk dah line up yang agak lain daripada yang lain dengan pembawaan pemilihan terus masuk Hayabusa bagi pemain pertama dan juga Kaisar bermain Masha di bahagian goal lane. Tapi untuk pasukan yang dangerous, walaupun dengan line up yang dapat begitu unik,
saya suka di mana untuk Kimi membawa masuk Warcry sebagai pilihan emblem beliau pada kali ini. Charger beliau master revitalize telah digunakan pakai. Dan daripada mereka, kalau Kaiser tak dapat siapkan item dengan lebih cepat, Homeboy sedikit tak akan ada damage sampai ke fasa late game. Maka dengan itu priority daripada yang dangerous pun dah tahu mereka kena sasarkan kepada siapa. Kalau mereka terlalu fokus untuk banyak stun yang boleh tangkap menakan Norazin, kecuali high loss dan juga final slice daripada Siska, Itu pun akan Nurazin bila mesti tak nak duduk depan-depan punya. Dia akan ada gunakan Court Shadow untuk melakukan kiting ataupun baiting ke arah pemain Young and Dangerous. Maka dengan itu, Homeboy sedikit pada waktu ini Siska akan tampilkan dapat memberikan poking ke arah Jenny QT, tetapi tak sempat pula nak angkat individu bernama Siska itu.
Kalau dia angkat pun susah juga kalau tak ada follow up. Kalau waktu tu pun ada Minzal saja sementara Nakan Razin tengah mengambilkan purple buff. Tapi sewaktu itu sekarang ini Turtle telah pun dimulakan oleh pasukan Young and Dangerous. Nakan Razin dah mula datang meninggalkan saja orange buff tersebut. Membatalkan niat dia untuk mendapatkan orange buff. Tapi sebelum itu bagaimana charger keturunan awal dia, tapi terus saja Wildchat segera menyangkakan dua pemain pasukan Young and Dangerous. Tapi tidak ada sebarang pengorbanan berlaku di kedua pasukan. Sebelum itu Jenny QT yang akan jadikan masa bersama dalam zone. Tapi Kimin yang berjaya menambil Turtle daripada tangan pasukan Homeboy sedikit. Kimin juga berjaya menjatuhkan Nakan Razin. Permulaan yang baik daripada pasukan Young and Dangerous dengan berjaya mendapatkan Turtle dan juga
Young and Dangerous menundukkan Nakan Razin dan juga Jenny QT, di mana hero-hero di bahagian mid lane ini mampu untuk membenarkan keputusan mereka. Tak kisahlah nak dapatkan gol ke maupun experience ke, memang tak ada masalah. Jadi pada waktu ini Young and Dangerous early game mereka dapat Nakan Razin mudah boleh ditangkap dengan adanya Glorious Pathway, ditambah lagi dengan menggunakan skill pertama beliau untuk menangkap Nakan Razin. Hylos punya loss of order. Cuma sekarang Nakan Razin
hampir-hampir saja dia termakan kerana Siska sedikit jauh sebentar tadi. Kalau tidak mungkin dia akan dijadikan mangsa seterusnya oleh pasukan yang Dangerous. Tapi sebelum itu kita lihat di bahagian bawah nampak macam sedikit pergerutan, terutama sekali untuk stylish berdepan dengan Kaiza yang dah pun ada tanda clap. So kalau berdepan dengan Kaiza sekalipun hanya sekadar mungkin nak cepatkan lagi movement speed dia sahaja untuk mengelakkan diri daripada ditampar sekali lagi oleh Kaiza mungkin. Tapi untuk pasukan yang tidak dipintas ataupun berikan sedikit perubahan terhadap pasukan Homeboy sedikit.
Memang tak dinafikan. Untuk Young and Dangerous mereka dah buat satu roadblock untuk pasukan daripada Homeboy sedikit. Nak bergerak ke depan pun dah tak boleh dah. Nak lepas, bukan saja nak ke depan, nak lepas ke sungai ni pun dah susah dah. Buat pasukan Homeboy Syndicate. Kerana zoning yang dilakukan oleh Ska. Pada slash masih lagi disimpan, cumanya total ini Razin ada kat belakang. Kena jumpa pula.
Sudah Nakan Razin telah berjumpai. Terus saja caca muka gelar papai, tapi Kimin tetap mendapatkan dapat yang panas terletak pada 2 poin pasukan Homeboy sedikit. Dan Siska berjaya mendapatkan Jenny QT. Dan di bahagian tengah bagaimana Minzal nak larikan diri, tak boleh. Dikejar oleh 3 pemain pasukan Young and Dangerous. Situasi yang sama. Kalau ada Turtle saja, 2 pasukan Homeboy sedikit dikorbankan. Bukan sekali tapi 2 kali berlaku dan memihak berpasukan Young and Dangerous.
Wah, final slash yang memberikan satu tekanan kepada pemain Homeboy Syndicate. Kena sapu 3 pemain atau 2 pemain tadi daripada mereka tanpa sebarang masalah. Tapi yang menjadi masalah sekarang ni adalah di mana untuk Blazy Duel digunakan oleh Stylizat hanya untuk mengelakkan dirinya dari serang oleh Kaizar. Kaizar tak cukup damage lagi pada waktu ni. Glorious Pathway ke depan. Kaizar
Kaiza di bahagian belakang cuba untuk mendapatkan Danzo.
Dapat.
Dia benar, sebelum dia dijatuhkan dia dapatkan Danzo terlebih dahulu. Trade yang cantik daripada pasukan Homeboy sedikit, Kaiza terutamanya. Tapi yang cantik adalah bagaimana Blazing Duet daripada Stylizat itu sendiri. Dia membuka Blazing Duet tersebut. So itulah sebab kenapa Stylizat itu nampak macam tak respect damage yang boleh dikeluarkan oleh Kaiza, dan sebab itu dia terus saja
nak letak dia punya karpet agaknya, nak dapat perisai kan. Tapi seperti mana yang awak katakan, dia mungkin tak respect dengan damage yang ada daripada Kaiza, menyebabkan beliau serta-merta dikorbankan. Maka dengan itu, buat pasukan daripada Homeboy Syndicate pada waktu ini, apa yang mereka perlukan adalah masa saja. Masa apa ni? Masa yang di mana mereka tunggu untuk Kaiza melengkapkan burst damage ataupun burst item bagi memastikan hero-hero lembut daripada pasukan Young and Dangerous ini dapat dilenyapkan dengan kadar yang lebih awal. Cumanya daripada Young and Dangerous, apa winning condition mereka boleh dapatkan? Mereka boleh dapatkan early game tu, cumanya Danzo baik, sekejap je hilang.
Memang sekejap, tak tunggu lama. 2 kombinasi daripada pasukan Homeboy sedikit menyebabkan Danzo boleh saja dileburkan. Manakala dia adalah seorang mid lane hero yang memang antara hero terlembut di dalam Land of Dawn pada ketika ini.
Oh, memang cakap pasal terlembut tu tak dinafikan lah, antara yang paling lembut sekali di antara mereka semua. Tetapi kalau kita tengok dari segi item pula, Danzo beliau telah pun melengkapkan Ice Queen Wand dan juga Wishing Lantern. Danzo sendiri dengan Ice Queen Wand tersebut, tapi buat Kaiser 5,700 Helmet dan juga bakal menyiapkan terasa Blade of Despair untuk Masha ini. Kalau dah ada Blade of Despair
Dan sekali, jadi untuk pasukan Young and Dangerous dan juga Homeboy sedikit, terutama sekali untuk pasukan Homeboy sedikit, mereka yang dimiliki oleh pasukan Young and Dangerous akan jauh lebih lagi. Tapi sekarang ini bagaimana Kaiser? Sayang sekali. Kaiser sepertinya telah pun menjangka Final Slash itu akan dilakukan. Terus saja flicker sebelum dia disapu oleh Siska sebentar, tapi balik bahagian tengah. Dengan perbezaan gol utara pada pasukan Young and Dangerous, mereka tak nak lagi kehilangan lebih banyak gol yang memihak pada pasukan Young and Dangerous. Tapi untuk pasukan Young and Dangerous pula, mereka memang sangat-sangat ingin mendapatkan artifact cantik dari pasukan Homeboy sedikit. Akan Razen boleh saja melarikan diri.
memang boleh saja melarikan diri. Cuma apa yang beliau tidak boleh lari adalah daripada takdir yang sedang mengejar. Tapi di bahagian bawah, Kaiser dalam masalah. Menggunakan saja tanda clap demi tanda clap.
Wajah dibuka daripada Bizal dan terus Kaiser menampar Siska. Tak boleh nak buat apa-apa kalau dah 5 orang berada di bahagian bawah mengepung Siska berkeseorangan tanpa sebarang bantuan.
Wow. Siska sekarang ini, kita tengok beliau walaupun gunakan Arlet, tetapi Homeboy sedikit sela-sela mereka dapat momentum disusun aturkan oleh coach-coach mereka. Mereka juga dah boleh memahami bagaimana cara mereka nak bermain dengan draft yang diberi. Dengan itu daripada pasukan Young and Dangerous, mereka kenalah berwaspada dengan setiap gerakan dilakukan oleh Homeboy Syndicate. Lagi-lagi bila mana Kaiser tu, bila dah ada item si Albert, dia hanya tinggal siapkan Malefic Raw, siapkan. Saya rasa macam ada sedikit item apa yang boleh bagi burst lagi. Sekali biasa mungkin. It's just a mungkin.
Macam lambat sangat buat sekali biasa.
Tapi boleh kalau dah burst 2-3 kali hilang. Mungkin lah. Tapi nak lebih sedap penetration lah. Malefic Raw untuk Masha itu sendiri. Tapi sekarang di bahagian tengah, Blazing Duet masih lagi disimpan. Yang Dangerous. Mungkin mereka dapat robohkan turret atas. Macam ya.
Mungkin ya.
Glorious Pathway.
Tapi memang sememangnya iya. Diberikan oleh pasukan yang Dangerous bermain dengan sangat-sangat konsisten. Dan Siska dan juga Charger menyiapkan item yang sama, iaitu Radiant Armor untuk menghalau damage daripada Jenny QT semestinya, dan juga Waf. Antara dua hero magic damage dealer yang maaf saya, Waf physical. Hanya daripada Jenny QT saja untuk menghalang daripada damage per second yang dikeluarkan oleh Jenny QT. Sebab kita lihat item pertama yang disiapkan oleh Jenny QT sebentar tadi adalah Glowing Wand yang akan meleburkan defense magic damage yang akan diberikan oleh pasukan Homeboy sedikit.
Dengan minit yang ke-11 dan juga 50 saat. Waktu ni Young and Dangerous.
Betul.
Taring ke
muka spesial.
Belum breakfast lagi saya rasa mereka. Yang Homeboy Syndicate pula bagi gol dekat Kaiser dan sebagainya. Homeboy Syndicate, mereka
kalau kita lihat pun, kot mana pun Kaiser tinggalkan oleh farming yang dilakukan pasukan Young and Dangerous ada 3 total yang dimiliki oleh mereka. Tapi sekarang ni dengan nyawa lot yang dah dikurangkan sebanyak separuh, sepatutnya pasukan Young and Dangerous cuba untuk memancing pasukan Homeboy sedikit untuk datang kepada mereka. Dan panggilan itu disahut oleh pasukan Homeboy sedikit. Seorang demi seorang dah mula datang. Terus saja Glorious Pathway oleh Kacaja di bahagian belakang. Minzal dengan berbahaya. Minzal akan dijatuhkan oleh Kimin. Terus saja fokus kepada Lord dilupakan. Bagaimana nak kontrol menggunakan Ogi Shadow Kill untuk melihat position di manakah mangsa yang dicari, tapi tidak jumpa siapa-siapa. Malah Kimin terus ke Young and Dangerous. Satu demi satu team fight yang dilakukan oleh mereka nampak begitu minimal, tetapi hasilnya optimal.
Betul. Serpasif. Kita dah sampai minit ke-14 pun. Mata pembunuhannya lah 3 berbalas dengan 6. Cuma yang Dangerous mereka secara diam, mereka dapat snowball tau.
Ya.
Mereka ada 6 ke 7 ribu gol di dalam tangan dengan kawalan map yang dimiliki oleh mereka sendiri berbanding dengan Homeboy Syndicate. Kalau Homeboy Syndicate nak buat high ground defense pun susah. Sebab mereka tak ada hero yang boleh clearkan mini wave dengan cepat. Yang ada pun daripada Hayabusa, and sikit-sikit daripada Masha. Cuma yang Nakano Razim memang nak tanda beliau terpaksa gunakan Court Shadow hanya untuk mencari mata pembunuhan buat dirinya sendiri.
Yeah.
Tetapi bagaimana kalau dah 2 ke 3 turret dah botak dah pun base pasukan Homeboy Syndicate. Hanya 3 bawah je. Ya, itu pun dah botak dah. Hilang pintu. Rumah tak ada pintu Homeboy Syndicate. Tapi Golden Spark dibentangkan, Rewind Manipulation dibentangkan.
Waf dalam kena berbahaya. Terus saja Vengeance digunakan. Tapi
langkah.
adanya wild shot daripada Mizal. Mizal bersorangan.
Versi dua
daripada Silas. Tidak memakan apa-apa. Kaiser tetap mendapatkan dancer. Tapi sebelum itu, terlalu banyak pasukan Homeboy Syndicate yang kurang nyawanya. 3 daripada pasukan Homeboy Syndicate dijatuhkan. Meninggalkan Mizal. Dan yang Dangerous menghabiskan game yang pertama. Menundukkan pasukan Homeboy Syndicate.
Satu perlawanan yang macam tak berlawan langsung. Baru last-last ada team fight. Untuk menang game yang kedua ni.
Pada pendapat saya suka untuk saya katakan seri. Jadi harapnya tidak mungkin suka. Jadi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Pasukan
Homeboy Syndicate. Yeah. Sama-sama.
Ya, terima kasih Cross.
Alright, Mizal. Pada awalnya beliau telah pun dikurangkan nyawanya sehingga suku.
Dangerous nampaknya berpuas hati dengan berjaya mendapatkan Jenny QT dalam serangan hendap. Sayang sekali. Bukanlah sekadar turret saja dipecahkan, malah Wah sebagai frontline pasukan Homeboy Syndicate juga dijadikan sebagai cagaran untuk pasukan Young and Dangerous terus mara dan mendominasi di pusingan yang kedua.
Nakano Razin. Dia dikor-ikor. Separuh nyawanya dikurangkan dengan Concussive Blast dan juga sedikit damage daripada Desert Tornado.
Yeah.
Wah. Ke ada turret dia attack dia sikit sebab tu nyawa dia macam tu?
Tak ada, mana ada.
Mungkin dia tengah pakai defense sword tu. Rasanya dia dah naik dinding.
Dah naik dinding lah.
Wah, tapi itu baru je daripada Siska tau. Bukannya beliau pakai damage sangat pun untuk kali ini. Saya rasa lebihkan kepada sustainability. Dengan adanya Thunderbell dan juga item-item berikutnya. Itu baru je ada Dominus Ice. Memberikan pengurangan attack speed daripada Kaiser dan juga spell vent yang boleh didapatkan oleh Nakano Razin. Cumanya Way of the Dragon ada boleh purify.
Tapi Mizal tengah flicker untuk melarikan diri. Tidak begitu lama, tetap juga ada tangkap oleh pemain pasukan Young and Dangerous. Sekarang ini fokus kepada Jenny QT. Dia digunakan hanya kita mendapatkan Waf cuba untuk bertahan. Kaiser telah pun tiba. Tetapi nampaknya Kimi tetap menjatuhkan Jenny QT dan juga Nakano Razin terpaksa menggunakan Tempest of Blade hanya sekadar menarikan diri saja. Damage yang dikeluarkan pasukan Young and Dangerous terlalu besar pada ketika ini. Dan untuk pasukan Young and Dangerous, mereka nampak begitu selesa dengan perbezaan gol sebanyak 7,000 gol memihak pada mereka.
Usah risau. Kita lihat Homeboy Syndicate mereka masih lagi berupaya untuk melakukan pertahanan. Mereka masih lagi ada Vexana dan juga Carry yang di mana ini adalah hero-hero mampu untuk mereka poking dan juga scaling buat Homeboy Syndicate. Lebih merisaukan saya tengok prestasi Waf dan juga Mizal tidak mampu bermain dengan baik pada game kali ini, di mana Mizal tidak dapat lakukan pick off yang kemas. Malah kepada Waf juga beliau seringkali ditewaskan. Itu dia Glorious Perfect dibentangkan kepada turret. Tak ada siapa pun berani nak masuk dekat dengan kawasan turret tersebut kecuali Young and Dangerous.
Ya, sememangnya Glorious Perfect itu ada aura dia tersendiri untuk menghalang daripada pasukan Homeboy sedikit mara, dan dengan itu pasukan Young and Dangerous dah pun berjaya memecahkan inhibitor turret pasukan Homeboy sedikit di bahagian tengah. Cuba untuk mencari yang seterusnya. Tapi sememangnya pasukan Homeboy sedikit takkan berundur tanpa sebarang perlawanan, tanpa sebarang pertahanan. Pasukan Young Andres mencari ruang di manakah lubuk ataupun lubang yang boleh mereka tembusi untuk merobohkan benteng pertahanan pasukan Homeboy sedikit pada ketika ini. Tetapi Hall Defense masih lagi ada di bahagian atas. Sememangnya mereka perlu memberikan tumpuan di bahagian bawah kalau mereka inginkan. Tapi untuk pasukan Young Andres inilah yang berlaku. Sama juga pada game yang pertama. Mereka keep on consistent, melakukan pressure, tak mau mengundurkan diri. Tapi Wab nampaknya terpaksa menggunakan Rifle Outright untuk memanggil pasukan yang endanger yang lain. Itu terdekat lepaskan, tetapi Kimin berjaya mendapatkan Siska. Wab mendapatkan pembalasan, tapi Charger belum mendapatkan 2 dan 3 pemain pasukan Homeboy sedikit dijatuhkan. Sudah Amin Zal dan berkata Kimin. Sebelum itu fokus pada Crystal. Dan nampaknya pasukan yang dangerous akan menundukkan pasukan Homeboy Syndicate dengan 2 berbalas kosong.
2 berbalas kosong. Young and Dangerous membuktikan bahawa mereka selangkah ke hadapan. Akan menurunkan Homeboy Syndicate ke lower bracket grouping. Ini adalah satu perkara yang kita sendiri tak jangkakan. Bahawa Homeboy Syndicate adalah naib juara pada MALMY musim yang pertama. Tapi kali ini Homeboys, mereka terpaksa berputih mata dan akur ke lower bracket. Tapi mari kita bersama dengan Fira untuk bersama dengan pemenang kita.
Guys, 2 berbalas kosong. Berikan tepukan untuk Young and Dangerous.
Moreno can think about using Heat like yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe a change onto Moreno's picks. What about the high-lows? It feels like 2 games in a row, Bigatron keep opting for this high-lows in the first picking phase as Fryo, by the way.
Also, I don't like the high lows. Super Luke is the enabler for Bigatron Alpha. Don't give him a statue hero. Don't give him a punching bag. Don't give him a sandbag. You give him something that can really make the play. You give him maybe the phobias. You give him maybe the Khalid maybe if needs be. Because with the high loss, Super Luke is just limited on what he can do as the playmaker. He's just receiving damage, so yeah, maybe try something else aside from the high loss. You know, when you lose 3 games in a row, I feel like you have to change your gameplay.
And don't feel limited too.
That's true.
Don't feel limited. Don't limit yourself. Get yourself a Samsung Galaxy, guys, because with the Samsung Galaxy, you saw earlier on screen that you guys can actually sit over at the front in the Samsung Galaxy zone, and don't limit your hair care. Hair cam by Head and Shoulders.
Oh, okay.
Bro, that got me for a second.
What? What got you?
I thought it was a girl.
Oh,
the hair.
you know what we say when
Magnificent.
Arashi was getting excited when see the hair, but
I think he'll still be excited, to be honest.
You know what we say?
It's so excited.
Wait, it looks like my friend. Honestly,
Oh,
he looks like one of my friends.
like a special friend? Or
A special friend.
a special friend.
Yeah.
That's nice.
A mentor.
A mentor.
Yeah,
Do you want hair like that, though?
I do. I kind of hate my hair, so I think I'm use Head and Shoulders soon.
Goni has like 1 million of it, by the way.
Wow.
So like you can ask him. But speaking about asking, let's ask the audience on what they think on how Bigatron can win in game number 3. Earlier on it was, I think, early game pressure or objectives. So 62% now target Aaron Shiki. You guys change your minds a lot, huh? Okay.
I think it's hard to targeting Aaron Shiki, especially when he's using like Nathan using Purify, and they already tried before. They tried to aim for Aaron Shiki, but it doesn't work. But for me, it's still play with the assassins.
Because essentially in game number 1, they were targeting Aaron Shiki.
They were.
Yet they still won the game.
I mean, the effort has been done from game number 1, isn't it? Like, they picked up the Kaja as well, right, to play the pick-off against Aaron Shiki. You can't really target that much of a problem towards Aaron Shiki because this guy just plays it very, very well. I mean, he is aggressive, but it is calculated as well. So I feel like for Bigatron Alpha, again, just go back to the picks that we mentioned this. The fighters, for me, for Coleos, maybe it's the assassins, and just draft something good for Super Luke to enable. The reason why it was so hard to lock down Aaron Shiki was because the only enabler was that Tigreal, the Hands of Key.
Sure, Khalid and Edith before.
Yeah, we
as,
also
as
still,
the option.
Yeah, Khalid, Edith, we still have that available on the table, but Super Luke is given what, a high loss, so yeah, you gotta change something.
And technically, they might be able to. They've actually opted for second pick this time around on red side. So that's a little bit of a change from the previous game that we saw.
Yeah.
How do you think the banning phase should look like in order to, 1, facilitate Moreno, 2, facilitate Super Ken, and 3, facilitate Luke on those heroes?
I think facilitate Super Ken. If you want to really win it out, you can try to get the Suyo, but if the Suyo is banned, you can maybe shift your gameplay towards Super Luke as the enabler. You know, ban out a few XPs that might, you know, hurl him down. So yeah, a lot of approaches for Team Luke.
So you have to enabler, right?
Yeah,
with T and Super Luke, but we're gonna see it later.
Yep.
All right, let's jump straight in, ladies and gentlemen. Match point. Drafting phase for TLID right now. This is the drafting phase presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S14 FE. And let's see the change. TLID go for the 1-1 and the Phobius ban, just like in game number 1. Bigatron, Chip, Fanny. The third ban that Bigatron went for in game number 1 was Suyo. Now, this is where the change happens. Do you think they are gonna let it go? Maybe force TLID? Oh, they can't.
Oh.
And now they're on the red side.
Yeah, they can't. They're on red side.
Can't force it. They can't. And Team Liquid ID, they might ban out the Suyo here maybe, or rather Big Strong Alpha will ban it out because it's in the hands of Fabian. They'll ban the Angela. Interesting choice.
Just like game 1.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, like, just like game 1, and it was used by Yaskiel as well. Suyo banned out, so Alpha, I feel like could be a good pick here for Team Liquid ID if they want to snatch out and cone down the choices of Super Ken. But yeah, Matilda is also left open. I forget.
Alpha Zuxin.
Alpha Zuxin.
Yeah. And they're using the first the drop from the first game, right?
Yeah.
From TLID. So combining with Matilda, I think they still can use Phobius if they want to on the XP lane and on the mid lane. Against Zuxin, I think maybe Eve is the best option.
Eve, yeah.
Against Alpha, against Zuxin.
They can go for the Eve, yeah. Zuxin has a lot of rage. Eve does have the poke, so in lane, Eve does kind of neutralizes the lane. It doesn't really lose. The Zuxin doesn't really win anyways. Win as well, so I think a Zuxin can go against the Eve, and the Nolan will come out, and the Harris. Nolan is a comfort pick for Fabian. Can't wait to see myself watch Fabian use the Nolan.
Everything is within my
They're crossing things out, man. Because this was the same matchup that we saw earlier on, and Bigatron were unable to get these objectives against the Alpha on Fabian. So we'll see the success coming in from Bigatron this time around to control that early game, and potentially with the early objective secure, they can utilize that as a domino effect. Tigreal does get picked up here by Key. We saw that Cho was one of the main issues for Key to get those implosions down, and they also see that potential in the Eve as a winning lane against the Jushin, so they're going to ban it out here in the second phase.
Yeah, and I think Nathan gonna be target banned by TLID because it's very dangerous if they can combo it using the Alpha and Tigreal.
Yeah.
Nathan gonna get the free position, but from the top 5 kills, we see that Skylar is number 1 with 199.
One away from 200.
One way.
But the thing is, that's Iman at number 3, and number 4 is actually Aaron Shiki.
Yeah, yeah, he's the rookie, but again, still going for the numbers. He can catch up quite a bit, but it's hard.
It's not about the numbers. It's like, I always thought that Aaron Shiki was the more aggressive gold laner.
But Iman is well known for being the Terminator, so I think he does have that under his belt. But now back to the bans. Eve, Aurora taken away because Eve, Aurora are two good poke heroes against Zuxin and can be the setter as well for Team Liquid ID. Natan banned out, like Olius mentioned.
Edith might be the best option from TLID because Edith, with the crowd control, he can aim and it can disturbing Nolan when he wants to go flanking, but Beatrix.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're target banning
the counter heroes from Eman.
The second phase, yeah. Okay.
Here we go, Khalid, the enabler, finally. We're gonna see it from Super Luke.
For Super Luke, yeah. Khalid will be very good. I mean, for Bigatron Alpha, they will have a lot of prio in mid. They have the Khalid, they have the Zeus in. With the Lantern Flare, you can always poke away your enemies, zone away your enemies, and the Khalid from the XP lane might just walk up to the mid to shove it, get them ready for level, for turtle, the first turtle in the game. And the Alpha is going to be a very good setter for Bigatron Alpha as well. So at least this time, they have good setup for the turtle.
And now, I think for Yeskiel, Vexana is the lapse of if he wants to play with the utility.
Yeah.
And for the XP lane, they need a tanky one, a sustainable one, because Matilda is not a frontliner.
Gatot Kacha, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, they will go for the Gatot Kacha and the Vexana.
Nice, guys.
4D chess. Paulius and Big Lives.
And Claude, what?
Okay, wait.
Talk to us about the Claude. We haven't seen the Claude in the playoffs just yet.
It's a weak side later. It will definitely relinquish all the lead, especially against a Herald as well. It's going to be bullying the Claude.
And a lot of heroes can cancel the blasting duet.
Yeah.
Using the Atheros Guard, using the Circling Eagle.
That's
even.
So why Claude?
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to play until the late game.
That's going to be the name of the game, but for objective takes, I feel like they have to rely on the 4. Eman will be having a very hard time against the Herald, and he will be the one farming his items for the late game.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else to add, Colios? We're at match point here.
3-0 TLID.
3-0 TLID. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to throw it over to the casters now to bring us to this match point.
Questionable, unorthodox, you name it. But at this very point, Bigatron needs to pull something out of their bag. It's now or never for the robots for game number 3, their last lifeline, at least in the upper bracket, against the cavalry in TLID.
There was a time where I was saying that Team Liquid ID, they were willing to go with all flickers, no purifies, but now we see the exact opposite. 3 purifies, man. They respect Key's El Momento moment, and I think it's more of the fact that they want to go and be the aggressor. They want to group up together, and they don't really want to have to spread apart to try and mitigate that implosion threat. Now in the wave clear department though, with the Gatot, man, with the Vexana as well as the Matilda, I feel like the early game pressure will definitely favor Team Liquid ID.
Global warming, man, going green. Oh, kill though.
Ooh,
With the pressure, able to.
man, guiding went away. Just the little things, man, coming in from Weedy. It's called Weedy the Wise for not for nothing, but right now Aaron Shiki might be in trouble. He smells something. No, he didn't.
No, with the final slash to purify, and Shiki will fall. Now Fabian looking for the trade alongside Witty. Can they find seems like Man with the BMI is able to get out.
Oh man, that was what I would call a rookie mistake. Gotta watch out for your side lanes or like the side of your map, man.
Ah, well, that's a great play again for Superken, knowing the aggressive potential of the Alpha. But again, Wilderness Blessing on 2 members, the mid lane and the ASP laner, and Master Assassin for Eman on the Claude, also with the tank emblem though, so he's trying to make sure that he can survive long enough against the aggression, the onslaught from the side of Team Liquid ID. And Aaron Shiki himself, he's not concerned. He wants to scale up, going with the masters, with the weapon mastery as well.
So they know it's a weak lane, and right now Weedy might be getting caught out. No, Supercan, that's a resource, but it's a dodge. It's not gonna bite on towards the turtle yet, Goni.
It seems like this time Bigatron Alpha, who has the Alpha, is able to find the newts, at least for now, and Supercan will collect the turtle, no problem. My goodness, Fabian, he's stuck. Moreno secures the kill now in the mid lane. Weedy with no spell in hand as well. He will fall from the Bigatron Alpha aggressiveness in the early game.
For the first time, this is not the TLID that we see in the first 2 games. Meanwhile, Kido, explosion!
Oh, no purify, and that is going to be Aaron Shiki taken down twice this game. The Bigatron Alpha. This lead is 2,500 goal, and we're not even 3 minutes in.
Rashi, you gotta tell me what happened in this match, man.
Well, it seems like Bigatron Alpha are kind of used to the movements, the early game rotations from Team Liquid ID. We saw a bit of that earlier, but now, with the Tsushin presence, with the fact that they have an Alpha on their hands this time, they're able to get the early win on the Turtle Pit, and even the ganks here, Superken. Look at how he's playing, man. He's farming a storm, but every single moment he has, every single opportunity he has to try and go for a kill, he'll just wait around in one of these bushes on the side of the lanes. Ooh, 1v1.
Super Luke here opening things up for the Red Robots. Fabian pops the retribution. Iran is able to find the assist, but Super Luke calm Raging Sandstorm, and he gets away.
Even in the bottom lane, Q once again wants to go for Aaron Shiki.
He will not commit the Purify just yet. There you go. But now with the Blazing Duet by Iman, actually pressuring Aaron Shiki, he falls. Waiting will not be able to assist him, and he will fall as well. Bigatron Alpha, what an early execution.
Man, they keep just targeting Aaron Shiki. The thing that in the gold lane, it's supposed to be a weak lane right now. It's a strong lane for Iman, and they're gonna take the turret.
I mean, this rinse and repeat using that implosion on, at this point, onto Aaron Shiki twice or 3 times already. And at the same time, the mid lane, due to the Sushin presence, can't really rotate around as well. So even though in theory there is some wave clear, due to the aggressive moves from Bigatron to zone away the laners from Team Liquid, they're getting a lot of advantage here.
And Super Ken finding the turtle. Perfect one as well. Now Iran is a little bit too greedy there, and he is punished. TLID now rotating with 4 in the bottom side, but it seems like Bigatron Alpha, they know and they read it. Looking to pressure more, and they're in the jungles of the cavalries.
Goodness gracious, look at the gold leader, Rashi. 5.6k in a span of less than 5 minutes, so it's more than 1k. And the worst part is, this is just the early game.
Yeah, the third gold isn't even down right yet, but okay.
Looking for an implosion play, but now he is knocked up Liquor defensively. Super Luke from an angle, mid-turret falls. TLID, they will not be able to answer back. Opened up. Now with the positioning, Fabian, will he find something? Super Luke, so too tanky. Moreno is in the area as well, hovering. But Bigatron, man, they're steamrolling this game.
And they're getting a lot of turret advantage too, looking at the items. Whoa, hang on a minute.
That's a catch. Fabian falls. CLID now will not have his jungler again. Fabian punished twice. Bigatron Alpha, 6,000 gold lead. I repeat, 6,000 gold lead.
Man, the programs, the robot is overheating right now. They are just overclocking and putting all they have in this game. Because this is the match point for the upper brackets. So the stakes are high. Thankfully though, if one of them loses in this match, they still have a chance in this playoffs.
Alright, we'll have to wait and see though, because now Bigatron, they're pressuring hard using the Sushin pick. Just cutting around behind the turrets, and then using that to buy time for Eman to just shred down these turrets slowly but surely. The protection still is even active for Team Liquid ID, but it won't even matter when they are zoned away this badly. Even when Moreno rotates away from the area, Team Liquid ID is just forced to respect the potential, the possibility that he's around.
Circling Eagle, committed that Sacred Hammer to dodge away. Oh, early, placing the white by Amon. Fabian actually very low, and Moreno jumps in. He will be stopped by Iran, but Bigatron Alpha, they know they will just hit the turtle.
Man, I know they're leading, but the way they disengaged the fight from TLID, there was nothing sort of...
Oh, that's the first point now with Avatar from Iran. Doesn't connect though. Bigatron Alpha still in full control, but finally TLID puts a point on the board.
Risky dive, but it definitely pay off for Bigatron Alpha right now. 9.5 in less than 7.5 minutes. This is just like, this is the most dominant game so far in the playoffs, even in the season.
At least one of the most dominant ones. Team Liquid, they are stuck on the defense. They don't really have the best high ground clear either. Having a Harith means that you're supposed to actually have a winning gold lane. You're supposed to have more ways to play from this gold lane, but because of the ganks in the early game, man, Aaron Shiki, the highlight of the last game, just can't do much.
See, Bigatron Alpha, they are still controlling the jungles of TLID. And take a look at the freeze lane, top lane. TLID, they're hungry. They need resources.
8 minutes, and Eman has completed the Holy Trinity. Arashi, this is just not looking so good for TLID. What's going to be the answer here against this onslaught coming in from Key and also Super Luke?
On the flash doesn't connect. Spear of Alpha doesn't connect. And Iran now is actually punished. Super again. Enough damage with the true damage that is in beta. Whoa! That's the blazing duet. Come on, BMI. Perfectly timed. 10 seconds for the first Lord. And that is still just Bigatron Alpha. 11,000 gold lead now.
Team Liquid Liquid ID trying their best to try and find ways around, but even around the man that should be the oppressive one, the ones that, the EXP laner that wants to be unkillable, rushing towards the backline, can't really do much here when he's this behind on the God of Kacha. This is an insane amount of gold lead though. And the fact that Division Alpha can farm so efficiently on all of these picks doesn't make it any easiar. The Claw can farm quick, the Alpha can too as well, and even the Khalid can help with the clearing, can help with the lane management too. Division Alpha at this point have all of their bases covered, even giving the purple buff to Moreno. They have all that they require to go for a decisive end, but can they do so? Unfortunately for them, with the Claw and the Tsushin being relatively short range, the siege potential isn't really too high, but it's more than enough to go and set up for a big dive.
They're just caged at this point. The horses are forced to hang out in the stables. Like, no grasses for you in the bushes.
Let's see, will this push towards them a game 4? Super Ken in the base. Lord is in the mid lane. Looking for the opening, not yet though. As base turret number 1 in the bottom side, Super Ken finds the Spear of Alpha. And that is one and done. He finds a flicker implosion. And that will be 3 members taken now, ladies and gentlemen. Bigatron Alpha with the reprogram. They actually force this series on towards a game 4.
They approach the game in a different way. And right now, finally, after 2 games, the retaliation that we expected to see from Bigatron Alpha, there's a reason that they are in this stage right now in the top 4 of FMPL Indonesia. They are not done just yet.
They're here to stay competitive. There's no way they're gonna let it end on a 3-0 note, man. You gotta make it competitive. And with that performance, it seems like they've cracked the code. They've found a winning solution here, a winning formula on how to take down Team Liquid. Whether that's the lane pressure, whether that's the rotations onto the right members, the timing, the read onto the habits of the players, they have found something. And the robots are looking alive.
Man, oh man. The panelists, even us, expected this to go a 3-0 for TLID. But they say no. We are here to fight, man. We are here for the M6 slot in Malaysia.
All right, man. We were talking about someone sobbing in the audience earlier, Shevin, but maybe with the signs of life, we can maybe see him jump up and down here in the audience. Shout out to Mirko, possibly celebrating the great performance right there. We thought that the second game right there from Team Liquid ID was so dominant, but it turns out it's even more dominant here from Bigatron when they do crack the code, when the programming really kicks in. Man, one of the most, if not the most dominant games we've seen in this season.
I mean, if you're just purely looking at the gold advantage per minute, I think it might be it, man. Like, they didn't really, they keep pushing on the pedal. They didn't stop.
What a game.
What a game indeed.
What a game for Bigatron Alpha.
You know what they're saying to us?
What?
Hey, casters, enough talking. Throw it to the panelists real quick. They didn't let us talk for too long at all. That game was only about 10 minutes.
And we're just gonna throw it to panelists right now to Eterna. What happened in that game?
I told you not to stay 3-0.
Don't fight.
And then this is the result we get.
No.
It's not so, oh my.
No.
Guys,
Stop.
like,
Don't fight.
This is ridiculous.
Don't fight.
I specifically said not to curse CLID.
But that's supposed to Liquid IDC.
Famous last words. TLID 3-0.
What was it even me? I didn't say it.
Turns out to be a curse.
Well, it is a curse, and it means, Eterna, that we're not following a pattern. Because it's not going to be a 3-0, it's at best, if you want your lovely team to win, it's going to be a 3-1. But if we take a look at the draft, Bigatron's Alpha draft isn't that bad. It's actually very good.
Because, yeah, that's what I mean when, like, fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
They fight for the early game, and especially that the robots still have the gas in their tank.
Yeah, they do. They still have, and it proves to you that you can't always fight them off, because that draft was actually very, very good because they have enough setup now. See, this is what happens when you give Super Luke that initiation, that enabler. And then Key can again be the second line to continue doing the moments, to continue doing the initiation. And that is just full stacked. And Team Liquid ID, they couldn't do anything. That was like a 10-minute game.
Yeah, it was. To remind us, 10 minutes. But granted, the audience was kind of correct, right? From game number 1, they asked for Bigatron to have more of an objective-centric early game and to control the early game, and they were able to do that in game number 3. And then because of those rotations that they kind of had with the mid-prio, with the alpha happening as well, they were also able to punish Aaron Shiki in his gold lane too. So they checked all the boxes. You mentioned the fighter forced on Super Ken, and because they were able to get red side, they were able to achieve that. So now Bigatron Alpha have the blueprint as to how they're able to take it back from TLID, and now they have the momentum. So let's crown our MVP, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S14 FE. And finally, with the space, without the Cho in the picture as well, Key was able to make some key plays.
Yeah.
And look at that TP, bro.
Now he's not alone. He's with Luke now. So there's 2 heroes that can enable, that can initiate the team fights. And the strategy, I think, from Bigatron Alpha is working now.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, you also have the Alpha, right, behind Super Ken with the Spear of Alphas. They have been targeting Aaron Shiki from the get-go. They don't want this Herod to bully the Claude, because why? Because the Claude apparently is a weak side gold laner, but in this scenario, they want to make it a strong side because they kept on ganking that lane. They kept on funneling the gold towards Eman, and Eman, it didn't feel like it was a hard Claude game. He wasn't even bullied that much. Aaron Shiki even got picked up like 2 times, even 3 times with the Blazing Duet, and they had so much peel tool to really keep Eman alive.
And I think when he chose Flicker as the battle spell, it's a smart move because he knows that a lot of dash abilities heroes on the TLID, so that's why he needs the Flicker to chase them down if they try to run away.
Wow. I mean, it's all perfect. Look, Super Luke. See what he wants. This is what he wants. A Raging Sandstorm into 3 players as the first layer of CC. The second one comes in. That is key. That is El Momento. With the Implosion, this is what Bigatron Alpha is lacking. That layer of control, that layer of initiation, that they were forcing Super Luke to play high lock. That's not a typical Super Luke hero. This is what happens when you give him the Khalid. And this is the trend that they're supposed to continue into game number 4.
Yeah, they finally found their footing here in game number 3. And, you know, recalling back to yesterday in their match against Alter Ego, one of the keys to victory for Bigatron was to make sure that that momentum role falls on to both Key as well as Luke. So it was actually great that you mentioned it even for the drafts, because they were able to... Were they listening to? I don't know. Seems like... You know, they heard Realize, and they realized that, like, yeah, hey, Hylos isn't working out for them.
I called Wura. I told him, don't make Mirko sad. Give him 1 game. Give him 1.
Okay.
Just give him a little bit smile.
Give him a hope. A tiny bit of hope.
Tiny bit of hope, that's fine. I'll work with that. But 10 minutes. 10 minutes and 6 seconds.
One-sided.
Destruction.
It was a snowball from Bigatron Alpha.
Total annihilation, I think.
So, we gotta talk about this again, right? Team Liquid, most of their success has been on the foot of them being able to make that snowball happen. But on the back foot, it seems like they didn't really know how to adapt in the game.
Yeah, that the damage to turret. It's clean.
It's very
wow.
clean.
It's untouched.
0 objectives.
Yeah, and this is also, like, it adds even more salt to the wound because, like, Fabian is in his comfort hero, he's using the Nolan. But the problem with Team Liquid ID is that they are so reliant on the early game. And I feel like Bigatron Alpha are able to crack that code because they have been so vexatious. They have been so annoying since the early game. They know that they have to outpace Team Liquid ID in the early game, and that's what they did. They kept on ganking towards Iron Shiki. They kept on trying to contest the objectives, and it worked. It worked when you can take over the early game. Team Liquid ID, they were left speechless.
Because essentially their draft couldn't really hold them over into the late game either, right? I mean, technically they had the Vexana, but a Vexana alone, I think
It's
it
not
will
enough.
struggle.
It will struggle, and the tempo from Bigatron Alpha is too high.
Yeah, very high.
That's why it's very hard for Vexana even like wait for a perfect momentum to use the Eternal's Guard. That's why when the Ammons comes with the Battle Mirror image, the Blazing, even with the Winter Crown, it's a total disaster for Vexana.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely. So do you think that TLID now would want to opt for red side this time?
Well, they could if they wanted to, but I don't really see where, sacrificing loops would be a problem for them. I mean, they don't really have a prio pick they want to pick up, right? Maybe it's only the Alpha or the Matilda if it's open for Witty, but so far they don't really have that tunnel vision win condition that they want to achieve. So I think red side would still make sense if they don't want to really hurry to try to get their power picks. But yeah, I think red side would be a key to that.
I mean, and technically Alpha, whoever's been picking up the Alpha in this match
Has won.
has
It's
won the
winning
game.
the game.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
Alpha is the key?
I don't know, how can you force Suyo to be left open? I don't think that's possible either, right?
No.
What's a good matchup against the Alpha?
Suyo is the best matchup.
Suyo.
Actually. Yeah,
Suyo.
but I think not all of the teams may be feeling confident to facing against Suyo. That's why they always banning Suyo. They don't want to let Suyo lose.
And they know that they can't let, Suyo let go to the hands of fate.
So let's let you guys go to the hands of the host now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into game number 4. We'll see you after.
Jenny di Telkomsel.
Silakan. Untuk di booth Telkomsel sendiri, di sini kita ada yang namanya tukar poin Telkomsel. Selain tukar poin Telkomsel juga, kita ada pembelian diamond juga lewat dunia game. Terus di sini juga kita ada kartu-kartu juga. Kita ada kartu Telkomsel, ada juga Orbit juga, bisa ada juga kartu Halo. Siapa yang mau berlangganan silakan. Selain di sini juga nanti ada lelang untuk baju dari Gifem. Bentar. Untuk baju giveaway ini yang udah ditandatangan oleh pro player aslinya. Wow. Ada beberapa itu semuanya kalau nggak salah tuh ya. Nah ini nanti sistemnya lelang. Jadi siapa yang paling banyak itu nanti yang pemenangnya. Kebetulan tadi sudah ada 1 orang ya yang jadi pemenang. Itu setiap hari dapat 1.
Setiap hari dapat 1 ya?
Ya betul.
Dan hari ini berarti udah keluar nih?
Udah keluar 1.
Berarti kalau kalian semua para superfans mau lagi harus nunggu di hari esok nih?
Besok sambil ngumpulin untuk poinnya.
Sambil ngumpulin untuk poinnya.
Betul, itu juga besok juga kalau yang berkesempatan boleh nanti ada duel by one dengan pro player Geekfam di sini. Jadi ada misalnya konsumen yang mau beli nanti bisa nanti untuk duel 1 lawan 1 lawan Geekfam.
Wow, menarik banget nih ya. Dan mungkin aku penasaran banget nih untuk Kak Ajun. Selain dari tadi udah dibilang ini, dari lelang ini, mungkin ada lagi nggak sih promo-promo yang cuma bisa didapetin di booth Telkomsel ini?
Oke, untuk yang di Telkomsel sendiri kita ada promo itu ada kartu Bayu Telkomsel. Itu promonya itu di 7 giga 20.000. Ya, dan itu masa aktifnya itu unlimited, itu nggak ada masa aktifnya. Jadi walaupun tidak diisi kuota, tidak diisi pulsa, itu tidak ada masa aktifnya. Seperti itu.
Oke, jadi banyak banget ya booth activity seru yang bisa kalian coba di boothnya Telkomsel khususnya di dunia games. Dan juga tadi sudah kita lihat ya bahwa per hari ada 1 aja jersey dengan tanda tangan khusus dari para pemain di tim Geekfam. Jadi pastiin kalau kalian semua mau dapat langsung aja kunjungin ya pastinya di MPL Festival di boothnya Telkomsel dan dunia games. Oke, thank you so much kakak sudah kita tanya-tanya. Jangan lupa sekali lagi untuk datang ke sini dan pastinya kita akan melihat game-game yang lebih seru nih Kak Radit. Jadi kita akan kembalikan lagi ke panelis, silakan.
Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Reddit Overkill, as well, for, giving us a little bit of a feel as to what's been going on at the venue. So, for those of you who haven't made it to El Dorado Bandung, please do secure tickets and come over. And if you guys don't have the ability to pick up the tickets, maybe it's sold out, you can actually join in various activities outside at the venue. And there's even a free watch party that's available that you guys can participate in as well.
It was stacked. There's a big screen out there.
Yep.
There's a lot of booths, even the food stall, free, and everything, I think.
There's Kila
We have
food,
everything in here.
Oh, so good.
It was very sad, to be honest.
Huh?
It was a sorrowful experience for me.
Oh, what happened?
Going to the Fnatic Onyx booth because I went there, right?
Uh-huh.
I bought a jersey right before the Geek Fnatic Onyx game. So I bought the jersey. When I bought it, I used it. When I used it, Fnatic Onyx went home. So
You are the curse?
I don't know, man. Gani also bought it and Fnatic Onyx went home. So
Oh yeah, yesterday Ghani is using Fnatic on the jersey.
yeah.
Yeah, because he told me he left his other jersey in Jakarta. So he wanted to wear a jersey to watch, and then he bought a jersey, and then...
So Sonic, what do
Hey,
you want to do?
I mean, it means that you guys are showing full support. You're not karbitan. What's karbitan in English? Like
Like a plastic fan.
a plastic fan. You're not a plastic fan.
I ain't no
That's good.
plastic fan. But I'm a fan of good games in MPLID though, so still good.
And we're getting it here. Still at match point, ladies and gentlemen, TLID. Still at 2 games, but Bigatron did come back with that final game, maybe even pushing it to their own match point. We might see a game number 5.
Yeah.
We
And
might.
with the game number 4, we see that all of the Assassins player are losing the game. Or
Yeah.
the end of the Assassin's meta.
Ooh.
That could be the case, but not really the end. But Assassin would probably be like second
Only Fanny?
priority. Like yeah, maybe only Fanny. Fanny is like
The most priority one.
the highest prio because there's like no natural counter to a Fanny. Maybe a Kaja, a Franco, but again, it's just so hard. We don't really want to talk about Fanny because I don't think it'll even show up in MPLID playoffs. And even if it does, it will just wreck around the enemy. So yeah,
Open it up. Open the fanny up.
please do.
Give it to Flava Fave. All
Flavor
right?
Fave.
We want to
That's
see
very
it.
risky.
But let's ask the audience now what they think. How can TLID close the match in game number 4 to win this and continue on to the upper bracket finals? The answer is 47%. Don't be out aggressive. Wait, what does that mean? Out aggressive. Out aggressive. Over aggressive? Is that?
Out and aggressive? Yeah, I think it's supposed to be over aggressive, isn't it?
Oh,
Or is the acronym like is like massive game?
inaggressive, out aggressive.
Because I think it's hard for Team Liquid ID to play a very aggressive game on the third game.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of CC that can fighting them back if they want to initiate.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they weren't really aggressive per se.
Oh. Do they mean don't be out aggressed?
Out aggressed?
Like Bigatron were able,
Ah.
they were able to play more aggressive.
That's true. That might be the case as well. But
Maybe.
if we take a look at what happened in game number 3, I do think that makes sense because Bigatron Alpha, they were very aggressive. Starting from the early game, they were ganking down bottom, shutting down Aaron Shiki, not giving him the time to play. So yeah, maybe when it is the case, especially when Faven was in the Nolan, maybe they could have looked for a play, especially when you have a Matilda. It's very easy for you to play in and out as a Nolan. You can burst in, burst out. You have the guiding wind to just go back. So yeah, maybe don't get out aggressed by Bigatron Alpha.
So the mirror plays
Mirror play.
still need to run
Yeah,
when they go for that.
it's almost like Suyo against Nolan. Nolan's mentioned it, right?
Yeah, because this is not a brawl game where you need to like facing each other every
Yeah.
time the opponents make the move. You still have a lot of objective, like trying to do the mirroring or trying to steal the opponent's objective. There's a lot of things to do, but yeah, during in game, I think the players' POV is different with us.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the TLID that I've watched in the regular season was not the TLID I saw in that game.
And
Because when TLID are on a back foot, they know exactly what their winning conditions are. So at that moment, they should have known that Bigatron had the better bearings on the objectives.
but by the data, I mean, if I'm not wrong, it's above 50%. If they lose on the early game, they will lose the game.
Yeah.
But
Above
that's
50%.
because they're able to mirror movements. They don't walk into the tempo of whoever they're playing against. They know their winning conditions, they know their strengths, and they play towards that. Here, I didn't see that at all. I saw Fabian just really falling into the pattern that Bigatron had set. So let's see if anything changes, because all of that, it really starts with the drafts, right? So this is the drafting phase, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 3, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE.
Oh.
Okay, there are a lot of changes here. Still the same bans, except for the Eve ban in the first phase. The Jushin gets picked up by TLID, but Bigatron is given the Matilda and the Alpha. What do we think about this?
Well, you got your hands on the Zeus'in. You got that zoning potential as well, again, with the Lantern Flare, but Matilda Alpha is just way too strong on the objective takes. So, Team Liquid, they gotta counter this with something that could set up for the neutral takes as well.
Nolan still can work, but they need to steal the XP laner for Super Loop. So maybe Khalid Nolan right now, left Aaron Siki's heroes on the second big phase.
Yeah, that could work. Maybe you got Natasha, Edith still on the card, but oh, they first pick Nathan in the second phase.
Nathan is
Rather in the
prio.
second pick.
Yeah.
And Cho as well.
Because Cho can go to the back line and Nathan can having his comfortable positioning if they have Cho as the bodyguard of Nathan and Pobius, Matilda, Alpha.
Yeah, the
Very
versatility
nasty.
of the Cho was what allowed them to kind of deny the pick coming in from Key, right? We saw the implosions not landing. We saw the cover that Weedy was able to utilize, and the moments, honestly, that Weedy was also able to create. So that they have that playmaking tool, but again, with all this on the board, I think, again, mid-prio is so important. Sure, they have the Cho and the Jushin now, but they need a good jungler as well to facilitate this, considering that Bigatron have both the Matilda and the Alpha. As we take a look at this cross-region data, please.
Yep. So throughout the MPLPHS Season 14 playoffs, Zeus'in has a 100% pick and ban rate with a total of 11 picks and a 54.55% win rate. So yeah, it shows to you how busted Zeus'in is right now, because with the changes, the mini adjustment that she underwent, like, you know, you basically have a lot of mana in return when you spam the Lantern Flare. When it hits the enemies, when you can lift them off, that mana restoration still happens to you, and you have a lot of ways to approach this build. You know, you can go to Sky Piercer to get that burst damage going through. So there's a reason why Zeus'in is either picked or banned.
Especially there's a lot of frontliner heroes on this meta. That's why Zeus'in might be a good option.
Yes.
Using the basic common emblem, the Clock of Destiny. So, Zeus'in can airboning the enemies 3 times maximum during the team fights, and it's really important, really annoying. But now no X-Borg or TLID, because Mobius and Alpha Nightmare is X-Borg.
They want to stop TLID to get their hands on the X-Borg, because X-Borg does very well against HP-based heroes, and Alpha Phobius are among them, so they ban out the X-Borg, and now Bigatron Alpha, they are looking for a mid laner, and their gold lane no longer first picking the Valentina like they did, Colius, and I think that opens up new horizons for them. What's left for the mid lane? Luo Yi is available, and it's going to be very good to take over the Lunox.
It's Lunox for Emon.
It's still supposed to be. It's still able to be flexed.
It could be Moreno too, honestly.
It could be Moreno, yeah, because
it depends on the last 2 heroes, but I prefer to use it on Emon's side, because against Nathan it can have on-par match up on the gold lane, and if he's using on the mid lane, I think it's lack of the mobility, but they have Matilda that can help Lunox to do the rotation.
Yeah.
You know, with the Aurora ban, is this setting up for either an assassin or something like Bane, maybe, for Fabian?
That could be the case, because now you don't really have cancellations all around the Land of Dawn when the Aurora is banned out, so maybe the Bane could come out here. And they will go with the Yakai and the Bane.
There
yes,
you go.
You called it, Eterna. They go for the Bane for the chess.
Bane and Clint. Oh, there you go. That's a Lunox in the mid lane
Wow.
from Moreno.
Okay.
Aeterna is the apprentice of Saint Lucas.
It's my team, man. I love you, St. Lucas. I love you, TLID. We go down together.
Good pickup for the Clint. It's going to really batter through the front line of Team Liquid ID, and Bigatron Alpha, they have enough front line to cover up for this Clint. But against Natan, the Natan will be bullied
That's why.
because of the range.
It's a good lane.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I want to task is like I'm cursing the teams for today, so I'm gonna choose Bigatron to win this game.
Okay, interesting. What
I
about
don't
you?
feel- I don't feel so good at Aeterna.
You don't?
I do think a reverse sweep is imminent.
Okay, 2-0 from the panelists. Casters, help us out. Again, we're back at match point.
5 seconds.
Panelist task for Bigatron Alpha, but they're gonna love themselves, TLID, because they brought something special here, Rashi, for game number 4 of TLID versus BTR. Line of Dawn, here we go. I mean, if you expect Bigatron Alpha not working hard, yeah, right. Picture that with a Kodak, man.
Or better yet, make them prove it to us, right? Get a 2-2, take a picture of that with a Kodak. But hey, let's see, man. We'll see if they can turn their negative trend to a positive. You know, they should want us to know that. But we saw earlier, right? What could possibly be in the hands of Team Liquid ID? You need a front line to protect all these vulnerable backline members. I was thinking that, okay, the Bane, we kind of predicted, but the Akai came out of nowhere, man. We thought the Edith might be a solution, but I guess it's the Akai is a lot safer. But with the Mathilda, man, there's a lot of ways for Bigatron Alpha to really burn out a lot of those early game, a lot of those safety tools from the side of Team Liquid ID. Looking at the emblems here, Assassin emblem for the Clint, along with the Tenacity. I think at Moreno.
That's a knockup. Let's see, Moreno will fly with the guiding wind to safety. Man, I'm worried about Bigatron Alpha right now because, first of all, it's a Natan, and we saw what Natan can do against a team that doesn't really have a lot of sieging potential, actually.
Exactly, and there's not a lot of seeking potential at all for Bigatron. Maybe just a Clint. But the foot is now on the other shoe, though, because you can see the mid lane very difficult when the Sushin is in the picture. Even with the Mathilda, you're gonna be forced to kind of assist your mid laner, not to do anything crazy, just to get them out of the Lantern Flare using the Guiding Wind. And when it comes to frontline, later on, maybe the Alpha and the Phobius can be a terrifying prospect. But for now, in this early game, it's gonna be the Mathilda. So Team Liquid ID have a lot more freedom of movement. And let's look at the neutral objective contest. In theory, they should have a lot more pressure.
That's Moreno, chunked alongside Iran. He needs to be careful. Heavy spin is available, though. Now let's see. Witty has to go back to Fabian. Quadra Retri. He will find the news.
Oh, my
finds
God.
a two-man Jet Kundo and will dash away. Never mind. Super Luke is on for blood. 1-for-1. But the turtle goes to the side of TLID.
And Aaron Shiki already cleared the mid lane as well. That's also a value to further the potential of this guy in the late game.
Pursuit. Still now is trying to get away, get some space. Super Luke is still on this guy, almost a solo. Way of Dragon just to cover. Now Witty will not survive. Bigatron Alpha managed to punish one.
Good back and forth here from both teams. But again, the farming game is where it's at for the jungles, man. Fabian trying to match, but he might have gone too far.
No, that's just a setup. 3v1. That's the Spear of Alpha. The Deadly Catch will not help him, and he will go down.
Something to worry about as well. Bane, Fabian, doesn't really seem like a Fabian hero, and also there's no Weedy to bail him out with the Guiding Wind at this point.
It's gonna be the Cho though, so again, it's about the aggression. It's about kind of balancing it out. Now Witty is the one that has to kind of make the big moves happen, where for Fabian, it's all about playing it slow, playing it front to back. And we've seen him play flexible, but I don't know if we've seen him play this flexible at this point. But what's surprising to me is in that EXP lane, the Akai is doing surprisingly well, dude. The max HP damage built into his kit is actually giving the Phobius a run for his money.
Yeah, never underestimate the early game damage of Akai. He's gonna run you down with the basic attacks, one the passive procs. And right now in the gold lane, Arashi, it goes as we expected. It's a clinic as a ton.
The bright side though for Team Liquid ID is that Iron Shaky can kind of make this a non-lane. Just clear the waves again and again when there is backup available and back out. Pikachu and Alpha are the ones who have to try and find some way to really leverage this Clint pressure. Because the Clint, you know, a big strong side of the Clint is that laning pressure, but now it's not laning, it's the turtle take. Can Team Liquid ID find yet another beneficial, great moment?
For now, Bigatron have more bodies are on, looking for that heavy spin, finds it. The backside Fabian is actually zoned out by Super Luke. Way of Dragon will not make him survive. He falls, but Fabian secures Super Luke. Oh my goodness. Amon finds the double with the Clint, looking for the triple. Finds it, but he will fall. Yeheskel with the shutdown.
Oh, it's a 4v5 fight. It was doomed right from the get-go for TLID. The bright side though, Aaron Shiki got a full-on gold plating in the bottom lane.
But a 4-on-1 Clint, that is a dangerous hero in the hands of Amon. Again, Bet is going to try and leverage that somehow. You're seeing Team Liquid ID still losing out in the pressure just because of all these fighters, but that won't last for long, right? The tankier Widdy and Aran get, the more damage Aaron, Yeheskel, and Fabian get, the less they can kind of do this brute force forward maneuvers with the Alpha.
See, Fabian. Whoa. 3v1 connection. Oh! The catch actually bought him time and he will survive. Luke on the other side will not survive. TLID responding.
Good response there with the deadly catch. Making Moreno second guess. Should I go in? Should I not?
Look at that though. Aran just, you know, shows out for a little bit, pressuring Bigatron to allow Fabian to stick around and actually clear that wave. It's moments like that that really doesn't get overshadowed by the big fights. But yes, deadly catch to cancel out the guiding wind. The tower taken on the bottom side. Team Liquid, this is looking like their characteristic, somehow comeback nature in the mid lane, in the mid game, sorry.
Team Alpha also has a pretty characteristic as well in this Mathilda, man. If I remember correctly, I believe that right now he has a 100% on a Mathilda throughout the regular season. Let's see if the cavalry can actually break that in the playoffs.
Tall order for sure, but look at this. Ooh, Conceal already used up. Moving into the jungle, both teams. Oh!
Kundo with the way of Dragon. He is isolated. Man, Bigatron Alpha, they need to find the trade.
That was the most procedural pickoff I've ever seen. Look at that. Even Aran knows that someone's there, and actually, Moreno.
Let's see, Moreno finds the Order of Brilliance to get space, but that is just the neutral objective. Being the main agenda, Amon finds the pressure. But let's see here, Bigatron Alpha still catching strays after minute 4.
Good tracer for both teams, but Widdy, man, he heard us talking and is like, oh, you thought I couldn't do Flashy? I'll show you Flashy. He immediately goes for those pickoffs, but he needs to step up and make the engages happen because Aran and Fabian, they can't really do that, right? They are just all locked in to playing it defensive. But Fabian, though, this is a dangerous move.
Ooh, almost a deja vu there if he got spotted out. But Fabian, he's looking quite beefy with the HP bar, man. So I think right now, he's much more tankier, he's much more safer at this point.
Look at the Heskio though, no Purify just walks up. Is it a trap? Aran spots the rest of the team. Team Liquid, once again, they're doing a great job mitigating Bigatron Alpha's engage potential. In theory, Bigatron are the ones who have the chase, who have the early game burst here with the Clint, with the Alpha, but they're really not getting a lot of value from those picks just yet.
As they move on to the top lane to equalize the turrets. Widdy is already started the situation, meanwhile Aran.
Aran distracting, providing an info, but Yeheskel in the mid lane is actually vulnerable. Good knockup as Aaron Shiki collects the inner. Fabian with the conceal of Widdy, looking to find one member, but Aran is still too tanky. Super Luke, escape! Oh my goodness! Finds a 3-man heavy spin, and that's the collapse that TLID needed. 2 members taken down.
Prince Aran caught the biggest Alpha members caught off guard there. 3-man pinned down in the mid lane. A place that you never see a Kai use usually.
Usually you see the Fabian pop off. We saw Aaron pop off. When they're both pressured, Aran steps up to the plate. The playmaker himself, again and again. He has been overshadowed in this match. But right there, he shows why he is one of the best. Why he is nominated for one of the best EXP laners in Indonesia, with the Lord coming up soon. After a play just like that, Bigatron Alpha, they have to be so concerned, so wary of a potential engage again.
That's the foundation for that mid-game now with the Way of Dragon spent already. Witty will fall. Retribution goes to Fabian. Calmly done. Yeskiel now isolated in top side. Will Bigatron punish? It seems like Yeskiel will fall. And that's CLID. Finds the heavy spin onto a super loop, but he survives. 2-4-0, but the Lord goes to the hands of the Cavalries.
Good play by Bigatron there to get something at least, not making it a overall win. Even the mid tower actually able to be saved. That damage from the Bane though is ramping up. Aaron, even secured that purple buff in the midst of that chaos, and they are all gonna be up for the next base defense. But watch that Wishing Lantern, more percentage max AP damage for Moreno. This means that Aran and Fabian and Witty technically are a lot more vulnerable. So with Eman scaling to the late game as well, Team Liquid has to be a bit careful.
They're on the offense now. Mid turret falls. Bigatron Alpha.
Oh,
Positioning. That's the crab claw cannon right there, baby. Bigatron Alpha. Again, they're looking to find a better positioning, better formation, but it seems like they can't.
Super annoying, man. And the range on this Bane is just insanity right now. They might pull the trigger here.
Let's see. Witty will look for the initiation play. Lovely catch to chunk the base turret, but it seems like the First Lord will not do his job. Base turret still stands.
Step by step, brick by brick, Fabian and crew is taking all the mid turrets away. Ooh, look at that. That's too key, by the way, the roamer.
oh man, what the shield too? These bounces, man. Bigatron Alpha has to be a bit careful about this. Man, Team Liquid, it's only the First Lord, so not taking a base turret at this point is kind of understandable. But look at the damage dealt, it's actually quite equal. Eman, the issue right here is if he can actually, do more damage than Aaron Shiki, then there's no way for Team Liquid to get to him either. But they don't have to do that, right? With the Natan, this is why the Natan pick is just so valuable. And just playing it the slow game.
I mean, at this point, they want to pull the trigger if it's an Alpha. But no, they're going to back up with the guiding wind. And to be honest, like they can force out as long as the minion goes into the, the vicinity, the aggro of the tower, they can force out a turret with a heavy spin from Aran. There might be something that Bigatron Alpha is, should be wary of at this point.
Might be a bit too risky for Team Liquid ID's likes though. But look at that info gathering, man. The Lantern Flare quite literally illuminating the rest of the jungle. But Yeskiel, again, no Purify. Playing a hero that's kind of squishy, punishable by all means. Has to be a bit careful. Looking at the rest of the items though, that's a quad armor for Witty. So if Bigatron are relying on a massive spike in damage, a big quick draw coming in from Eman, that damage now is going to be mitigated. So Witty is going to be a bit more slippery. And with 3 seconds to go, the wave is set to the top side. Man, Team Liquid ID has damage to rush this down.
I'm saying, Bigatron Alpha, can they find and penetrate the formation of TLID in this Lord Taker run? And Yeskiel being in the front lines, Witty in the angles. Lord taken by Fabian, but be careful, Ron, very low. Bigatron Alpha, they move onwards with Super Loop, charging, finding the kill. Now Super Loop looking for more. Witty is trying to get away. Yeskiel in an awkward angle and position. Crimson Beacon. Whoa! Dragon, but Moreno secures one. Oh my goodness! Moreno DD finds two, but Fabian finds the trade.
All in all, that might be a winning trade for Bigatron Alpha. They have only 2 members right now, TLID. Can they even make use of this Lord? They have the siege though, with the Natan and the Bane.
Unfortunately for Bigatron Alpha, the Lord is delayed by a wave right there. It's gonna buy time for Team Liquid ID to be on the map. They won't be able to clear it without contest. They've got the advantage there, but man, Team Liquid ID were taking that fight spread apart, not together. In the next fight with the Lord, this is gonna be a 5v5 front to back, just the way Team Liquid ID wants it.
Everyone is catching up. Yeskiel and Witty is already charging towards the bottom lane, looking to further enhance the sieging potential of TLID. The cavalry is trying to run through the robots.
Let's see, get the catch early again to chip the turret. Bigatron Alpha will now be able to defend the base turret in the bottom side, but they will clear the top side lane. Lord taken care of, but it's just still TLID controlling most of this game, most of the game.
Yeah, the good thing though, Rashi, look at the Lord's position.
Lane. Yeah, the other side of the map from where the base tower was taken for Team Liquid ID. Moreno, though, showing again that the late game, even though, I mean, the Clint scales well to the late game too, by the way. Just a bit more burst heavy, but with the Lunox as well, if they can't really deal with the dive potential, they can't really get Aaron Shiki and Fabian away from that damage. We're seeing it being quite dangerous, quite literally. But with 60 seconds on the clock here, Team Liquid ID plays the patient game. They set up a net here just to spot out the members of Bigatron if they do make a, surprising, pesky maneuver. But aside from that, they're not even showing on the map. They're kind of pressuring Bigatron to stay in their base by not showing, by just standing there. And that was a sticker by Fabian.
Oh, interesting. I forgot we have stickers. But right now in MPL Indonesia, friendly day 2. Right now, 4K Gold lead, even though in the kill department, 9-11, only 2 kills is the differential of both teams. And BTR actually leading on that, so it's quite interesting to see that TLID is up by this much. The economy is favoring them by a lot.
Looking at the farming game here in the player head-to-head, Fabian definitely doing a lot better. And this is the late game where the Bane damage really can't be ignored. On the side of Team Liquid ID, they're also going full glass cannon because Aaron Shiki isn't going for any kind of defensive items. Just the Blood Wings for an extra bit of damage along with the survivability. And now it's the neutral objective game where Team Liquid ID has an abundance of an advantage.
Seems like Bigatron Alpha, they're trying to contest this board, but Ron says no with the heavy spin. Bigatron Alpha, let's see, will they find round 2 again? Fabian now being the target. Oh, isolated with a crown just to bait. Is it enough though? Moreno jumps in with the Order of the Brilliance. But now Witty isolates Amon. He goes down. But TLID, they answer back. Now with their mortality bomb, Aaron Shiki's in trouble and he will fall. Super Ken shuts him down.
Look at the base.
It's not over just yet. The base though, Fabian recalling.
Seems like TLID, they want more. The minions almost being the game changer, but that's the deadly catch. Let's see, Bigatron Alpha for now still stands, still trying desperately to hold their ground as the base here in the mid lane is looking juicy, but TLID help they're very low. Fabian being such a constant nuisance, but seems like Bigatron Alpha, they will defend.
Unfortunately, there's no long-range melee dealer there. Aaron Shiki was still alive. It will be a completely different story for TLID right now. My goodness, we have ourselves a game at the 70th minute mark.
Aaron Shiki, man, too aggressive for his own good. Going for the play there, seeing the flow of the fight favor Team Liquid ID, but Bigatron and Alpha find moments of their own. If those waves, though, on the bottom side was slightly more in favor of Team Liquid, that could have been the end of the game. Team Liquid ID were able to delay for so long, but now it's back to the default. And again, I think it really favors Team Liquid here. Because they are the ones with the front to back with all the late game, and they have more solutions to play the textbook style. Bigatron Alpha are the ones who have to do something unpredictable, right? Catch someone off guard, maybe with a huge amount of burst damage coming in from Eman, from Moreno, or maybe Key can bring Super Ken to the back. They are the ones who have to try and be creative right here. Team Liquid have to curb the enthusiasm, quite literally.
Yeah, Super Ken right now being the frontliner. Interesting to see that the jungler itself is the one that's caught out the situation, but Eman is actually on the farthest one there, knowing that there is still Key there.
Aran as well, by the way. 2 components here, Dreadnought Armor and the Steel Leg Plates, not really combining, I believe, into a single item. So he was kind of going for components just to get the extra benefit, right? For the Dreadnought Armor, the lack of the reduction in damage coming in from abilities. That works for Eman as well, by the way, because the Clint isn't really a base attack base type of marksman. So you're seeing creative itemizations coming in from both parties. But once more, for Bigatron, they have to look for one single moment. And Team Liquid ID, with a Cho, with an Akai, there's so many more ways for them to recover from a bad situation. 10 seconds till the next Lord, and the waves technically can be set up by Bigatron.
Calm before the storm. The storm is coming for Bigatron Alpha and also TLID. How do they weather it?
Heavy spin early. Will this be effective? That with a crown pops as well. Moreno very low, but that's a Spear of Alpha.
Damn.
That might change the game.
Okay.
Alpha finds one to remove. Will fall. That's no retribution.
Nice.
Amon finds the double. No retribution because on Alpha. They can and they will fight back.
Is he wanna go? No, yes, kill. You don't wanna pull the trigger just now. This is the question for Nakai EXP composition. Once the heavy spin is gone, your window is literally closed.
And they use both of their tools to go aggressively there. Nothing's left to try and go defensive. Look at Moreno though.
And he has the flicker. Yes, kill
no.
bombs and
Nice.
Moreno is still there.
Let's go.
Moreno, you dirty boy. And that's Winnie taken down. Megatron Alpha wipes CLID to the grave.
We said that the objective control will be immaculate for TLID. But what just happened? Megatron Alpha turned the script. And they might be going the whole way. 30 seconds for all the 3 members of TLID.
2v5, the main wave tier tool not available. Fabian has some damage, has a lot of utility with the heavy spin. Can they do it? 2v5.
This might be it. Ladies and gentlemen, deadly catch. That's the last stand. Iran and winner clowns by time. Megatron stands with 5. Iran taken down. Fabian defends alone.
No way.
5
Absolutely
seconds
no way.
for Yeheskiel. Megatron, can they close this game out as Amon?
Minions.
Is there the minions? Not cleared. Wait a minute, gentlemen.
Nice.
We go to game 5.
Wow! After all that happened in the first 2 games, what just happened? Megatron Alpha is back looking like an actual team again. They called the big choke, but right now TLID, it's in the midst. It's on their way to do it.
They're clutch. Team Liquid ID with a textbook front to back went for risks in that game. And it's a high risk, high reward play. If it worked out, that would have been the end for Bigatron Alpha. But with the experience that they have, with the composure, are we seeing here the difference in experience between Bigatron and Team Liquid ID? With that comeback, man.
Man, oh man. Best of 5, closed out in actual 5 games. This is what the fans are trying to see. The MLBB esports enthusiasts is trying to see. The climax of the series. Who will go to top 3 in MPL Indonesia Season 14 playoffs? Is it the Cavalry or Bigatron Alpha?
One more game and we will find out. Is it the Cavalries or is it the Red Robots?
Oh boy. You have to wonder again if there's a difference in mentality here, with everyone so confidently predicting that Team Liquid ID will have this game. Man, we've seen them perform as underdogs before, but when you're the favorites, there's a different pressure that you have to face. And this was at play. It was looking so good. But again, when you have good burst damage, you can go for moments like this where you can make a single flicker play, secure a kill, and the longer the game goes, it's just dangerous. And Moreno, man, the game sense on this guy, the engage here from the rest of the team as well. Team Liquid ID, they could have played it safe, but perhaps their dominance, their mechanical team fighting prowess has come to haunt them in the back, going for that fight 3v5.
An intelligent draft as well. That Lunox, even I question it. Why did they pick Lunox? It was such a risky pick. But when you can dive with a flicker, with a brilliance, Ruby Tiri style, who's gonna stop you? It's a Shushin. And also an Natan, this might be the question or the answer to this Natan problem that we have in MPL Indonesia Season 14 playoffs so far. But let's see though what our panelists has to say for this game and for this series. Eterna, take it away.
Welcome to playoffs, Eterna. Welcome to playoffs.
He is not a curse.
My team has lower brackets.
That's true. My bad.
Oh. So
My
you're
team-
guessing that
my team
TLID
has-
gonna lose on the game number 5?
My team has 4 MPLs.
And yet you still couldn't make it to top 4.
My team went to M5.
And yet you still couldn't make it to top 4.
That's true. I raised my case.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams are now at match point. Bigatron Alpha, impeccable gameplay in game number 4. It's, of course, a full best of 5 series. You know what? It's okay. I like this. It's competitive. This is what we wanted from last season. And we're seeing that both of these teams can actually go head to head and They're on par.
They are on par. I mean, from looking at the draft, actually, Bigatron Alpha's draft looked very solid because they had setters to really just fight through the objectives. They had good initiation, good lockdown as well. But from Team Liquid ID, they also had the same. They had the conditions where they want to fight with the pin down from the Akai, from Aran, who, by the way, landed solid heavy spins. And then you had that late game potential in the hands of the Bane and the Natan. But it just did not work out. Why? Because Bigatron had Eman. Clint is a front line killer.
And don't forget the X factor that Aitona mentioned before we go to the panelist section. It's their first time to playing on BO5.
Yes.
Right? So the pressure is on.
Pressure is on.
If they play on the BO3, they already won.
2-0 already. So let's crown our MVP, ladies and gentlemen. Presented to you by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE, and it is Moreno. Now, in the drafting phase, when we saw the Lunox being picked up, even you mentioned that, you know, Lunox in the mid lane, it's so risky. It doesn't work out well. We heard Sheffin mention it as well, but he made it work. Let's talk about how and why.
I think how Moreno's play with Lunox, using the flicker, using the brilliance of order and the chaos. It's really bring the chaos to TLID.
Yeah.
Because he always A-bore Eman.
Yeah, I mean, the way he plays it is that his targeting is so good. The only reason why this Lunox is picked in the very first place is to become the sole diver towards the Natan, towards Aaron Chiki. Aaron Chiki did not have a very good time. He can dive with the Chaos Order, with the Brilliance Order, he can go out as well. And plus, there will be Key, who will fetch him with the Guiding Wind. We talked about this, we argued a little bit with Corleus, is the fact that, yes, they had Matilda, but the Matilda is also required by other heroes that also needs the Guiding Wind. But the problem with, but the case for Moreno is that he has that time where he can burst down Natan, or he can burst down the Aaron Chiki, and then he comes out with the Guiding Wind. So all in all, it's a complete package. Bigatron Alpha, they can burst down the players, they can fight front to back, but they can also dive into the backline. There's Super Luke the Phobius, there is Lunox in the hands of Moreno, and then Clint will be the main leading player to play that front to back competition, because Clint isn't DPS per se, he's much more of a burst marksman, but he bursts down the tanks of Team Liquid ID.
Like, look at that damage.
Yeah.
What in the world? And essentially, every time they went into these team fights, nobody was able to actually catch Eman in the back line. But it's curious, right? Because technically, TLID had Aran on the Akai, and they also had Weedy on the Cho.
But when Akai using the heavy spin, I think Winter Crown always save the day, especially if Super Can.
Yeah.
That's why it's gonna be hard if they pin the Super Can down and like if they try to aim for the Super Can is using Winter Crown.
We talked about this actually. The later the game goes, the more hard it is for you to land the heavy spin. It's almost like the same case of 1-1 with the crossbow of tank. When it's popped, you have that time frame where you can pop back your Winter Crown, which makes you invulnerable against that heavy spin, which means that you have that time frame for you to dodge the CC. So then Bigatron Alpha, they can pounce back after the heavy spin, because there isn't really an AoE heavy tool you can utilize in the hands of Team Liquid ID aside from the heavy spin. Maybe yes, you know, really can pop the Jeet Kune Do and then the dragon, the way of the dragon, but it isn't as heavy locking as the heavy spin.
Yeah, with Winter Crown also with Lunox, right? So it's gonna be hard to aim for Lunox, especially if he wants to dive in using the Brilliance of Order, using the Chaos, and if like the others try to aim for Lunox, he can just do the Winter Crown.
Yeah, and Lunox also has that innate survivability with the Brilliance of Order.
Immune.
Yeah, immune to anything, to damage, to CC. He is basically, rather she is basically just able to dodge away from all the atrocities that Bigatron Alpha wants to bring.
What a game.
Yeah, I think
What
it's
a
a 50-50 game. So it's really interesting to see what kind of gameplay that they gotta play on the last game.
It gets more interesting because this is where Team Liquid ID will be battle tested. This is not a scenario where they're used to. Sure, they are used to BO3s, they are used to winning 2-0, 2-1, or losing 0-2 and 1-2. But when it comes to the best of 5, especially when you are the one leading the game with a 2-0 lead, and then it becomes a 2-2, we go back to square one.
Ooh.
And this will be a very, very expensive
Pressure is on.
experience for them if they do advance to M6, because these are young bloods who don't really have the chance to play in these types of games.
That's
I
why
agree.
a lot of people is doubting the young blood mentality. Now it's a time to prove it.
Yeah, this is their time to prove their young blood mentality.
And like essentially, even though we're going back to square one, now down to a best of one, it's Bigatron Alpha that hold the momentum. So not necessarily 50-50 here for TLID, honestly, because they're gonna have to come back from 2 losses in a row. And we saw the look on Wheaty's face, and then you could hear him say, Aman, like,
Aman.
it's all good, it's all good. But yeah, it boils down to that. Who's gonna be able to pick up the morale is
That's
going to be
true.
very important too.
And this is also proving grounds for Bigatron Alpha. They are known as the team who chokes in the playoffs. But now they are the ones on the verge of pulling a reverse sweep, our first ever in MPL ID Season 14 playoffs. So that kind of adds the momentum into their favor as well, because now they know they can prove everyone wrong, that they're not choking anymore. They have the capabilities to pull that reverse sweep.
Yeah, that's why I think TLID needs to bring back their DNA. It's like, don't let the opponents get the map control on the early game. That's really important because Vavian gameplay using Bane, it's not Vavian because Bane on the early game is not that strong.
Yeah.
It's not that high mobility to like do the rotation or do some pick off to the side lane.
Yeah, that's exactly why they picked up the Natan, because I think their aim here was also to play towards the late game. Bane is disgustingly good as well in the late game. The damage, the crits is just immense, and the Natan just doing light work, like how Aranshiki played in game number 2. But Bigatron Alpha, they knew that they also had the winning condition in the late game because they had the Clint up and running, and Man was free hitting the backline so swimmingly.
So essentially, despite the statistics that we saw from Jushin being 100% pick and ban rate, the win rate of the Jushin has fallen now.
Yeah.
But what hasn't is the Alpha in this series. Do you think that is one of the key factors for both of these teams to be able to secure that early game that we keep underlining as extremely important to that snowball?
And the team who have the second pick is always got the alpha, right?
It depends though, because essentially, if TLID were the losers, right? So they can choose to still stay on first pick, but maybe not the Jushin first pick.
Okay, because on the game number 4, I think they prioritize Matilda against Alpha.
Yes.
Their first pick is Matilda.
In game 4. That was game 3.
Game 3, I mean.
Game 3,
yeah.
they went Matilda.
That's why maybe they need to think like, are they gonna pick Alpha as the prior?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Alpha's value is just way too strong. Like one of the most viable fighter heroes in the jungle in this current patch, and the fact that it has a lot of setup, a lot of lockdown, and it's just so good. Level 3, level 4. This is where the power spike happens, and this is what is more crucial towards Team Liquid ID. They play for the early game, which Alpha really accommodates. You know, you have that early game strength in Alpha, and Team Liquid ID might need that.
How about they still go for whatever they did, but we realized, right? Every time the Alpha gets picked up, we see an export ban in the second phase. What happens if they prioritize the export maybe in the first phase? Do you think the export stands a chance against the Alpha?
I think the export is much more conditional. I don't think it's a good answer directly to the Alpha. You don't want to first pick it in the first phase.
But for the others?
Yeah, but there's still other choices that you can go. But again, the export is conditional when you are up against HP percentage heroes like the Hylos, like the Phobias. That's why Bigatron Alpha banned in the second phase, because they knew that the export could have posed a huge threat. So I don't think it's a grab and go pick. You know, you gotta be conditional with it.
Okay. So Bigatron's solid execution with Matilda on a key. That's one of his signature heroes. Forces TLID to game number 5. So if we were to talk about how TLID would improve, what are the factors here?
Well, not being run down in the first few minutes.
But how is the question, right?
I think it start from the drop first.
Yeah,
because
drop.
Drop is really important to determine the early game. Like for example, if he wants to use the assassin, what about the synergy of the roamer and the mid laner? Because if you have a good roamer and mid laner who can clear the mid lane very fast, the minion, you can move or do the rotation to the side lane or even go to the enemy's jungler. Yeah, the
theory is easy, execution is hard. The execution is
I
hard.
mean, did you think that in that last game that Bigatron had the better mid prio?
I think they did. Yeah, because they had Matilda as well, right?
So Matilda Alpha,
Matilda Alpha Phovius. And also,
mid prio would be Lunox, right?
yeah, Lunox as well. With Lunox around it, I mean, Lunox had that burst power as well in the mid game. So that is what made Team Liquid ID struggle. And Team Liquid ID know they had to play for the early game, which means why do you keep on forcing drafts that kind of needs that late game?
All right, so before we get into our final game in this best of 5 series, we're gonna go on a short break, but we'll throw you over to our host to see what are they doing over there.
Bahwa permainan semakin ketat, tapi tentunya support system juga semakin tegang nih di tengah-tengah kita. Tentunya ada support system dari tim Liquid ID, keluarga dari Coach Sandel Lucas. Kasih tepuk tangannya dong. Ini ada papa, ada mama, ada ayah, ada istri dan juga ada buah hati. Kalau Sandel Lucas melahirkan rookie-rookie ajaib, yang melahirkan Sandel Lucas ini. Om, tante, papa, mama, apa kabar nih? Baik ya, tapi gimana? Kita akhirnya playoff di Bandung yang notabene adalah rumah dari Sandel Lucas. Gimana ngelihat playoffnya di sini di Bandung, seneng nggak?
Senang banget, rame banget.
Rame, biasanya ke Jakarta ya Om, tante
Iya,
yang
ke
pergi.
Jakarta. Ini
Deket,
Iya.
selalu mendukung. Hari ini ngelihat mungkin bermain untuk pembukaan match ini, ada harapan nggak sih dari papa mama?
Ya, puji Tuhan, mudah-mudahan dikasih sukses Sandel Lucas. Tetap berdoa, mudah-mudahan Tuhan menolong. 1 game lagi, tapi deg-degan juga.
Bener, gak semuanya sih deg-degan. Ini kalau papa terakhir Sandel Lucas pulang Bandung, apa nih? Selalu Om Tante ya yang pergi ya?
Iya, kami yang pergi ke Jakarta.
Nggak pernah pulang, akhirnya pulang nih ya?
Akhirnya pulang.
Akhirnya pulang. Terima kasih MPL. Tapi di sini juga namanya siapa nih buah hatinya? Lucas. Sesuai nama ya?
Papahnya.
Papahnya yang kasih nama. Boleh nggak sih mungkin dari istri tercinta bisa memberitahu, kita tuh penasaran banget bagaimana sih kerja keras, dedikasi dari Sandel Lucas untuk timnya bahkan bisa masuk sampai playoff di upper bracket ini.
Ya, dia sangat profesional. Saya pun sebagai istri memaklumi kesibukannya, pulang seminggu sekali. Jadi ketemu anak juga seminggu sekali, tapi sekalinya di rumah dia benar-benar ngasih waktunya buat keluarga, ketika kerja 100% untuk kerjaan.
Seminggu sekali saja. Terus Dedek Lucas umur berapa? 5 bulan? 5. Nanti mau jadi coach juga, udah pakai headset nih kayaknya. Iya. Tapi ada yang pengen disampaikan gak sih tentunya untuk mungkin Sandel Lucas dan juga tim Liquid?
Untuk tim Liquid, semangat. Semoga
bisa lolos. Nanti ikut dong ke Malaysia. Keluarga ikut gak nih?
Kalau lolos ikut.
Ikut semua, papa mama juga ya? Ikut semua, rame banget. Lucas, semangatin papanya ya. Dan semangat sudah ada di sini. Tentu saja The Cavalry kasih semangat untuk tim Liquid. Dan semangat sudah membanjiri Eldorado Dome Bandung untuk tim Liquid. Tapi bagaimana halnya dengan Bigetron dan Biget Troopers di sana? So Alisa, what's going on there? Thank you Bude. Biget Troopers, kita mau dengar suaranya. Oke, kalau tadi kita sudah mendengarkan wawancara dengan tim Sandel Lucas dari tim Liquid Indonesia, sekarang saya sudah bersama dengan keluarga dari Super Ken. Halo Tante Om dan juga Cici dari Ken.
Halo.
Oke, Tante Om dan juga Cici, kalau misalkan Super Ken ada Ken dan sini ada Cici Barbie. Mungkin aku mau tanya-tanya sedikit sama Cici. Gimana nih perasaannya ngelihat adik tersayang tadi bertanding di match kali ini?
Tadi sempat deg-degan banget sih, soalnya udah sempat 2-0 ya. Tapi kayak keren banget, apalagi di match keempatnya itu bisa comeback.
Oke, menurut Cici bisa nggak di game terakhir ini akhirnya 3-2 nih?
Bisa. Harus pede, pasti bisa.
Harus optimis ya. Oke, kita juga pengen tanya nih sama Om ya. Om dan Tante juga pastinya selalu setia mendukung Super Ken dan selalu hadir setiap Super Ken dan pastinya Bigetron Alpha ketika sedang bertanding. Gimana perasaannya Om Tante? Boleh dari Tante dulu silakan.
Ya, senang sih kita bisa support terus.
Selalu support ya dan selalu hadir untuk
Ya.
Ken. Kalau Om sendiri gimana nih Om?
Ya kalau kita hadir selalu supaya memberi semangat kepada Super Ken dan tim supaya mainnya tambah lebih semangat.
Betul sekali dan gimana perasaannya bangga banget gak sih ngelihat Super Ken sendiri selalu memberikan yang terbaik?
Bangga.
Dan Tante Om sendiri dan juga Cici pastinya bakal hadir nggak di Malaysia kalau misalkan Bigetron Alpha berhasil masuk ke M6 World Championship?
Pasti hadir.
Pasti hadir ya? Oke, nanti kita tunggu pastinya hasil dari match kita kali ini. Dan kita berharap yang terbaik pastinya untuk Bigetron Alpha dan juga pastinya untuk Bigetroopers yang sedang menonton. Dan tanpa berlama-lama lagi, langsung aja kita lempar kembali ke panelis dan caster. Silakan. Semangat!
It's so great to see that even the players, the coaches, they have their support system in the building as we're here in El Dorado, Bandung. We saw Saint DeLucas. Oh, we saw Saint DeLucas's family, his kid, 5 months, with his wife as well, and I'm pretty sure his parents as well.
Yeah, his parents.
And we also saw Super Ken's family in the building, showing their support. Full best of 5, they need it right now. Back to a best of 1 for both of these teams. Wow.
But yeah, I love the headlines like Game 5 isn't a battle of assassins or fighters, it's a mental warfare.
There you go. Mental warfare. This is where Team Liquid ID needs to prove themselves. This is what is going to separate them from the other teams. Because, yeah, sure, they're young bloods, they are hungry to win, but are they able to withstand 5 grueling games? The first 2 games were a walk in the park. It was more of a field trip towards Bigetron Alpha's draft, but now the last
they're walking on the lava.
Yeah, now they're walking on the lava, so this is where they are going to be tested. Their mental and everything, like their endurance as well.
Yeah, endurance. I think that's the key here, endurance. So let's ask the audience right now, how can TLID avoid a reverse sweep? They're now 2-2. Both teams are at match point. Bigetron are a game away of winning this entire thing. And stepping forward into the upper bracket finals, and it looks like 54% of you agree that they need to stay disciplined in the late game. Let's throw it over to you first. Kolios, do we agree with this statement?
I go with the audience because on the last game, I think because they are trying to like rushing the team fights. Yeah. So Moreno and M1 got the free position. They lose the team fight and they lose the game. That's why, because before that team fight, the position is like 50-50 for both of the teams.
Yeah, it was pretty rushed because they knew that they had to get their hands on the Clint and they had to shut it down, but the Clint was just free hitting for most of the times, and Eman was just a tank killer. He was shredding here through Team Liquid ID's front line, so that was the question in hand on how they were able to catch their hands on the Clint. I mean, sure, the heavy spin was there, but not as effective when it comes to the late game because of so much tools that Bigetron Alpha had in their disposal.
But I think both of us can agree on something, right?
What's that?
On the XP lane, it needs to be an enabler hero.
That's true. I mean, look at what Super Luke can do when he has his hands on the Phobius, when he has his hands on the lead in game number 3 previously. Don't give him a statue. I mean, Hylos is a statue hero, sure. Only like area you have is the Glorious Pathway, and that's it. You don't really have a Heartlock CC that enables your teammates to pounce on the enemies.
And we didn't see Edith because I think Edith is a best or perfect heroes to be used, and it's flex. You can use it as a roamer, you can use it as XP laner, and all of the crowd control. Don't forget about the Primal Rat.
Yeah,
it have damage on it.
I agree.
Until the late game, it's very painful.
Yeah.
There's versatility to the Edith kit, and it's a wonder why we haven't seen the Edith surface just yet. So maybe now we could see it here in our last game of this best of 5 series, and now TLID are actually on red side. So they've actually opted to swap sides with Bigetron here as we enter the drafting phase for game number 5, presented to you by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. We saw a cheese pick in the Hilda. in the first game. I'm wondering whether or not the strategy ends there.
They banned the
for
Alpha.
TLID.
Now no Alpha. After 4 games with Alpha.
Wait, if Team Liquid bans Suyo, we might see an Assassin showdown.
Let's go. I'm here for it.
But the question is, do they want to concede Suyo to the hands of Bigatron Alpha? The thing is, like, they need fighters, right? They need fighters that can really enable the objective takes. But we will see. If they're gonna ban the Suyo, I really hope they give it to us in a silver platter. They give us that assassin matchup.
I don't think they're gonna let it go. TLID, no way, right?
Yeah, no way to let it go, to be honest.
Okay. So, they answer my thought on the game number 5, the Battle of Assassin.
Suyo ban.
It's gonna be Hayabusa versus Nolan, Hayabusa versus Ling.
But Bigatron pick up the Matilda
or
first.
Julian?
That's the problem. Julian, yeah, I forgot about this pick. Julian is actually a good...
Julian can work with Matilda?
Yeah, Julian Matilda is actually a very good pick. A good alternative after the Alpha Matilda. Because it also has that dive, it has that poke. The way you play it is much more of a DPS type of way. With the sword that can really poke away the enemies. You can go in and go out. But they pick up the Phoveus and Angela.
TLID set up the trap. They pick Angela, so do you want to pick the Ling?
Ah.
If not, I'm gonna use the Ling. And Ling with Matilda is not a bad synergy.
Yeah, that's not the best synergy because you want to be going in, going out, and you want to jump into the backline. And Matilda really needs to be actively on the hunt. Oh, they go for the X-Borg. I don't think there's going to be an Assassin showdown because this X-Borg most likely will go into that mid lane, into that jungle, I think.
They want a prolonged team fight using the Varamis and X-Borg. A good AoE through damage also with the last Insanity. And here we go.
Angeling. The famous Angeling combo from Fabian.
Yeah, I think Bigatron's gonna ban Nathan because Nathan is the kryptonite of X-Borg.
Here's the thing, right? But Fabian, this means that he's very confident because he's picking this Ling into a Faramis. And the other thing that we forgot to, mention is that the Faramis negates the kill pressure that a Ling can have. So that is going to be another layer that they need to work with.
But I think this time around they have the Angela to really back up the Ling. At least the hard guard could really give them, give Fabian that extra cover to just burst through the Faramis. But yeah, we will have to see how they will deal with the Faramis. Let's take a look at top 5. 1 is Demon Kite. Number 2, Kyle TZ. Fabian sits on top, above Kyrie and Super Ken, with 46 Lords slain this season.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
There's no King Kong. There's no King Kong.
Where's King Kong?
Yeah, they met each other on the MPLPH Grand Final.
That's crazy.
But oh, Harriet.
I like this band coming in from Bigatron Alpha, the Valentina. They understand that the Faramis is utilized by them. And they know that TLID, this Angela, still can be flexed. There was a possibility that the Valentina could be picked up themselves, and then they can kind of level out the playing field in these particular team fights. And now the Natan gets banned out as well.
I'm thinking of picking up the... Wait, okay, Angela has to go mid, right? Because of the Faramis. I thought about the Luo Yi, to be honest, or the Aurora, because Faramis entails you to clump up together to get the Netherrealm going on. They will go for the Ruby. I still do think this Angela will go mid, so yeah.
I think it's gotta be Iron Siki Ruby.
This is like a triple flex, quadruple flex.
Yeah. Wow.
Ruby Gold, Ruby EXP, Ruby Rome, Phoveus, XP maybe, Angela Rome, Angela mid.
Yeah. Still very much flexibility in the hands of Team Liquid ID. Even the X-Borg can still be flexed with the XP, but I don't think it matches the Phoveus' strength. So the X-Borg will most likely go in the hands of Super Ken. Actually a very strong first pick because it also negates HP percentage. If Team Liquid ID do want to pick up scaling health, then a guy on the Brody.
It's too many utility.
I don't like this.
Alpha.
I don't like this.
I think it's gonna be hard for Link if he wants to pick up the gold lane, even the mid lane right now, because the mid lane is Varamis. It's usually accompanied by Matilda, but for the last pick.
And Brody can't go Purify, right?
Brody can't. He has to go for the Flicker, and a lot of catch as well, a lot of dive towards the Brody, the Ruby, the Ling, the Phoveus. That's why they had to pick the Faramis to deny that Ling, but the Ling still is there. So now Team Liquid ID What will they pick for their gold laner? Or maybe for their roam?
Exactly.
Because still flexible. As they
could pick up a mid laner too.
They could. And
They lack of magic damage right now.
Luoyi? Aurora.
I already said, yeah.
Yeah. We call it. Because it's either Luoyi or Aurora to play against the Faramis.
Yeah, using Luoyi, I think it's not too efficient because Ling have the Finch poise, so he can go anywhere he wants.
That's true.
With Aurora, the team fight's gonna be strong, but wow, the draft.
And also, with Luoyi, it isn't really the best pick-off composition. It doesn't really gang and burst down the players of Bigatron Alpha. So I think Aurora gives that zone and spacing against the Faramis.
But what do you think about Ruby in the gold lane, in the lane with Brody?
Survival. That's it.
Yeah, survival is the best, I think. But for this game, I think TLID will go to the lower bracket.
I'm scared. I don't know if that's a curse or not.
I don't know. How about we just ignore statements from Coleus from now on?
We ban him.
But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Do or die, lower brackets or the upper brackets. We're gonna throw it over to our casters.
Thing that a lot of people didn't foresee coming. Game number 5 was indeed possible in the hands of the robot. Now, the climax begins for the cavalry and the red robots.
Let's see for one last time. Bigatron Alpha TLID, who will go to the upper bracket finals and who will be sent down to the lower brackets?
Oh boy. Now, we thought it was going to be an assassin showdown in this game, but it turns out with Super Ken being on the X-Borg now, it seems like the foot is on the other shoe. Bigatron Alpha can play so well for the neutral objective, but if we follow the opinions of Mirko, they have to play really hard for this, this strong side Brody pick. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of a slot there. They could have put something else that can kind of scale better. 2 Inspires for the Faramis and the Mathilda, and you can see the assassin emblem with the Master Assassin for the Brody. So man, they're gonna go aggressive, and for Team Liquid, still a lot of emphasis in the moving around, especially for Aran on the Phobias. No longer as mobile, but with the agility, they're gonna be trying to help out, kind of arrive in a lot of the early fights and swing it in favor of Team Liquid ID.
Once again, key on the Mathilda, still 100% in this season, in season 14. Now they cooked up something different. A power pick for Fabian, a Ling, an assassin that has been cleared throughout the regular season, could actually do it this time. And this is an interesting lane. Arashi, super look this time on the Akai instead of Aran.
Yeah, the Akai, I think a lot of teams are kind of seeing the value of it. Not really bad in laning, again, even against the Phobias. But again, it's always in the mid lane here, especially with the Prio, with the roam potential coming in from the Faramis and Mathilda. We've seen how fast they can go across the lane, and even this gold lane. With the fights getting so close between these two heroes, someone just showing up, popping an ultimate could be enough to swing the fight in favor of one side, but Team Liquid, Aaron Shiki trying to go aggressive there.
Let's see for the first neutral objective take. Bigatron Alpha and TLID, they're in position to go and take the neutral objective. Faramis pops another realm. Ron now pinned down towards the backside. That's the Vengeance pops as well. Let's see TLID in prime positioning. That's Fabian collecting the turtle, but Ron will be the trade. Now with the help of the hard guard, Super Luke's in trouble, and Fabian picks up the kill.
Fabian Achu in the early game, getting one for himself. Just the story, the first game and the second game might be recreated this time. It's objective takes. Ooh, 0 out of 2.
Is he feeling the pressure? Again, it's a whole different scenario right now. A lot of hopes are hanging on the gold lane. For Team Liquid though, with the Angeline combo, they can kind of be a bit more oppressive macro-wise. And even in the Retribution contest, I think you can't really argue that the X-Borg can do more damage than the Ling, unless later on the Last Insanity gets popped for that purpose. But if they use a big ultimate like that, it can be used in combat to try and go for a neutral objective. That in itself could be a bit of a loss for Bigatron. So they gotta ration out their ultimates very patiently here.
Oh man, we thought it was a winning lane for Brody. Usually it is, except for probably Clint, but this time around, Aaron Shiki, never mind. Do they want to actually pull the trigger?
It's a 3v1. Aaron Shiki is okay. He pushed the trigger, the Purifier from King, but that will be all. No casualties. The setup failed technically for the side of Bigatron Alpha.
It's the threat of the Angela. Again, now Super Luke. Oh, spins out to safety. But again, whatever play gets used by Bigatron, the way they're able to get a lot of these pickouts earlier is by outmaneuvering Team Liquid ID. But now look at this. Fabian just being so mobile, and the backup is always available from Witty. Definitely having his eye on the map here. Look at the zoning by Aaron though.
Oh, defended failed flicker though. So that connection wasn't really come to fruition. Did it not really come to fruition for Aaron Cheeky?
I didn't count that as a hit. That was an 0-4-3 for Aaron Cheeky. Meanwhile, Witty.
Witty pulled back. Oh, very low, but is able to sustain. The second neutral is up and alive.
Alright, Angelo will be having to go back, but again, no ultimate available. Won't be able to join this fight. They still have to go through Yehezkiel if Pikachu wants to try and contest this. But along with Aran, you know, this is a very oppressive wave of heroes and spells to kind of walk into, but look at that.
2v1 hard guard hovered around, not committed just yet.
Man.
Fabian level 9, Super Ken level 7 on this second neutral objective take. Let's see who will get it.
Bit of a slow dance here. Yehezkiel kind of in a dangerous spot. Ooh, what is this movement here?
Quickly go. Doesn't crash on towards Yehezkiel.
Oh!
Tempest of Blade though, committed.
Oh!
Fabian still finds the Newt. Now, Bigatron Alpha, they move back, but TLID, it seems like they out for blood. Super Ken connected, but it seems like they will not have enough space and resources to force a fight.
Double the value, Arashi. They got the objectives, got the top lane, got the bottom lane too. Courtesy of Fabian. And even then, look at that Super Ken. Export mortality first item as a jungler.
To make sure he has multiple lives in the middle of a big fight. It's been how they were able to actually pressure Team Liquid ID. By having multiple lives, it kind of discourages the members of Team Liquid from focusing him down, because he essentially has 3 lives. So, you know, that allows him to do more damage and to get in there in the neutral objective pit. But for Team Liquid, the team fights are going to favor them so much. The Aurora, the Ruby, the Phobius. We'll have to see how this ends up though, because for both teams technically, not a lot of good late game high ground clear, and even this notorious combo, the Angel Ling, it's only on a 38% win rate. Definitely still beatable with the abundance of crowd control available for Bigatron. The kiss from the Brody, the heavy spin, as well as the Ghost Bursters and Circling Eagle. So many ways for Bigatron to kind of catch Fabian if he makes a mistake.
At this point, for Bigatron Alpha, I feel like they're more... This is a very responsive composition rather than an offensive. Meanwhile, Fabian is going to wait for Super Ken.
Let's see, Viraga Armor is the target. Last Insanity popped as a defensive maneuver.
Whoa.
But now, Fabian, very low on energy, and he will back away.
So good that they're able to use this Ruby as a split pusher. Usually this isn't what you would expect, but the Ruby, against all of these kind of burst-heavy heroes, technically, the Aaron Cheeky can kind of out-sustain from a lot of the damage that Bigatron can throw his way. It's going to require 2 or even 3 members to secure the kill onto this gold lane Ruby. So Team Liquid ID can do like a double split push with a Ruby and Link.
Has Klaus on Fabian. That's a power spike right there. He can stay in the team fight as long as he wants, especially with the hard guard. But now, Aran already on the engage.
Last hurdle here is up. Super Ken level 10, Fabian 2 levels above. Let's see if Bigatron Alpha can do the impossible. 2,500 gold TLID taking it slow. Fabian collects his purple, and it seems like now he wants to contest the neutral objective. Bigatron Alpha, do they have enough resources? Flicker, heavy spin, but that's Moreno jumping in as well. Super Ken did take the turtle. Ron goes down, Aaron Cheeky, in the midst of it all, finds the Don't Run Wolf King, and that will be Super Luke taken down. 2 for 1 still in favor of Bigatron Alpha, and remember, they got the turtle as well.
Finally, the 50-50s are won by Super Ken, despite Fabian has a real chance, has a solid chance to actually take it for them.
Yeah, he popped the Tempest of Blades right when the turtle was actually low. So I thought he was going to get it. But it turns out, I think Team Liquid were kind of aiming to go more for the fight, more so than the neutral objective. Emando knows his limits.
Very good.
Oh, man. Photo on the hands of Witty saves him from that situation. Now with the War Axe too. Oh, Moreno.
That's a purifying. That's the cover by Super Luke as well. It seems like TLID, they're looking to find something. Remember, structure-wise, it is actually in favor of the cavalries.
And Fabian on the lane, this is a combo that, even though the win rate might not look great if you look at it, but even RRQ, they need to somehow invest a long CC towards this angling combo to make it happen, to actually win against this composition. But when you look at Pikachon's composition, Arashi, there's no proper catch towards Fabian.
No easy way for sure. And now finally this Brody pick is gonna allow Pikachon Alpha to take down these turrets in relative safety. Run, find Super Luke.
Will they commit this? That's the question. Ron does commit the Infernal Pursuit. Now Super Luke actually pops the heavy spin as well. The good Glacier pop Nether Realm as well. That's Fabian almost pinned down. Pikachon Alpha and TLID doesn't really find the connection that they want, so they back off. 10 seconds for the first Lord to be up.
Good attempt there for Team Liquid ID. Trying to make sure that they do have an edge coming into the next fight. They burn a lot of the ultimates, but they really burn a lot of ultimates themselves. I think they're gonna be attempting to go for a cross-map play, but Aaron Shiki, gotta be careful, man.
Careful, Fabian has the BOD, Nether Realm, and as well as the hard guard here. Actually invested that hard guard very early. Pikachon Alpha backing away. Super Luke though, caught. Lord is taken care of. Still 60% HP. Moreno looking for an angle. Purify pops as well. Iran with the Infernal Pursuit. Tempest of Blade committed. But it seems like Pikachon, they have enough space to back away. Now Pikachon, they want to re-engage. Wicked Glacier pops. Moreno very low. Nether Realm to safety. And that will be Aaron Chiki off the board.
They played the kiting game perfectly, Pikachon Alpha, and now they have the numbers in the Lord Pit. Even though right now, TLID, do they want to blitz this one? Super Ken?
Do they have enough resources? Super Ken very low, caught, and he will fall. No retribution for the Red Robots.
And now it's an equal ground, but not really. Fabian on the hard guard, on the Ling, on this hero. Can he make it happen?
Let's see, Vengeance committed. Amon backing away with the guiding when TLID has the Lord Pit. Pikachon Alpha looking to delay, but it seems like they will not contest. TLID strikes first in this Lord take.
Finally, that Lord is taken down after all that dances that both teams showed. Amon secured the Demon Hunter's sword to further his damage on towards Iran, which is going to be in the front the whole time for TLID.
Fascinating. That's not what you usually see being built. But this is a max HP build here for Amon. You see Halberd with the Demon Hunter sword. It's going to do a lot of that max HP damage, but only a Malefic Roar. No BOD, so no execute chances. He's just trying to actually output enough damage to match Team Liquid ID. Really is doing a great job just keeping everyone topped up when it comes to the HP bars. And that's we haven't talked about the fleeting time already completed. Now it can be used aggressively as well. Any assist will shorten the cooldown on a hard guard even more. Look at this play from Team Liquid, man. They want to go aggressive.
This is the first Lord, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Super Ken actually overextended. Nobaraga, guiding wind though, is available. Lord not charging just yet. It is the first Lord. It seems like Pikachon, they're onto it. TLID, no initiation whatsoever. They just want the inners.
Oh no, it's Aaron Chiki on the Ruby. There's no long range melee dealer. So now the inhibitor turret takes, it's gonna take a lot more than some simple engage. There has to be a Lord, there has to be some way for them to find the loophole of this Pikachon Alpha, this robotic defense.
Just remember, with the macro potential ready for Team Liquid, with the jungler, being X-Borg, right? Even if Weedy wants to kind of overextend and push out the far side of the map away from the Lord, he can actually go and punish him 1v1. As long as Weedy doesn't walk into a bush against Eman maybe, he can really get away very, very easily. So Team Liquid, even though they don't have a lot of range, they still have a lot of ways to kind of play around this. Even a backdoor angle if they really want to. And you already see them setting up for it all the way from now. The angle on the far side.
I'm offended does not land on Super Ken, but now Viraga armor very low. Ron pinned down with a ground popped, and that is Ron repositioned with the hard guard. Fabian finds an angle with the Tempest of Blade, and that's another round committed as well. Ron goes down. Aaron Chiki trying to hold on, but it seems like the damage from Amon is too huge. Looking for the triple. Winner crown the passive for Aurora will not be enough. Amon, he's a maniac.
My goodness, they forgot who's the main man in this composition. Eman just free hitting in the back. They forgot about this guy. And he might want to end this one right now. Do they actually can do it?
I don't think so,
Ron's
but it
already on.
does bring Equilibrium. Base turret should be the target. Hard guard is available. Tempest of Blade to clear the waves. Fabian looking to take the defense, but it seems like now he jumps and the base turret is alive. Super Loop might be caught, but the heavy spin is available. Oh! Very low, the flicker committed, but Amon does not find the connection. Moreno isolated in mid lane, popped airborne, everything. Purify is still on cooldown, and that will be Bigatron just backing away.
The Lord though.
Oh, yeah. They backed away at the worst position right now. Super Ken doesn't have the Firaga armor. They want to blitz this one.
Yeah, 3 members very low. I don't think Bigatron Alpha can contest this. Second Lord for TLID.
Would you say that's a good decision, Arashi? For who? For Big Sean Alpha to back off.
I mean, they have to back off.
Yeah.
If they overstay their welcome, that Team Liquid already can get multiple death timers on them. The fact that they were pushing so far ahead there, instead of focusing on the Lord, knowing that they have the better late game, technically, with a marksman available, with the Nether Realm, they really shouldn't be at any urgency to try and go for the end that early. They could have just pushed up and then went back and be ready to try and go back to the same situation. But maybe they're just concerned about the cross-map plays available, right? They've already beat Team Liquid ID in a 5v5 once. There's a chance that Team Liquid won't oblige them into another easy front-to-back, another 5v5. For the most part, though, it seems like the main backline damage dealer for the side of Team Liquid is the Aurora. And with the Divine Glaive, with the Wishing Lantern, it's definitely a lot more poke damage, but not a lot of big bursts. So Bigatron, they might just feel comfortable walking into the Frigid Glacier, no problem.
The reason I asked that was in the previous game, it was the same situation. TLID had the option to just back away and defend the Lord. This time around, Big Sean Alpha showed them how it's done. This is the way of the vets. This is the way of players with experience now. It's gonna be a tough test for TLID to break through the defense of Bigatron Alpha.
Bigatron Alpha not letting the Lord charge on towards the base turret here. Bigatron or Super Ken doing his job at the bottom lane.
Oh, man.
Is going to be the target.
Wow.
Open wide actually for Fabian. Let's see how will they handle it. Super Ken over Raga. Iran force him to go back.
Oh my God!
God, what?
Nice.
But seems like their mortality was bought on time. They
no
won winner crown for Fabian. Yes, still with the nuisance, and Fabian survives. GLID fights more as Last Insanity pops as well. Iran looking for trouble. Now with the winner crown pops as well. Bigatron Alpha, can they defend? They will. Come on, finds the kill, and TLID will have to be satisfied in just taking out the base turrets. Flicker. Bigatron, they want more. They know Aaron Shiki's low. Hard committed. It's just a mistake. Bigatron Alpha, they will disengage.
They're more than fine that it's a 3 base turrets taken down for TLID. They practically aced down to their last base, to their last hope to secure the upper bracket. And now, the long lane, the cross-map plays will be even more dangerous with Fabian on the lane.
That was crazy, man. Fabian, how the hell did he survive that? I mean, the hard guard was used on him, and there was a lot of help from his teammates as well.
Let him switch, man.
But he just cleared the bottom side turret, went into the base, was dived on by 3 members, and just slid out, no problem. Smooth operating. But now with 3 seconds to go, no base turrets for Bigatron Alpha, Team Liquid ID. They're saying Witty to be near the Lord, actually, can help with the sustain. They're sending Fabian to do his best work 1v1.
When you can really win with the macros and your composition doesn't really work the best on a siege, you just gotta win with the macros, with your skills. Fabian showed just that. Now, this Lord, 18 minutes has elapsed in this game. This might be the last objective of the game of this 2-team Super Loop is undetected.
And the that does not land. Heavy spin! Oh my goodness, that's a huge one! Sebastian triggered a yes kill. Fighting for his dear life, he will fall. Now, Bigatron, they will cycle the backside. Actually, Fabian doing work with the help of Hardguard, Nether Realm triggered. And that's info. That's huge info. Can TLID take advantage of the Nether Realmless formation?
Oh my god, seems like they can't. Once again, they're just gonna clear the lane over and over again. Are we looking at a deja vu at Game 5 of Onyx and Geekfam? Is it gonna be a long 30-minute game?
It might as well be, man. Bigatron Alpha catching up slowly but surely here. Fabian has been on full items for quite a while at this point. Waiting with the BOD, with all the damage. Oh man, look at that move though. Bigatron wants to try and catch Aaron Tricky.
Have good DPS. I'm offended though. Now will not do much damage. Bigatron Alpha, they're doing the work, but TLID, they know they have the map. So they will take it slow and they will not commit anything unless they're sure of it.
Man, oh man, how do they handle this? Looks like it's going to be Eman and Key to further the mobility of this Brody on the long lane. So they have a way to handle that. They have a plan for Fabian's split pushing ability, but Fabian jumps in onto a super can.
Early jump now with the hard guard commit as well. Has Firaga armor, but now Bigatron, they're looking to jump Fabian. Tempest to play, defensively good placement at the mid. The backside is actually Iman, who was sent down to clear the waves. TLID still taking their time here. They can't really pull the trigger.
Wow, Team Liquid ID, they could have gone aggressive there knowing that the main damage dealer from Bigatron really isn't available. But they're playing it very, very careful. This is the pressure I'm talking about, man. The final game of the series. Everything you do just seems to be that much more important, that much more dangerous. Aaron Shiki on the Ammo Bandits. He's been missing a lot, but it's also kind of applying a lot of pressure to the members of Bigatron. And now the slow dance, the macro play from Team Liquid ID continues as Bigatron Alpha, they're scaling more and more into the late game. Even Eman going with the Haas Claws, it's a full basic attack build.
Flavor Fave looking to face check that bush. Remember, top lane is up and available, and it seems like he wants some of it. Can Bigatron respond? TLID though, man, looking at the control, looking at the lead, it seems like they're still struggling to find the right connection.
This is, we've mentioned it over and over again, the experience. A more seasoned team will show their fangs, will show their worth in the late game. The macro plays, the split-second decision that this team's gonna make. Will it happen this time?
Seems like they want to get on towards the Lord. The pin does not land on towards anyone's important last. Insanity in the backside with the help of Fargar Tempest the Blade. Seems like TLID still again. And as well as Bigatron cannot find the effect of the optimal fight. Oh, I'm offended. I might be wrong. Super Can loses immortality and the realm pops as well. That's info. TLID, I think they can use this resource waste on towards the Lord.
The back and forth from Team Liquid is just so good right now. They have been able to bait out a lot of the big ultimates, and now they're going to commit to it.
Yeah. Insanity though is still up and available. Aaron Cheeky good. Forte, Super Ken might fall. I repeat, Super Ken might fall. Fabian is on him. Tempest of Blade does not land wrong though. Oh, goodness! Aaron Cheeky with the unoffended play. Look at the goal. That might be the play that sent them to the upper bracket finals.
Aaron Cheeky very low. He can heal up. Fabian and crew. It's a 5v3 on the base. They're just gonna back away for now, wait for the Lord, even though they have the man advantage.
Let's see. Let's see.
Oh, it's because Moreno is up with the passive of the Theramis. Super Luke, though, is out for 40 seconds. They can go for a 6v4 if you consider the Lord as another teammate. Hardguard is available with the fleeting time. It's time for Team Liquid ID.
Let's see, TLID looking for an opening, but it seems like the Nether Realm will buy time. Time for the late pop. Super can hold in the Lord in the backside. Come on, falls down as long as well as Super can. The base wide open, baby. TLID, they're in the upper bracket finals.
Top 3 secured for the youngsters, for the rookies. Incredible season so far for the Cavalries. The doubt has been answered. They don't have any experience. They're just a bunch of young guys in the playoffs. What can you say right now, ladies and gentlemen? They took down Bigatron Alpha, denying the reverse sweep.
It was a tough whole team effort. On a composition without a marksman, they found a way to make it work. Where Onyx were faltering in the face of a late game composition without proper siege, Team Liquid ID just know that they have it in them. They barrel through, they play the back and forth. They look like the aggressors, but they were playing it patient, man. They forced Bigatron to react at every single corner, and when they found the right opportunity, they have struck gold.
Pikachu Alpha, unfortunately, this is a deja vu once again. In Season 12 against Geek Fam ID, they were up, or they were down 2-0, equalized it 2-2, but somehow fell through with the revenge or first sweep in game number 5. It's the same thing once again from them. TLID, they are here not just to play games, they're looking to make a statement. This is Team Liquid.
Truly is, man. What a sequence. That pull from Aaron, that was golden.
It's just so good, man. They just found a way. The patience to not go for a fight right there, knowing that there is time without Super Duke available. And again, the back and forth. This is Pikachu and Alpha we're talking about with a Mathilda. They beat the back and forth against a team with a Mathilda. The guiding win just was of no consequence. And Fabian, you have to highlight the guy yet again with the Tempest of Blades used perfectly. The Finch Poise used frame by frame perfect to bait out the heavy spins, the Nether Realms. Oh man, dude. What a monster of a team.
We're gonna throw it to our panelists, man. Let's just discuss what happened to Eterna.
Bertahan di upper bracket. Match pertama mereka berhasil mendapatkan kemenangan. The cavalry, inilah dia. Tim Liquid ID. Semuanya ramai banget. Kemenangan hari ini di match pembukaan kalian. Bagaimana untuk playoff bagi tim Liquid ID?
Overall masih sama aja. Tinggal ajang pembuktian aja kan.
Jadi rookie pun yang belum pernah merasakan playoff, buat kalian nggak ada mungkin pressure atau mungkin grogi?
Gak ada sih, main biasa aja.
Main biasa aja. Fabian dan juga Aaron, panggung ini bagaimana untuk kalian? Panggung playoff pertama nih.
Buat gue sih biasa aja.
Langsung rame semuanya. Tapi kenapa terlihat kita lihat bahwa tim Liquid ID di regular season seperti galak banget, tak bisa kelar dengan cepat. Tapi kali ini kalian terlihat begitu sulit untuk mengakhiri game dan mengakhiri match. Susah banget nih buat menang sepertinya.
Kalau buat susah menang sih sebenarnya enggak sih, kayak apa ya, jiwa anak mudanya lagi keluar aja gitu di playoff. Lebih keluar terlalu semangat gitu, makanya kita agak susah eksekusi gamenya buat berpikir jernih.
Oh, jadi bergejolak gitu ya. Karena tense-nya juga mungkin. Dan mode playoff tim Liquid 2 minggu. Ngapain aja nih? Aran atau bisa kasih tahu mungkin. Aran, udah lihat heromu juga unik-unik banget. Di game pertama kamu tiba-tiba udah ngeluarin surprise pick. Apa yang udah dispesialkan mungkin? Yang udah dipersiapkan spesial untuk playoff ini?
Itu baru satu sih yang keluar sih Bude. Masih ada lagi. Masih banyak.
Harus siap-siap dong.
Ya, semuanya harus siap-siap.
Lawan kalian bakal mulai pusing dan melihat Yeskiel pula yang udah ada di sini dengan performa kalian hari ini. Yeskiel adalah satu orang yang Bude percaya omongannya nih ya. Dari regular season terbukti hingga sekarang. Yeskiel, ngelihat performamu hari ini 1/10, berapa performa tim Liquid di playoff?
8.
Baru 8? Kenapa?
Soalnya kan masih playoff pertama buat teman-teman juga, jadi masih hype-nya masih overhype gitu.
Masih overhype, jadi masih harus menata lagi. Tapi menarik di mana kita ngelihat kalau dari tim Liquid seperti kewalahan nih untuk early gamenya. Apa yang terjadi di early game dari tim Liquid?
Itu sesuai plan aja sih, soalnya kita pakai hero-hero late game.
Jadi memang semuanya itu sudah kalian rencanakan sedemikian rupa, santai aja.
Ya Bre.
Game kelima, game yang mendebarkan. Bagaimana cara kalian untuk tetap tenang?
Cuman karena kita udah tahu kita bakal menang ya, kita tenang aja. Soalnya si Fabian udah pakai link.
Fabian udah pakai link. Linknya disiapin nih Fabian untuk last game.
Enggak sih sebenarnya.
Oh, oke. Tapi ngelihat dari performa Fabian di babak playoff ini, babak playoff, babak yang udah kamu nantikan gak sih? Sesuai dengan ekspektasi seorang Fabian atau tidak?
Belum sesuai.
Oh,
Favian masih bisa lebih serem lagi atau apa nih? Apa yang diekspektasikan oleh seorang Favian di babak playoff?
Mau lebih ngeri aja.
Mau lebih ngeri. Sedap-sedap serem, apalagi sekarang ini di upper bracket. Tim yang kalian lawan adalah Bigetron. Sesuai nggak sih dengan mungkin prediksi dari Favian lawannya akan Bigetron bukan Alter Ego?
Of course.
Of course.
ya BTR kuat soalnya, jadi ya pantas lah.
Pantas. Tapi melihat bahwa Bigetron udah sesuai, gimana halnya dengan Big Fam yang lolos? Fnatic Onyx terhenti perjalanannya kemarin.
Kalau itu sih aku nggak expect. Nggak expect aku kalau gig pedang, cuma ya aku prediknya Onyx, cuma ya emang rezeki mungkin gig, jadi ya GG.
Rezeki GG. Emang playoff nih kayaknya tim-tim mengeluarkan hal baru ya?
Ya, sebetulnya.
Kalau dari Favian sendiri, ada hal baru apa nih kira-kira yang tim Liquid akan keluarkan di playoff ini?
Secret.
Secret, rahasia. Namanya hal baru ya. Tapi menarik di mana Iron 5 kali nge-ban one-one-nya dari Eman. Ada apa dengan one-one dari Eman? Respect ban langsung.
Jago dia Bude.
Dari awal udah didiskusikan.
Masih dia jago gara-gara bisa ngalahin tim terkuat di bumi, Alter Ego. Panas.
Wah. Ternyata itu ya. Mereka kemarin kalah 3-0 tapi sekarang kalian yang mengalahkannya. Berarti posisinya masih terkuat nggak ini?
Atau main aja.
Atau main aja ya. Tapi ada nggak sih mungkin kamu pesan-pesan ke coach atau untuk melawan seorang Eman? Satu player yang memang terlihat performanya begitu apik. Apa yang kamu mungkin siapkan bersama dengan coach? Apakah jawabannya adalah nge-ban hero dari Eman?
Ya respect aja. Kalau misalnya perlu di respect. Kalau enggak ya udah katain.
Oh, oke. Tapi dari 2-0, kalian udah ngedapetin 2 game terlebih dahulu. Di game ketiga, game tercepat di babak playoff. Lalu bagaimana ya hal dari 2-0 bisa jadi 3-2?
Tadi belum makan Bude, jadi kurang fokus, kurang jernih.
Kurang makan, kurang fokus. Lalu balikin fokusnya gimana dong itu di game 5 untuk Aaron sendiri?
Makan.
Sempat tadi.
Sempet-sempetin.
Sempat-sempetin, tapi nextnya ini akan menarik karena kalian bertahan di upper bracket. Jalan menuju grand final semakin mulus kalau kalian menang nextnya. Ngarepin lawan siapa sih? Mengharapkan ya.
Lawan RRQ.
Bentar, kalau lawan RRQ, di regular season kalian kesulitan lawan RRQ. Gak takut lawan mereka?
Justru itu makanya pengen lawan RRQ.
Justru itu. Ingin membuktikan sesuatu kah? Atau ingin apa?
Ya pengen menang, pengen buktiin. Gak ada sih, pengen juara aja udah.
Pengen juara dan menarik di mana tim Liquid menjadi satu nama yang disebut banyak sekali orang-orang menjadi kandidat dari perwakilan Indonesia. Kalian mendengar hal itu, apa respon kalian?
Widi mau ngomong.
Oh ya.
Responnya tetap gimana ya? Ya biasa aja, kayak terima. Kalau emang didoain ya udah, kita cuma bisa ngaminin. Cuma ya tetap kita harus ngikutin dengan usaha kita lah. Kita harus lebih berproses lagi buat ngalahin semua tim sisanya.
Mengalahkan semua tim sisanya. Kemenangan ini ada yang mungkin mau disampaikan untuk kemenangan perdana kalian melawan Bigetron Alpha.
Terima kasih buat The Calvaris yang udah datang dan juga ngeramein di sini. Maaf agak gimana ya, agak hard game dikit. Jiwa anak mudanya masih ada, jadi ditunggu aja lah, kita mode 100% nge-fix problem.
Itulah dia, mari beri tepuk tangan sekali lagi untuk tim Liquid ID. Membuat kita dak-dik-duk tapi mereka akan melanjutkan perjalanan mereka di upper bracket. Namun gak cuma di sini yang ramai karena di ujung sana ada Alisa yang sudah, ada apa sih Alisa di MPL Festival?
learn. Kemudian mereka ada juga Matilda tak ada.
Tak ada. Okay. So nampaknya macam dia ada daripada playoff sendiri ni, saya nak katakan daripada playoff ni, dia orang adalah strategi yang mereka cuba kan.
Betul.
So mungkin Games Maya akan cuba, saya nak tengoklah dia buat lain daripada yang lain sikit daripada segi strategi mereka kan.
Macam todak regular season tu. Tiba-tiba kupa jungle lah.
Tapi menang. Menang game tu, awak jangan main-main.
Wah. Jadi saya rasa student pun dan juga Valentina. Jadi Mat Dins, kita tahu capability beliau dengan satu BVQ ENZD. Iaitu kod tertera ataupun scan je lah QR code senang.
Saya ingat ke Pascal, satu BVQ Benz D. Yang nampak tak?
Dia macam 8 tu. Panjang betul awak punya QR code. Tapi inilah dia. Game yang pertama untuk match ketiga kita pada kali ini. Coach Meat yang akan mengetuai. Akhirnya kita dapat nampak Coach Meat secara fizikal.
Yes.
Selalunya muka dia pun kita tak nampak. Dan juga Coach Yash macam biasalah dia suka pakai bini tu kan bila mana sesi draft pick bermula. Tetapi adakah pasukan daripada MV Muncha bila mana mereka sudah bermain di satu kawasan yang sama, mereka akan mendapatkan kekuatan tiada tandingnya? Kerana kita dah tengok bagaimana MV Muncha bila mereka bermain secara berasingan, mereka tidak sekuat bila bermain secara bersama-sama, face to face.
Ya, benar sekali.
Maka dengan ini Games My Ace saya nak tengok mampukah mereka menjalankan komposisi combo-wombo mambo jumbo mereka seperti mana di regular season. Kerana itu adalah specialty. Team fight yang kemas buat Games My Ace.
Tapi kan saya ada satu soalan yang a bit curious sebenarnya.
Betul.
Sedikit mencurigakan lah. Tapi saya ingin tahulah. Dalam test yang sekarang ini, kita lihat seringkali dibawa masuk Gatot dan juga Khalid. Betul. Tapi kita lihat juga Phobia seringkali dibawa keluar. So pada pendapat awak lah kan Cross, Phobius ni adalah sebagai respect band ke ataupun memang hero yang memang perlu diberikan pengeluaran daripada setiap game?
Dia memang antara hero yang wajib kena ban lah kalau anda tak mahu berhadapan dengan hero tersebut. Tambahan lagi Phobius ni antara hero yang sustain. Dan lagi satu, beliau boleh self-sustain. Tak perlu mengharapkan orang lain untuk membantu dirinya. Cukup sekadar level 4, beliau boleh 1v3, 1v2. Kalau 1v4 tu memang mustahil lah buat Phobius. Tapi sekurang-kurangnya bila 1v3 tu paling maksimum lah untuk Phobius boleh lawan. Dan sekurang-kurangnya dapat satu mata pembunuhan buat dirinya. Itu betapa kuatnya Phobius ini dengan sustainability yang dimiliki oleh beliau dan juga damage yang diberi. So orang lebih gemar ataupun orang lebih selesa untuk lawan dengan Gatot Kaca, lawan dengan Khalid, dibandingkan dengan Phobius. Dan juga sekarang ini Suyo tetap juga dijadikan sebagai pilihan pertama dan juga Games My Ace. Mereka akan menampilkan Matilda dan juga Valentina. Jadi Mat Dins, kita tahu capability beliau dengan menggunakan Matilda sangat-sangat efisien. Beliau gemar untuk gunakan hero tersebut. Valentina yang akan dimainkan oleh Min. Adakah kita akan tengok Valentina yang baik dimainkan oleh beliau ataupun tidak? Kerana MV Muncal, mereka juga akan berwaspada dengan setiap pilihan hero yang akan mereka dapatkan. Kerana ultimate itu akan merangkumi untuk Valentina guna pakai pada game yang pertama ini.
Which is agak menarik sebenarnya kalau kata Valentina adalah satu pilihan yang selamat untuk pasukan Games My Ace. Anda kata pasukan yang Muncha mengambil hero-hero yang punya crowd control yang besar ataupun hero yang sangat-sangat penting untuk menggunakan damage yang besar kepada pasukan lawannya. Tapi saya nak tengoklah sekali Valentina guna IMU kepada Suyo. Tukar semua skill set dia lah.
Itu boleh jadi juga.
Dia macam same case macam dia guna IMU kepada Julian.
Kalau tak salah saya, IMU kepada Julian, dia tak akan dapat enhance tu. Dia cuma hanya satu je. Dia akan dapat chain saja. Chain biasa tu je untuk Valentina. Dia tak ada. Sama juga dengan Suyo. Saya rasa dia paling dia akan dapat Evil Queller. Yang dia punya charge shot atau dia gunakan untuk lari ke.
Ya betul.
Itu saja yang akan digunakan pakai oleh Valentina. Dia tak macam Roger. Kalau Roger, dia still boleh dapat Wolf Transformation dengan juga human formnya. Sama juga dengan konsep Yuzong.
Ya betul.
Dia pakai, dia still akan dapat dua skill set dan juga Leomon. Jadi agak kompleks penggunaan Valentina ni. Anda kena fahami ulti apa yang anda kena dapatkan pada hero-hero yang tertentu. Dan sekarang ini kita beralih kepada fasa ban yang kedua pula. Moskov dan juga Faramis telah pun di ban keluar daripada kedua-dua belah pihak. Adanya Alpha diambil oleh Gaze My Ace. Agak menarik Jaja yang sepatutnya beliau terkenal dengan penggunaan Assassin. Tetapi sejak menjak ni, beliau lebih cenderung untuk membawa masuk Alpha. Agak kurang pasti kenapa Gaze My Ace menukar strategi sebegitu. Tetapi
okey, saya boleh jawab lah.
Apa dia?
Yang pertama, hero pool Jaja dah berkembang.
Okey.
Itu memang obvious lah. Okay. Dan yang kedua, kita tak nafikan kombinasi di antara Alpha dan juga Matilda adalah satu kombinasi yang sangat-sangat efisien.
Betul.
Untuk memastikan diorang boleh survive dalam team fight. Sama ada diorang nak initiate ataupun diorang nak back off daripada ditangkap oleh pihak lawan. Sebab kita tahu bagaimana flexibility Matilda boleh menyelamatkan bukan sahaja Alpha, malah kalau kata Roma terlalu out position, Millennial terlalu out position, sebab Valentina boleh dash masuk ke dalam. Dan of course Alpha kalau dah masuk tak boleh nak keluar.
Betul.
So malah tidak adalah jawapan dia untuk menarik semula Alpha ni bawa keluar daripada team fight tersebut. Ataupun diorang boleh melakukan surprise attack dengan menggunakan Spring Eagle bersama dengan Guy Demon untuk menarik Alpha, memberikan fokus kepada pick up pada pasukan MV Moonchild.
Jadi buat masa inilah, bila dah nampak Gaze My Ace bermain secara pick off, adakah MV Moonchild akan bawa counter engage di mana mereka mungkin akan menampilkan Edith dan juga High Loss. Orang kata common combo lah.
Yes.
Sebagai Roma dan juga EXP boleh bertindak selaku pick off ataupun counter engage, bergantung kepada cara permainan yang mereka hendak mainkan. Tetapi pada waktu ini, Beatrix dan juga Vexana telah bermain keluar. Terus sahaja Nathan yang akan diambil oleh Gaze My Ace sebagai pilihan mereka yang keempat. Dengan itu MV Moonchild, situasi mereka sekarang ni, mereka sama ada perlu dapatkan Claude ataupun mereka perlu securekan carry.
So maknanya orang cakap Haris ni mainnya bagi mid.
Oh, ada juga orang buat. Tapi ya, saya rasa hari ni boleh jadi memang hari ni akan goal lah. Saya terlepas pandang dekat situ. So kalau cakap tentang mid lane, Aurora boleh dimainkan.
Zushin kalau nak.
Dah
keluar, Zushin dah keluar.
Zushin dah kena ban. Dia dah kena ban yang pertama.
Ya, masih Aurora ada, Vexana masih ada.
Vexana kena ban. Last ban dekat Games Fight.
Oh ya, ya.
So,
game lah. Kalau tengok, sebab kita tengok game tadi macam banyak juga Eve yang masuk kan. Cuba try sekali bawa masuk game.
Eve susah sikit lah game ni sebab ada
campur high loss lagi, perlahan lagi.
Matilda tu ada. Dia setakat Eve tu terbang je ke Eve tu dah. Betul bawa Eve masuk. So, ya, pilihan MV Moonchild dengan Eve dan juga Khalid, nampaknya mereka sendiri yang akan bergerak ke depan. Bukanlah mereka akan melakukan kiting. Manakala Gaze My Ace, pemilihan di bahagian EXP lane mereka, kita boleh anggarkan bahawa mereka akan securekan hero yang lain daripada lain dekat sini. Arlok boleh dibawa masuk. Diikuti lagi dengan adanya Terizla barangkali, Glue. Paku itu jarang dah orang ambil sekarang ni.
Susah saya kalau nak main.
Oh, Edith masih lagi ada.
Boleh. Ruby pun kalau nak lah, kalau nak.
Tapi Edith lah, Edith paling relevan lah dekat sini. Kalau Ruby pun bergantung kepada keadaan, nak tangkap kepada siapa, nak sasarkan kepada siapa. Jadi, wow!
Okay, alright.
Vendetta yang akan ditampilkan oleh Ziri sebagai pilihan yang terakhir. Memang nak sasarkan kepada Eve tu saja.
Yes.
Tak ada gerak. Setakat apa, real world manipulation, eye for an eye, a little Vanderbilt, petrify.
Yes.
Dekat situ kan. Dah Eve pun terpaksa lah gunakan flicker ke apa saja cara untuk larikan diri daripada kawasan tersebut. Tapi itu dalam team fight di fasa late game. Early game ni saya pasti Benedetta paling-paling pun beliau akan sertai team fight dengan lebih awal lah sebab mobility dimiliki oleh beliau. Cumanya daripada MV Moonchild, mereka nak tak nak kena juga bermain secara berlima dengan draft yang mereka miliki ni. Kerana apa? Winning condition mereka memang sangat mengharapkan damage output daripada Harit yang paling utama sekali lah. Kemudian bergantung lah sama ada Harit itu akan jadi finisher ataupun akan diserahkan kepada Suyo. Tetapi if itu utility yang dimiliki oleh beliau pastinya akan digunakan dengan lebih baik untuk membantu rakan-rakannya di dalam team fight yang lebih efisien. Tetapi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, inilah dia match yang ketiga game pertama. Berikan tepukan untuk Gaze My Ace berhadapan dengan pasukan MV Moonchild.
Kepada haters Gaze My Ace, luar sana mereka dah putih kan, sebaliknya mereka dah berjaya mampu untuk keluar daripada play-in terus mara ke play-off.
Ada haters
Ada, mesti semua pasukan ada haters.
Wow.
Semua pasukan ada haters. Mana ada pasukan tak ada haters?
Next level. Baru je nak masuk ML dah ada haters saya. Itulah dia Games My Ace. Tetapi saya rasa ramai juga yang berikan sokongan kepada Games My Ace ni. Kerana apa? Mereka sebenarnya adalah pemain-pemain daripada pasukan Kelantan juga.
Betul.
Ya, kita ada Kim, Min, semua tu daripada pasukan Kelantan untuk ML musim yang pertama.
Di Kelantan aku haters.
Ya, alamak, tak boleh pula. Tak boleh juga.
Tak boleh juga.
Tapi mereka dari negeri yang sama. So,
ya, benar.
Jago kita pecah.
Kita jangan pecah.
Jadi jangan pecah untuk game kali ini. Dan juga daripada kedua-dua pihak. So far, kalau tengok pada early game mereka memang berpihak kepada Games My Ace. Sekarang kita tengok Ziri yang menggunakan Benedetta, beliau memberikan priority kepada Rapture. Ada juga dengan Magic Little Ignition dan juga Master Assassin. Dekat sini memang tak dinafikan Nominio kena bermain dengan lebih berwaspada bila mana berhadapan dengan Ziri. Tetapi di bahagian atas,
Kempachi terus hilang. Dia kombinasi waktu combo daripada Games My Ace membolehkan kill diberikan kepada Ziri. Satu surprise effect yang memang Kempachi tidak dapat menugakan langsung daripada serangan hendap oleh pasukan Games My Ace. Agak berbahaya sebenarnya kalaulah Games My Ace memberikan tekanan di bahagian atas. Memangnya turtle yang akan keluar sebentar lagi akan diberikan secara mudah kepada pasukan Games My Ace.
Ya, turtle yang cukup mudah. Tetapi sekarang ini terus saja sebelum Hafa.
Misaki cuba untuk back off terlebih dahulu. Tapi untuk final berada Ziri menunjukkan dia hampir dikorbankan. Dan begitu saja Ziri mendapatkan kill yang kedua. Tapi Ziri cuba melarikan diri daripada Naomi Neo. Sementara Matt Dance dan juga Jaja terus saja Real Passion dibuka. Shiki juga melakukan perkara yang sama. Tapi Jaja mendapatkan Kempachi. Dan total diberikan oleh pasukan Games My Ace. Min terpaksa untuk melarikan diri daripada serangan Shiki Dizzy. Kita lihat bagaimana Shiki Dizzy membuka Real Manipulation belakang Min, membolehkan Min sendiri terkena damage daripada Real Manipulation.
Oh, tapi kalau tanya pada saya, Real Manipulation siapa lebih berbahaya, saya akan berikan kepada Min. Sebab beliau adalah Eve version upgrade. Kerana yang pertama dia boleh double dash. Ya, betul. Sedangkan Eve sendiri pun tak boleh nak double dash. Itulah kelebihannya buat Games My Ace bila mana Valentine diguna pakai. Beliau ada situational ulti yang boleh diguna pakai lah. Sama ada nak dapatkan Real World Manipulation kalau nak control ke arah team fight. Ataupun kalau nak dapatkan objektif turret boleh saja merampas Glorious Pathway. Begitu juga dengan memberikan pick off kepada satu pemain dengan menggunakan Regicide Storm. Bergantung kepada bagaimanakah hendak dilaksanakan execution plan daripada Games My Ace. Tengok juga pada khas Misaki. Banyak betul langgar pokok-pokok dekat Land of Dawn ni. Tahu lah apa kuda padi ni. Lapar sangat agaknya. Tetapi yang paling penting adalah di mana untuk Ziri bermain dengan Benedetta cukup mengerikan. 201 KDA dimiliki seawal minit yang ketiga ini. Dan juga kita tengok bagaimana Ziri penggunaannya cukup cemerlang. Setiap gerakan yang dilakukan semuanya on point. Terutama sekali tadi di bahagian tengah. Beliau mensasarkan kepada khas Misaki yang menyebabkan khas Misaki serta-merta ditewaskan dengan adanya Elemental Final Blow Petrified daripada Ziri.
Yap, benar sekali. Dan saya rasa pemilihan Benedetta sangat baik. Dan sebab itu khas Misaki dikepungkan oleh pemain. Hampir saja dia dijatuhkan. Tapi sikit saja lagi sebelum dia dikorbankan. Boleh saja dia meloloskan diri. Sedikit miscalculation dari pasukan Games My Ace dengan menghasilkan 3 ultimate. Mereka yang penting hanya sekadar cuba untuk menjatuhkan khas Misaki tapi tidak berjaya. Tapi sebelum itu tidak mengapa. Diberi fokus sebagai bawah. Shino melakukan damage yang secara berterusan kepada khas. Sayang saya khas menjaga position untuk berada di bawah turret. Mudah saja dia untuk melarikan diri. Tapi sebelum itu, turtle yang kedua telah pun bersedia. Dan milik siapakah turtle ini?
Boleh jadi milik MV Muncal. Tapi bahagian tengah, Ziri. Beliau sekali lagi menunjukkan kenapa Benedettanya perlu ditakuti. Shikitizi juga tidak boleh berbuat apa-apa. Telah pun menghamparkan Real World Manipulation, Circling of Eagle. Hanya digunakan sebagai kiting saja kepada pemain MV Munchai. Malah Turtle telah pun dimiliki oleh Jaja untuk Turtle yang kedua. Lebih kurang 110 saat daripada sekarang. Untuk Turtle yang ketiga ataupun Turtle yang terakhir bakal bangkit. Cuma yang saya boleh katakan rotasi daripada pasukan Games My Ace nampak lebih kemas dan juga mereka tahu apa yang mereka inginkan. Damage daripada Soul Bloom pun begitu menyakitkan sekali. Kena kepada khas Misaki dan juga MV Muncal. Di regular season mereka ditewaskan 2-0. Adakah di sini pun mereka akan cuba ditewaskan 2-0 juga?
Saya rasa bukan itu yang diinginkan pasukan MV Munchal sebab mereka sendiri yang memilih lawan mereka. Tapi bagi mereka Paci hampir menerima akibatnya sebetul Ziri. Cepat dia menggunakan auto final untuk melarikan diri daripada kejar oleh Shino. Jadi untuk pasukan Games Main dan juga MV Munchal, kedua-dua tahu sepertinya strategi yang mereka ingin gunakan dan mereka cuba bertindak balas daripada ditangkap oleh mana-mana pasukan. Sekarang ini kita dah sampai pada minit yang kelima, hampir masuk pada minit yang keenam. Tapi dengan 4 saja perbezaan kill memisahkan antara kedua pasukan. Tapi 4,000 gol dimiliki oleh pasukan Games My Ace.
Ya, 4,000 gol. Mesti ada tanya, mana perginya 4,000 gol ni? Itu semuanya disalurkan kepada Has. Tak Has pun ke arah sama rata Jaja dan juga Ziri. Di mana hero-hero yang cukup penting buat pasukan Games My Ace. Jadi sekarang ini di bahagian bawah pula serangan dilakukan Zama Force, Golden Pathway, dua-dua ada highway.
Tapi tak ada orang masuk. Asmisaki hanya sekadar melakukan zoning untuk membenarkan ahli pasukan dia menyelamatkan diri. Ada sedikit pembaziran daripada beberapa ultimate yang penting tetapi tidak menjadi masalah sebab itu adalah ultimate yang sangat-sangat perlu digunakan untuk memastikan keselamatan dari kedua-dua pasukan.
Ya, dan juga ini kena tahu daripada ultimate Games My Ace, kebanyakannya adalah ultimate yang berunsurkan cooldown cepat. Jadi mereka tak perlu risau kalau mereka nak habiskan ultimate mereka dalam satu perlawanan kecil ataupun mungkin dengan sengaja kiting dilakukan. Kerana macam saya katakan tadi, ultimate mereka mempunyai cooldown yang begitu pantas sekali. Munchal, MV Munchal, mereka berada dalam keadaan yang agak sedikit critical dengan adanya turtle ketiga-tiganya dimiliki oleh Games My Ace. Peluang daripada MV Munchal untuk mereka mengekalkan momentum mereka agak sedikit sukar. Cumanya apa yang boleh direncanakan buat MV Munchal adalah mereka perlu dapatkan target priority mereka. Ada sasaran kepada Ziri.
Ziri terpaksa menerima akibatnya setelah dikepung oleh 3 pemain pasukan MV Munchal. Tapi mungkin kita akan dapat lihat sedikit pembalasan daripada pasukan Games My Ace setelah entropi digunakan pakai. Kempachi dikenakan damage tapi Hasmisaki yang jadi kemangsa terlebih dahulu. Inilah pembalasan yang mereka inginkan. Dapat Ziri tidak jadi masalah. Hasmisaki sebagai cagaran.
Wah. Hasmisaki sebagai cagaran. Walaupun inilah Ziri agak sedikit overextend tadi bila berseorangan saja. Tetapi straight off one by one ataupun satu untuk satu. Tak ada masalah lah sangat buat pasukan Games My Ace. Pada minit ke-8, 5 kill ataupun 5 mata pembunuhan telah pun berlaku pada saat ini. MV Munchal, apa yang mereka boleh lakukan untuk dapatkan kembali permainan ini menjadi milik mereka ataupun momentum mereka dikembalikan? Kalau tengok pada keadaan, memang nak kena tunggu late game juga. Hasmisaki dan juga Nominio, dua hero ini akan menjadi sangat kebal untuk ditewaskan. Kerana apa? Games My Ace mereka tiada sangat hero kebal kecuali daripada Jaja saja. Sedangkan yang lain ada mobility tinggi dan juga damage yang lebih besar lah. Hanya kalau cakap pasal sustain tu memang tak ada. Itu kelemahan buat pasukan Games My Ace. So dengan draft yang dimiliki oleh mereka, mereka kena end secepatnya mungkin. Kalau mereka tarik terlalu lama, mungkin itu akan mengundang ibadah buat pasukan Games My Ace.
Ya, benar sekali. So, untuk Games My Ace cuba untuk menghabiskan game ini sepatas yang mungkin adalah dengan cuba untuk mengambilkan lot yang dah pun keluar. Sekarang ini fokus tengok bagaimana lot diambil oleh Jaja dan juga tapi tengok bahagian tengah pula. Pasukan Games My Ace cuba untuk melengah-lengahkan pergerakan pasukan MV Munchal. Entropi digunakan pakai hanya sebagai zoning ataupun amaran kepada pasukan MV Munchal supaya tidak lagi mara pada saat itu membenarkan Games My Ace secure lot itu dengan mudah.
Lord yang berikutnya, Lord yang bakal menjadi penentu. Adakah Games My Ace mereka akan menutup permainan ini ataupun MV Munchal yang akan lakukan pertahanan? Kalau bercakap tentang power spike pun kita tak nampak lagi Has punya power spike macam mana. Tak ada peluang langsung untuk melihatkan kekuatan Nathan itu. Jaja pun sama, memberikan fokus kepada item-item pertahanan dan juga sedikit true damage dengan adanya War Axe dan juga Queen Swing bersama lagi Radiant Armor. Tetapi Ziri ke penggunaan bandita beliau yang agak baik.
Jaja terus masuk dan Shino yang dihilangkan. Cuba untuk jadi masa yang kedua tapi sebab Hasmisaki dikepung. Tak boleh nak buat apa-apa. Has mudah saja menjatuhkan Hasmisaki. Dan Kempachi cuba datang memberikan bantuan. Langsung tidak gentar pasukan Games My Ace. Kerana dengan 2 kill yang diperolehi oleh mereka, membolehkan mereka memberikan serangan secara berterusan. Memandangkan lot sedang berarak di bahagian atas.
Kita tengok team fight yang cukup kemas daripada pasukan Games My Ace tadi di bahagian tengah dengan real world manipulation dirampas daripada Min. Cukup menggegarkan dunia MV Munchal. Sekarang ini turret inhibitor cuba untuk dirobohkan. Glorious Pathway yang dibentangkan, tapi tetap juga Lord. Betul. Itu kalau saya hembus nafas dekat turret tu, dah hancurlah inhibitor tersebut. Tapi Games My Ace mereka akan mengundurkan diri. Madis dengan penggunaan Matilda 007. Wah, jadi Agent 007 buat Madis sendiri pada saat ini. Adakah beliau akan menjadi spy ke arah pasukan MV Munchal ataupun Games My Ace Circling Eagle mencarikan arah Kepachi. Kepachi berupaya untuk melarikan diri. Glorious Pathway dibentangkan, tapi tak ada pengejaran. Ada pula entropi. Has
Misaki nyawa diturunkan dan ditembakkan oleh Has. Bersama dengan ahli pasukan yang lain, ini adalah berita baik untuk pasukan Games My Ace memandangkan pasukan MV Munchal tiada lagi frontline yang keras selain daripada Naomi Neo pada saat ini. Jadi turut dari bahagian atas telah berjatuhkan. Itu final blow telah dibuka. Ziri terpaksa menggunakan kerana dia hampir dikorbankan. Tetapi untuk pasukan Games My Ace terus sahaja dengan objektif mereka memecahkan sebanyak boleh inhibitor threat untuk pasukan MV Munchal.
Ini macam game pertama match YAD dengan Homeboys.
Ya betul.
Kita tak banyak. Tapi apa yang kita dapat perolehi ataupun Games My dapat perolehi adalah objektif.
Ya, tapi biasa sikit.
Gol. 10,000 difference di antara mereka berdua. Ini kalau nak buat satu momen pun susah. Sebab MV Munchal mereka banyak hero pick off. Mereka tak ada hero setup pada waktu ini. Lord hanya digunakan sebagai umpanan saja buat MV Munchal. Ziri seorang-seorang ke belakang. Buat apa tu Ziri jauhnya?
Tak bagaimana Hasbi Saki dilenyapkan. Mencari yang kedua. Ziri mendapatkan kill tersebut. Games My Ace nampak begitu bergembira. Menjatuhkan ahli pasukan MV Munchal 2 pemain tersebut. Dan ini bermakna Lord ini akan menjadi Lord yang percuma memihak kepada pasukan Games My Ace.
Ya, Lord yang percuma kepada Games My Ace. Ini akan menjadikan satu cabaran MV Munchal. Bagaimana mereka nak defense sekarang ni? Kalau ikutkan high ground mereka, memang adanya Harit yang boleh melakukan Zama Force. Tapi entropi nyawa sini separuh hilang macam tu je. Nominio bersama.
Betul-betul gangster Has ni. Siapa yang frontliner sekarang ni?
Awak kena ingat, Has tak pernah naik MPS kejap. So, bila mana beliau berada di sini, beliau bermain untuk pasukan Games My Ace. Ini menambahkan lagi kekuatan Games My Ace. Has El Nino. Beliau naik di MPS sekejap, kemudian turun ke MAL dan bermain bagi Games My Ace. Saya dia loan daripada JP.
Ya.
JP MPL.
JP kan ataupun
JP ya, memang JP pun asalnya.
Okey, sekarang ini pasukan Games My telah masuk dalam base pasukan MV Munchal. Cuba untuk mencari mangsa demi mangsa. Fokus pada Crystal. Lord beri tumpuan. Tapi sebelum itu, Has menciptakan Hasmi Saki. Dan sekarang ini Shino mungkin dalam bahaya. Naomi cuba untuk bertahan tapi tidak begitu lama. Jadi korban kepada Ziri. Crystal menjadi tumpuan. Tak boleh nak apa-apa. Game pertama akan diberikan kepada pasukan Games My Ace. Menundukkan pasukan MV Munchal.
Satu kemenangan yang cukup-cukup.
Element of surprise yang boleh dibawa oleh mereka. Tapi itu pasukan MV Munchal
sendiri, tapi mereka tak nak
sukan. Kalau kita lihat untuk pasukan Games My Ace, dia ada element of surprise yang boleh dibawa oleh mereka. Tapi untuk pasukan MV Munchal, mereka mengubah sikit daripada segi sustainability mereka daripada game yang kedua ini, berbeza daripada pasukan Games My Ace. Tapi Games My Ace masih lagi mau kekalkan permainan yang sama dengan bawa masuk Matilda dan juga Alpha. Berharapan dengan pasukan MV Munchal, harapnya mereka boleh pulang dengan 2 balas 0. Jadi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita masuk pada game yang kedua. MV Munchal menentang Games My Ace.
Inilah dia game yang kedua. Bakal menjadi penentu. Games My Ace adakah akan dapatkan pusingan apa berakhir grouping, atau apa MV Munchal akan bangkit untuk pastikan mereka dapatkan kemenangan. Dan kepada semua yang baru saja datang ke Dewan Tan Sri Ainuddin, selamat datang diucapkan ke MLMY musim kedua playoff. Tapi Kepachi dalam masalah, menjadi tolaknya Ziri jauh daripada Kepachi. Cuma Kepachi agak sedikit gatal tangan nak masuk kembali. Ui, nasib baiklah beliau tidak ditewaskan. Tetapi komposisi Matilda, Hilda, wish. Jahat juga kalau kita tengok.
Kejap. Apa Min buat kat ESP? Mid lane.
Okey, awak kena
mid lane Ziri.
Hilda dah pergi rusuh awal-awal. Takkan dia nak biarkan lane dia kosong.
So maknanya
okey, ni untuk awal game saja. Nanti bila masuk ke minit yang kedua, bila mana dah mereka tak dapat nak snowball Kepachi, mereka akan dapatkan lane mereka seperti biasalah. Ziri akan duduk di lane ESP, Min akan kembali ke mid lane. Dia akan jadi begitulah. Ataupun memang inilah komposisi yang mereka inginkan, yang di mana Min akan bermain dengan selamat je pada awal permainan sehingga level 4 dapat dicapai bagi adanya Eternal Guard. Ya, Min pun dah hampir capai level 4. Fokus mencari Kepachi. Kepachi pun separuh nyawanya dikurangkan. Jadi strategi yang baru.
Ya, betul.
Dari Games Ace. Mana ini akan jadi Hilda mid untuk early game. Tak kisah pun selagi bukan Hilda beli room item. Itu je. Kalau Hilda beli room item itu akan jadi masalah.
Masalah
dah masing-masing pun tak boleh nak level up.
Betul, dah lama dia beli room item. Lepas tu Ziri pun nak beli room item lagi. Masalah. Sebab kalau saya rasa fikirnya memang Ziri ni boleh pegang mid lane, tapi sebelum itu Jaja berjaya melakukan turtle yang pertama. Kalau mereka ingin mulakan team fight, ini adalah momen mereka. Sebab kalau kita lihat untuk pasukan Games My Ace, sering kali daripada awal start game je terus bermain dengan sangat-sangat agresif, cuba untuk mendapatkan pemain pasukan MV Muncah. Dan inilah saya katakan, Ziri telah pun tiba bersama dengan Mat Den terus saja. Ogi Shadow Kill hanya untuk menyelamatkan diri. Dia cuba untuk menaikkan diri, dan juga Ziri cuba untuk melakukan ingin diguna pakai fokus kepada hanya sedikit, tapi tidak. Kepachi sebenarnya Kepachi masuk semula, adanya Ziri bagian belakang, tapi nampaknya Mat Den akan tertangkap dan Mat Den akan dikenakan first blood diberikan kepada pasukan MV Munchal. Games My Ace terpaksa mengundurkan diri setelah kehilangan shot caller mereka sebagai tunjang utama mereka untuk mendapat kemenangan bagi game ini. Sebelum itu bagaimana Hasbi Saki diberikan kill kepada Min, dan terus fight dimulakan. Naomi Neo cuba untuk bertahan serangan daripada Jaja dan juga Min, tetapi nampaknya serangan daripada Naomi Neo itu membuahkan hasil, membolehkan pasukan MV Munchal berundur seketika. Games My Ace tak kasih can. Diorang kata kau dapat satu, aku pun nak satu.
Tapi kita tengok betapa agresifnya rotasi daripada Games My Ace. Mereka tak kisah apa-apa pun. Pastikan Kepachi ni tak boleh nak farming dengan tenang. Di mana ada Kepachi, di situ ada Ziri. Ziri akan gunakan skill keduanya untuk berikan poking damage kepada Kepachi, menyebabkan Kepachi juga kena lebih berwaspada. Bila mana Power of Wilderness diguna pakai ke arah Kepachi, kita boleh nampak separuh nyawanya dilenyapkan. Hanya berbaki suku sahaja nyawa buat Kepachi, dan juga pada ketika ini Games My Ace mereka dah kena bermain dengan lebih sedikit pasif. Tanpa bergerak je dengan agresif. Sekeliling mencari Kepachi, tetapi Mak Dins tidak berupaya untuk melakukan perkara tersebut. Malah MV Muncai pada terpaksa meninggalkan laning mereka sendiri untuk pastikan Kepachi dapat farming yang diperlukan.
Ini masalah besar. Masalah besar. Kalau hanya sekadar untuk melindungi Kepachi saja perlu menggunakan kesemua ahli pasukan, saya rasa Games My Ace memang boleh mendominasi game ini. Sebab kalau tak ada orang dekat lane, begitu saja diorang boleh mendapatkan farm secukupnya. Bila dapat farm secukupnya, sememangnya mereka akan out level 1 dan juga mendapatkan kelebihan dari segi itemization yang lebih pantas berbanding dengan pasukan MV Munchal.
Benar. Jadi dekat sini Kepachi pun dah memang ketinggalan jauh sangat levelnya. Level 9 lawan level 6. Di bawah Hasmi Saki tolakkan Stack Kramer tak percaya boleh menangkap kepada mana-mana individu. Malah Jaja sekarang ini akan berikan dia bersorangan di bahagian atas. Tetapi poking ke arah Hasmi Saki. Kita dah tengoklah perbezaan ekonomi sebanyak 3,000 gol. MV Munchal dalam tak sedar sebenarnya mereka berada dalam keadaan yang agak kritikal. Kerana level retribution pun dah dijarakkan sehingga 3 level.
Terus saja implosi dipakai, tetapi nampaknya Hasmi Saki akan menjadi mangsa. Dengan memberikan kill kepada Has dan juga follow bersama dengan Min, membuahkan hasil mereka mendapatkan kill tersebut. Jadi pasukan Games My Ace bermain dengan cukup berhati-hati, tapi sebelum itu tengoklah bagaimana Kepachi 1v1 dengan Jaja terpaksa melarikan diri dengan menggunakan Quad Shadow.
Satu demi satu pick off yang cuba untuk didapatkan pasukan daripada MV Munchal. Apa lagi yang mereka dustakan? Apa lagi yang tidak cukup sebenarnya? Adakah oleh kerana gangguan ke arah jungler Kempachi menyebabkan MV Muncha terpaksa bermain Protect the King ke arah Kempachi, sedangkan winning condition mereka terletak pada Shino. Sepatutnya Shino yang harus diberikan segala resources gold. Kerana dalam keadaan ini pasukan Games My Ace mereka buat jungle rasa MV Muncha macam jungle mereka sendiri. Itu dah bukan tempat mereka sebenarnya. Itu bukan tempat mereka pun. Tapi mereka dah buat ini adalah jungle kami. Games My Ace. Kita tengok Purple Buff juga gagal untuk dimiliki oleh Kempachi. Malah dirampas pula oleh Jaja dengan level retribution yang sungguh-sungguh jauh. Level 7 lawan dengan level 12. 5 level gap. Buat kedua-dua jungler. Dan juga 5,000 gold difference di antara kedua-dua pasukan. Kill tak banyak. Kill memang tak banyak. Tapi apa yang kita tengok adalah kawalan map, resources farming dan juga neutral objective.
Ya, betul.
Semuanya yang memberikan sumbangan kepada Games My Ace punya goal. Sekarang ini, Nomineo
nampaknya terpaksa akur melarikan diri. Tapi Hasmi Saki nampaknya seperti tertangkap. Terus menggunakan second hammer tapi tidak begitu lama untuk menyelamatkan diri dia. Nampaknya dia tetap akan juga dijatuhkan. Percubaan untuk menggunakan implosion dipasirkan begitu saja. Tidak boleh melengahkan langsung pergerakan di perpasukan Games My Ace. Dan sekarang ni dengan jawapan yang telah diterimakan, tidak ada lagi frontline untuk pasukan Navi Muncha. Hanyalah sekadar Naomi Neo pada saat ini. Pasukan Games My Ace memangnya ingin mendapatkan objektif demi objektif. Sebelum itu bagaimana diri coba untuk memancing. Dirinya begitu keras, tak perlu risau nyawanya yang ditadah oleh pasukan Navi Muncha. Masuk dalam semak, dah boleh pulihkan balik nyawa dia dengan begitu saja. Dan sekarang ni pasukan Games My Ace, turret di bahagian tengah telah pun berjaya diperolehi dan mungkin akan mendapatkan juga turret di bahagian atas.
Turret yang akan didapatkan bahagian top lane, inner turret ini sepertinya tidak akan dirobohkan buat seketika waktu daripada Games My Ace. MV Munchal, mereka harus tunggukan sehingga Lord yang seterusnya. Lord yang pertama buat kedua-dua belah pihak. Games My Ace sekali lagi merampas implosion.
Nampaknya Hasmi Saki terpaksa juga menarik dua pemain
Apa
pasukan Guardian, tapi ada yang bagi belakang. Mak dia cuba untuk berikan bantuan, tapi sebelum itu tengok bagaimana Ziri dan juga Jaja mendapatkan Shino. Damage dia terpenting untuk pasukan MV Munchal pada saat ini. Sekarang ini MV Munchal tiada lagi kuasa untuk memberikan damage kepada pasukan Games My Ace. Jadi inilah momen yang dicari tuan-tuan dan perempuan pada minit yang ke-8. 9,000 gol memihak berpasangan Games My Ace dengan turret yang dipecahkan bahagian tengah. Sememangnya 10,000 mudah saja dalam genggaman tangan pasukan Games My Ace.
Wah, begitu yakinnya Siri recall di hadapan base MV Munchal. Sehinggakan Lord yang pertama telah pun bangkit. MV Munchal langsung tidak berupaya untuk melakukan walau satu pergerakan. Kecuali satu je mata pembunuhan yang dapat diperolehi. Tapi selepas itu, minit ke-9 Games My Ace telah pun mencarahkan sehingga 10,000 gol. Sekarang ini perlawanan yang cukup-cukup berat sebelah tuan-tuan dan juga puan-puan. Ini adalah pasukan Games My Ace. Antara pasukan yang berpotensi ke MPL dan antara pasukan yang terkuat juga di Challenger Conference. MV Munchal, walaupun mereka telah berada lama di Sing Tier 2 yang dikenali sebagai pasukan Munchal yang berasal daripada Sabah kalau tak silap saya. Daripada kali ini, Games My Ace, adakah mereka bakal menerajui segala-galanya? Circling of Eagle akan dilompat jauh daripada kawasan tengah.
Tapi Hasmi Saki jika masa yang pertama, tapi Shino mendapatkan pembalasan. Tengok bagaimana damage yang dikeluarkan pasukan Games My Ace terhadap 5 pemain pasukan Munchal. Dan Naomi Neo adalah mangsa yang kedua. Cuba untuk menjatuhkan inhibitor threat di bahagian tengah. Tanpa perlu risau dengan pasif yang ada daripada Has. Mudah saja untuk mereka melakukan perkara sedemikian. Mia telah pun tiba, dah pun masuk ke dalam base pasukan MV Munchal dengan adanya 4 berlawan dengan 3 pada saat ini. Adakah mereka mampu? Jaja hanya menunggu posisi saja. Di bahagian tengah, wave telah pun sampai. Mereka fokus cuba untuk menjatuhkan inhibitor sebanyak yang mungkin. Tapi tengoklah bagaimana damage yang diterima oleh Hasmi Saki. Begitu sakit, begitu besar yang dikeluarkan oleh pasukan Games My Ace. Nak menyesal pun dah tak boleh. MV Munchal tersalah pilih lawan mereka. Games My Ace cuba untuk melanggar satu demi satu benteng pertahanan pasukan MV Munchal. Dengan ini, Games Mais hanya menunggu masa mencari kesilapan pasukan MV Muncal untuk mereka menembusi, untuk mereka memecahkan kristal pasukan MV Muncal. Kita tak bagaimana pasukan digunakan pakai. Asmisa kita tahu Avatar digunakan pakai, tapi tidak begitu lama. Naomi Neo hampir saja dikorbankan. Chino juga terpaksa melarikan diri. In berjaya mendapatkan Naomi Neo dan juga House menjatuhkan Pachi. Sekarang ini 5 berlawan dengan 3. Bak sini, bak datang. Kau pilih aku, tak jadi masalah. Games by Ace menentukan game menentang MV Muncal. 2 berbalas 0.
Games by Ace daripada qualifier sekarang ini menangkan 2-0 untuk menyertai kepusingan upper bracket group. Inilah dia, dominasi bukan saja ditampilkan dalam regular season, tetapi di playoff juga.
You who called me back? Be careful of what you wish for.
Grant me your strength. Pierce! 5, 6, 7. Hey, we're missing a kid.